Cram gets thrown away. The Spirit of Destruction into the back line. Yums trying to survive now, even with the Shadow Kill. Skies no purple buff, still desperately going for it. Time to blaze now on the Super Marco. Skies finds the shutdown. Now it's a Kyle. It's Skies who continues the fight. And now onto the Lord he goes. Cram in a 1v3, trying to deal some damage. Stormy tries to heal him from across the wall. Skies finds it. Now with the Finch poise over the Few. He continues the damage with the Winter Crown. Saves it for a bit. Few trying to chase him down. Skies still surviving. Cram with a cleanup. And Few will be taken down.
Are you not entertained? Game number 1 from an abysmal early game. Somehow SRG are the ones who bounce back. Skies makes a play of a lifetime. And Chiling, you can't count him out.
You can never count them out. Skies in the mid lane now, trying to take the tier 2, and he will be able to do so. He started this game 0-3. He didn't have a purple buff in that team fight.
He didn't, but he does now have 4 items. He's scaled up finally. And honestly, he has more farm than Kyle after having a 4-0 start. And they're cracking open the inhibitors. And I think that SRG, they got to call it quits at some point.
Kyle with the damage, jumps onward forward, Earth Shadow Flicker combos, guys. Trying to capitalize on this, has a time to blaze, dodges away from the Spirit, catches Super Marco, but now gets chain CC'd. So able to survive for a bit, knocked down by Flap TZ, shut down by Flap. Stormy caught in the immobilization as Kyle finishes him off. And finally, Falcon's AP Bren, they find the chance to slow it all down again.
I think it doesn't matter, right? With more people dying at this point in time, we look at the waves and we can understand, unless, no, he wouldn't.
What? Innocent? He tried to Spirit of Destruction, doesn't get that Few! Deletes him from the land of Dawn, now it's a wipeout for Falcon's AP Bren!
Why overheat? Why overheat? They could have just reset off of this. The waves were in a position where they couldn't get punished, and now they're definitely
Let's go AP Bren.
Something off of this. Guys coming back up in 1 and Stormy in 1 as well.
SRG guys, gua dukung SRG dulu ya.
No purple buff though. Again, same problem.
Sebentar, gua habis makan tuh,
Does seem
makan
like for
sih.
Yums, he will be able to just pressure them away from that mid turret, but the base turret will
Udah izin belum?
take it down already, Skies.
Udah ya, KMS tuh udah izin.
Want to commit the time of the blade just yet. Buys the Rose Gold Meteor in time, and Falcon's AP Bren will be happy just with the 2 base turrets stick.
I'm telling you, Mirko, this game is starting to
Kalau
look like a
yang
horror
pertama gini nggak
now.
tegang nggak sih?
It's like
Soalnya
I trade
ini
1
yang
inhibitor,
pertama kan?
Falcon's AP Bren, we're gonna take 2, which begs the question, what is SRG's response? No purple buff once again from both of these assassins, and Kyle in particular, with 30 more seconds. As we look at the items, we're seeing that the biggest problem at this point of time is the fact that, hey, if we want to get into these fights, Ogun, you gotta have your flicker back up. And Yums, his is coming up in 16 seconds.
Yang lihat Onyx di MPL Indo ya.
Everything else from Few, that really begs the question, can Innocent truly outplay everybody without the help of the Heart Guard?
A game of millimeters, a game of inches. SRG and Falcon's AP Bren. So far for both of these teams, they're still able to keep the far lane base turret intact. So they'll still have an advantage to play with, technically. I think Falcon's AP Bren with the mid lane constantly pushing in. Now this is a point where Yums onward in the Earth Shatter over to Flap TZ. Just with a little bit of poke from Innocent. No teams wanting to go for it. But my question is, Gideon, is this good for SRG? Do they want the mid lane to actually be pushing towards them so that Innocent, so that Cram, so that even Skies can keep farming up, getting those resources?
I don't know. I think that SRG, they want to fight for this, right? I think they know that once the Lord starts crashing in towards their crystal, it's going to be really difficult to high ground defense. Keep in mind, Stormy is playing Angela. Now, Angela is not known to have the greatest wave clear.
Yums. Gila sih. Wah, rapi banget tuh itu.
With the shadow kill, use up the back line, able to back away. Skies chasing him over the pinch points, running him down now with the temp of the blades as well. Kyle able to dodge away from the
defense, dia malah ngegas, Yums ya.
the rest of the blades. Meanwhile, it's a knockup on a 2 straight into Cram, who's going ham with a yo-yo. And Skies somehow finds a way to escape, but the base was wide open.
A clean back door coming in from Falcon's AP Bren. SRG, they show that they can go toe-to-toe with some of their best, but when it comes down to the macro, when it comes down to that lead, Falcon's AP Bren.
Apakah ini match pertama bagi SRG ketika mereka kaget lawannya sejago ini ya?
Composure, the calmness to pull that off in a skirmish that looked like it was pure 50-50, in a skirmish where it looked like SRG were gonna win. They said, nah, I'd segue.
It's tough. I think it's really,
Ay,
really
mga
tough
ganyan final,
considering all the action-packed
Anton.
fights that we're having here. We're so much focus on the micro from the side of SRG. It's really difficult to see the entirety of the map. But I think our analysts can do a better job at breaking down this game. Analysts, please take it away.
Can we just say the first game here already set expectations for this grand finals? Because I don't know about you, gentlemen, but when you're asking me what game
Back
number
score.
1 was going to look like, I don't think it would look like that.
3-4.
Yeah, no, it was high risk, high reward for SRG. And again, if you want to achieve something great, such as defeating the world champions, you gotta think outside the box. You gotta think outside where the box was even made.
Because here's the
Ba't
thing.
ko nga Bren?
I was
like
almost
that, huh?
thinking that,
You like
that Falcons AP Bren might have a flawless game, right? No deaths and everything, but then Slaughter Giants fought back, and at the end of the day, it's not who has the better team fight.
Yeah.
Few just ended the game.
And most importantly, you can see SRG with this set play where it is going to
Yung
be
draft
either
niya agak kurang,
Crown
sige.
or
Kasi nga, draft niya, Bren, menang banget.
Edith coming out from Humes to start the fights, and then they will force Kaltizi to maybe pop the
Compact
pod shadow,
niya.
or it kind of feels like there's someone who forces the ultimate coming out from Kyle, and then in comes the Angeling, which, man, it's still pretty strong. I believe that even when Falcons AP Bren won this game, they probably will not let go of both the Angeling.
Let me just say as well, Slaughter Giants, as good as they look going up against Falcons AP Bren, what were
Yeah.
those mistakes? Especially towards the
Yung
end of
niya
the
si
game
Aya.
when they're pushing. If they were, maybe a little bit
Oo nga,
relaxed,
pas
could have
draft
been a little
niya.
bit better.
I'll tell you, Lafel, you mentioned it already. The beginning and the end are where they made their most mortal sins. Number one,
Emang dua
they
enak banget
drafted
buat
very
di-pack
greedy.
kan.
They have very little wave clear, very little vision that they can actively.
Tapi ini
throw
SRG
out
ngawan
to
banget,
protect
Tam.
this very late game-centric lineup.
Emang di-split
And then
push.
second is towards the end. Again,
Nggak
Coach
di-split push
Zeki
juga itu.
knows that
Ah,
PH
wajak.
teams are
Udah
so good
matiin
at
rasanya.
macro. They got so consumed by the team fight that they forgot. Few tried to do this just a couple of days ago.
I mean, the thing is, Stormy did go back, but that's an Angela,
Yeah,
Maybe it was a Lilia or something, maybe.
Exactly. There's clearly the only, if you think about it, the only legitimate wave clear that SRG has is when Edith pops the ultimate.
Oh.
That's probably what, but obviously that's not gonna happen. CC clears the lane slowly.
Pas
yeah.
si Yums
Moskov
yang
takes
ngegas
his time,
langsung
but again in the late game,
si
maybe if you
Uwin yang ngegas
angle it
juga.
properly,
Yeah.
you're gonna clear it better,
And even with Edith, you're also besides the skills, your basic attacks you still hit one at a time.
Exactly. So, yeah, we did say that there was a
TBL.
clearing problem. Man, imagine if they just had X-Borg.
But here's the thing. It almost worked out. They were already in the base, but they forced it.
Man,
Emang
If they
Fanny-nya
didn't
jago
force
banget,
it,
kocak.
Could have looked
I
different.
hate to tell you this, but in the grand finals, almost will never caught it.
Yeah. Now I guess maybe three mortal sins, right? Beginning, the end, and that last one, the push, the force push
Yeah.
at the bottom.
Yeah, but still, I gotta say though, that was when Gideon asked, "Are you not entertained?" Man, I was.
Oh yeah, it was definitely entertaining.
It was definitely
It's so entertaining that even we watching, like off camera, like we will tell you guys, we went through our own cycle of emotions.
Yes. There was a video
I don't know how
footage
to
of it.
feel, yeah.
There was a video footage of it.
It's rolling now.
Yeah, but again, honestly, like I like the risky draft.
Hey, what do you
because,
mean, look,
like,
Mark?
we had this talk, Leo. If you don't take the risk, how are you gonna defeat the world champions? It's just that I kind of feel like when it comes to the gameplay, ending the game, like I feel like 2 or 3 times SRG got wiped out where they really shouldn't have.
And once FCAP got wiped out, which I think was what sunk my stomach. What really, that roller coaster of emotions where they're like, oh no, they can win, they can do this.
Yeah.
And Wolf and I would have to eat our words because even ending and concluding the draft, I was like, yo, that's super greedy.
Yep.
And maybe through the sheer team fighting skills, they could have gotten away with it, but
Yeah. Nevertheless, if there was a team that I would allow to be greedy, I think now SRG has proven their worth for that regard. Because I think that they have a clear idea of what they want to start. If you look at the game and just dissect it, you're going to see a pattern coming up from SRG, which kind of tells me this is a set play that they have rehearsed so much and they know from 0 to 100 and they execute it properly, actually.
Honestly, I want to know a little bit more about that. Can you show us with Bob,
Yeah.
with the telestrator, what you mean?
Yep. Okay. So thank you for allowing me to do this. Actually, let's just rewind. This is a team fight that eventually Bren won, but it was a testament to how good the Angeling was and the fact that it was SRG. And Bob doesn't want to rewind. Well, now he's rewinding. Okay. So
Thanks, Bob.
Okay. So
Thanks,
let's,
Bob.
This is I was rewinding this. Okay, so first off, you can see that it is Kyle TZ in this spot. Well, you cannot see him because he is under.
Gue juga bisa.
He's in OP so
Yeah.
Gak pernah lihat
but
gue.
that means
BTW,
that he activated his
gue ntar
ultimate.
habis
So
maghrib
that
tuh
is
pengen
a
nih
launch
dulu ya,
plus the guys
pengen
can
ngambil
identify, okay,
celana
you
gue
don't
dulu
have an
lagi
ultimate,
dikecilin.
you dead. And there is
Mending dimatiin
a lot of
live-nya
stuff
atau
that's happening onto the
kalian
back lanes.
nonton dari sini
FCAP
atau
actually,
gue aja
chose
biarin
to
aja gitu
chase,
kosong.
and they were able to do it. Now, in this time, we don't even
Iya,
need to
kamar
highlight
gua horor
anything.
apa
This is
enggak
more about like min-maxing from both teams. In fact, all players are God mode in this case. Look at how they go in and out.
Abal-abal doang
Innocent was
gue juga.
amazing. Few was really, toying with
Lu
death.
edit, tadi lu
Star
edit
Marker
ya.
was going
Tadi
in
lu
and
bisa
out,
ya.
making
Kan
sure
sekarang
he
bisa
has the right
diedit.
bounce. Ogwen
Komen
as well, utilizing
live.
his teammates. And now they will not turret the juggle. They will juggle Innocent.
It was a
Look at that.
rope-a-dope. It was an alley-oop. And if I'm not mistaken, there was
Beautiful.
a sliver of a second, a nanosecond,
Exactly.
wherein Cram went.
Aduh cu, the one and only harapan kita untuk mengalahkan Timnas Bumi.
Give the kill over to Innocent.
AP
There
Bren.
were, if I'm not mistaken, 3 members. of
Harga
Falcon
adalah
AP
mengedit.
there,
Kan lu
and I
kan
think
hacker.
one went back. So I again take risks where you can. Because if you want to be the world champions, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Pas sekarang aja gue ambil ya. Ini
This
nggak
kind
mungkin
of
3 menit
games
sih
is
kesana sih.
where Super Marco gets the name bulletproof. But with that being said, we gotta look at our
Ini gua
Sony
upload
MVP. It's
konten
gonna
dulu,
be
sabar.
few on this Julian.
Sabar,
And
gua
I gotta
uploadin
say,
dulu.
he did a lot. Like damage,
Match juga habis match 2
escaping
deh.
death,
Yeah.
Ended the game
setting up,
single-handedly.
ending the game.
Banget ya. Ini di sananya kelihatan juga apa enggak ya guys ya?
He did it all.
Di sananya.
Yeah, I believe that Few is
So penasaran
expert
aku.
this Julian in a way that
Gua
the
super
entire team is the entire team kind of became very comfortable on how he plays the Julian. And I'm saying that because the chain stuns coming out from Falcon AP Bren were perfect. They're utilizing either Ogwen first or it will be Few first, and then
Aku login
will
Facebook
get
aja
the
mas
damage
minta
output done,
karyawan
and then
itu
they
mas
go in
dua.
and out. I believe that Few should not.
Apakah SBG bisa mencetak
Julian.
sejarah?
In fact, I would say Falcon AP Bren
Doakan
are
saja guys
way
ya yang
too
terbaik
comfortable picking up
untuk
Julian
sang
because
penantang
people can
Timnas
pick it
Bumi.
up.
Would you say that it's a detriment to allow it to open? Like it's your
Login
loss if you
Facebook aja
leave it
mas
open.
minta karyawan.
I would say yes.
Apaan tuh?
Plan it out
Ngerti gua.
then.
Yeah, I would say yes. And
Start.
same can be said though about the Angeling. Maybe take out one of the two components.
Just at least one.
Just at least one. I think yeah, between
Di
Angeling.
nosnya kalau kata gue di sini
especially
lumayan
because you're
terlalu
playing up against
over
SRG,
PD
just
guys.
the link, right?
Yeah, I would
Padahal
agree.
saya bisa menang tapi
Because
disiplinnya
again,
kurang banget makanya
Ingat
ini baik.
said
Iya.
himself, even without the Angela, he's activated,
Terlalu
right? So
over
with
PD,
the
guys.
link, it just
Terlalu
makes the
overconfident.
problem bigger. But we gotta talk about our MVP here, 8 KDA.
Gue jadi aneh cuy.
751 GPM, and remember, the
Kayak apa ya?
only guy that has a lower death count than him is just Super Marco.
Isn't that poetic that a hero such as Julian is now one of the specialty heroes of Few, who is in the early game super strong? He played even before season 1. Now in the twilight of his, I don't even know. Like he might even play for like 5 or 6 more
Kayaknya gue
years.
harus beli pomade
Yeah.
deh guys.
You're a mad
Tapi
burst
setelah
hero in
dapat
the
Lord
Julian.
ngapain
He
all in
ends the
padahal
game himself. Isn't that like?
I mean, like
di base
the
musuh.
crowd control itself. I feel like it's one of those
Makanya
things
cuy,
that
oke
actually drops
deh.
guys where the basic guy
Over
just pulled
confident.
him in. It's like, well, I guess my dash.
Kan
is
gue
doing
ngecilin
nothing.
sana ya Jo ya.
That's
Jo.
it. See, so
Kan
at
gue
any
ngecilin
given
sana.
point,
Terus kata si
Few
abangnya.
matters.
Kayak nanti
Both
malam.
literally.
Sekarang termasuknya udah malam apa masih sore
Why he's
sekarang?
not
I'm not a kid, but he's my
Sekarang udah
idol.
malam apa masih sore?
Honestly, he's the idol of everyone. But with that being
Coba.
said, starting on July 24th
Sekarang
is
masih
the
malam
Final
apa udah
Players
sore?
Time to shine. Catch the MLBB Women's Invitational 2024, where 12 teams from 11 regions break barriers and redefine
Malam orang Indonesia itu
esports.
setelah maghrib atau
Now,
isya.
honestly,
Berarti
like,
habis maghrib aja
this
gue
game,
kangennya.
with that kind of
Terus
showing,
udah
makes me
beres nih
feel
kalau dia
like
bilang
it shouldn't
malam.
be
Gak mungkin
sweet,
kan
right?
dia maghrib kerja ya?
Absolutely.
That could have been the one. That could have been one for SRG, honestly speaking. I wouldn't have been
Habis
surprised.
isya. Nah, gue takutnya habis isya udah tutup.
Unless of
Kok
course,
sekarang
we
takutnya
see
belum
another
beres?
Angeling.
Yeah.
On the other side,
Kok habis maghrib
I don't think it will
nanggung?
be a sweep.
With that game, we gotta
Bahasa
look
Hausa
at
gue minta
Falcons AP
nomornya
Bren's
tadi harusnya.
achievements. Let's look at the
Kan di
journey
sini kocak
that
sekarang
they
zamannya model baggy bukan segini. Gue nggak bilang di
Since
sini ya.
rebuilding in 2022,
Gue nggak bilang di
a trust the process
ketatkan
kind
ya.
of team,
Yep.
and this is not the output you want. Is this
Yang
not
5
the
champion
best
gold
case
medal
scenario
SEA
for
Games
output
gold medal
after such a long,
IESF.
drawn-out process?
This
Okay,
is this is gonna be a template for esports in
Bukannya
general,
SRG
particularly
ya?
global esports, right? Because
Gold
now
medal
you're
SEA
gonna
Games ya?
Look at a team that is
Gold
not
medal
composed
ISF
of, like,
bukannya SRG ya
super-
guys ya?
That started out as a super team, or it started out like an all-star team. They made all-stars.
Serius gue nanya nih, bukannya SRG ya? Bukan SRG. RSG
Looking
kok
at the
SRG sih?
stats here, honestly, only average damage per minute and unique heroes is won by SRG. Everything
Yang
else
ngalahin
is
BTR
by
siapa
Falcons
ya?
AP Bren, especially looking at
Yang
that KDA.
ngalahin
It's like, what,
BTR di
double?
ISF.
Yeah. Then again, can we both agree? Can we all agree that this is
Yes,
that
nih, bos.
stats probably will never be able to describe the two
Mungkin
teams?
gue beli sana segedean Bren ISF. Wah lah, gue kira itu ISF 2023 kalau 2024 cok. Hingga maksud gue kira kemarin tuh bukan AP Bren guys, gue kira itu RSG. Timnya si Eman.
Yeah.
Yang lawan BTR kan?
For sure.
Yeah, I don't even use a calculator anymore.
What is a calculator? No,
Actually,
kidding.
you know,
Is there one in my phone?
I just asked Sanford.
Yeah.
He's a human calculator.
Yeah, I just asked him for help. Now we gotta look at the
There it
crowd
is.
here. Here we go.
We're nailing
Julian,
it right in the head.
very first ban. SRG is gonna be blue side. Falcons AP Bren, red side, banning out a chip as well.
So how bad is this? Would you say that the Julian is worse than the Luyi? Because what if it comes down to it?
What if it comes down to between like picking up Julian? I would rather pick up the Julian just because it can be flex. At the same time, you're in the grand
Wah, ya.
finals.
ISF.
You want to
24,
play in your
17.
comfort hero as a team. I'm not talking about just a comfort hero as players,
Oh,
individuals.
combo RRQ kait.
So I
Kok
think that's what's
2024?
looking like it's gonna happen. Because Hart's still open,
Yep.
Luyi is still open, Ling is still open. There's
Yep.
so many big ticket
Gua lihat ya.
heroes.
Oh, Bren
This is the part
e-sport
where
guys.
you definitely want to think
Bener,
if you're
bener.
SRG, do you really want to give up?
Gua kira
Ling
RSG
or the
loh.
Valentina, in fact, because if you want to go back to your Angela, you're scared of that Valentina.
Kalau RSG
And,
tuh yang wakilin apa
do
berarti ya?
they
SEA Games
actually
kan?
first pick the Valentina in the presence of what? Harith, Ling, Loyi.
Iya bener, AP
Probably not,
Bren
right? So,
guys.
Well, they do well out the Harith this time. They will be opening up the Valentina.
Wakil
The question is, will the Ling get banned here?
Timnas.
It's not. Oh, okay.
Right.
So, Loyi or Ling?
For SRG.
I'm feeling
Honestly,
the Ling.
man, I think Valentina first pick is the best choice. But if I
Oh,
were to
berarti
guess,
gue
they would
halu
pick up
guys waktu
Ling.
itu guys.
Um,
Kalahnya sama AP
the
Bren,
second
Timnas Bumi
choice,
guys.
definitely the
Dari
Valentina.
lu Timnas Bumi.
Yeah. So, I don't know. SRG feels like a
The real
because again,
Timnas
it's
Bumi
not
AP
like
Bren.
Skies did a bad job on the
Yeah.
Ling. I mean,
Gila,
maybe
guys,
he
nggak
made
kayak
some
AP
bad
Bren, guys.
calls, but
POV
it's
kalau
not
EVO
sure, right?
serius,
Game one,
kalau EVO
forget about
player-playernya
it.
nggak tengil ya.
Focus on game 2.
Kayak Isan,
I
Wan.
wonder.
Yeah, no.
Karena
and
mereka
Jones
bakal
not making
nganurnya
it. 'Cause if
legasi
you pick
tuh
the
udah
Ling
bukan
here,
cuma legasi doang guys,
does
bukan
that-
kayak
does that
vital
make
juara
SCAP
doang,
more
tapi apa
reactive?
sih?
Does that mean they're
Ekosistem yang
forced to pick up the
bagus,
Angela
mentality
now,
yang
or else
bagus.
pay
Karena
the
kan mereka
consequences?
kalau mentalitinya
No, they can pick up Valentina.
belum bisa belajar
and
dari
Moskov.
sejarahnya, ceritanya
not
dulu kayak
care.
gimana.
Or Moskov Terizla, actually.
It's
Ntar kalau misalnya ada apa-apa
answers.
baru dipanggil nih roster M1-nya.
Among
Udah
all of
kabur
those, I
duluan,
think
anjir.
maybe Valentina plus Terizla,
Pas
right?
MS-nya takut
There's
kalah,
Valentina.
takut mencoreng nama
Yeah,
baik,
my top one is Valentina Moskov.
pensiun
Because
sebagai
now it
orang
doesn't
yang
make sense.
kalah.
Let's go straight like
You got it right, but you.
Yeah.
Itu bukan
Something
alpha
else.
mentality
Yeah, I mean,
guys.
like,
Alpha mentality
it
itu
still
tuh
is,
menghadapi
that
semua masalah
absolute,
dengan
you know.
we
baik.
still
Tapi
want
kalau
to
Isan
see
sama Maris tadi dia.
Angela Moskov because
Yeah.
it's not like they had a bad game.
Exactly. No, they played very well. If anything, they just adjust the second half.
Yeah.
Yofi
You know
kalau
what,
di
they
Indonesia
want-
entertainnya nggak
That's also true.
nggak
I think, yeah,
segede
you still
itu
pick up
uangnya
Angela,
guys.
but then
Ini tuh
why I like the
Filipin.
Valentina is because it can
Di
copy
kompe
the Angela.
guys, karena
Angela
uangnya di
actually
ini
playing
di
against
kompe, di kompetisi
Valentina.
uangnya.
They both just
Mereka
hide.
fokus kompe.
Yeah. Unless you want to go like Angela Ruby if you're SRG. Well, Moskov Ruby.
Oh wow.
Terima
They're letting go of the whole
kasih.
Angela situation,
Yeah.
which I think is good because Humes is super comfortable on the Ruby. Almost single-handedly changes the tide of battle.
And I feel like Stormy, this is one of those situations where he's looking at everyone's eyes and he's like, let me carry the game.
Yeah.
Let me do damage.
So FCAP should pick up their gold laner now. Maybe somewhere along the lines of a Claude, so that they have a way to match up
Ini
with this
AP
Moskov.
Bren
Because
dengan
I'm
berani.
sure that there will be a lot of Super Marco
Tuh,
bans.
lebih takut sama
coming.
Fanny-nya
The Moskov being picked
si
up,
Sky,
Harina being available, as well as
dibandingkan
Roger. You wanna pick up your
dibandingkan
gold laner
Link-nya
after
guys.
FCAP.
Karena mereka tahu Link-nya bisa dilawan.
The real question is it
Tapi
really
kalau
going to be
kata
Roger?
gue
You know
sih
what?
guys, yang
At this
parah banget
point,
tuh
I want the
Terizla
casters
sih.
to come in.
Yang
You guys are
masih
seeing the first three picks
Kalau
for
orang
Samurai
nge-main
Giants
itu
as well as
broken
Falcons
lagi.
AP Brand. How are you guys feeling about this one?
I think no, yeah. Haya.
All right, they're thinking high.
Yeah.
They have a brainstorming in their outside.
They're very invested.
Yeah, they're very.
Kamu menurut lo
Given
apakah
how
SRG better
dynamic
lane
and
Kyrie?
layered the first game
Ini
was
gimana
in
ditanya nih?
draft,
Kalau di MSC
despite
kali
it being
ini
relatively greedy
sih
for
better
SRG,
ya.
I think there was a lot
Jujur
to
kalau
go
kata
there.
gue sih
Again,
iya sih
going
guys.
back to the casters.
Soalnya waktu seleksi
let's start with Falcon AP Bren. What do you guys
ISF
think of their
tahun
opener?
ini guys, terus seleksi
Personally, I
ISF
think
tahun
their
ini kan
openers
Malaysia
looking
lawan
really,
Indo
really
kan.
good. The Valentine, I mean,
Itu
Mary and
aja.
Marco have been discussing constantly
Emang
about the back and
Onyxnya nggak
forth
full
between these two
roster.
teams, and I think
Tapi Malaysia
so far
juga nggak
FCAP
full
looking
roster
real
ini
nice.
SRG guys karena dong ada Malaynya kan.
Early was just amazing for them. Now they can nail down on the XPs for Cram, force the Ruby. Hopefully, maybe for them on.
Tapi kalah Indo guys.
For SRG,
Gua kira
I feel like
mungkin
they're
Albert
really just gonna try
gara-gara
to nail
Albert.
down Caltese,
Jadi
deny
nggak
all the
full
assassin
power
picks, force
Onyx.
him on utility.
Di MSC juga
Alright,
kalah
thank you very
guys.
much,
Walaupun di
gentlemen,
MSC
for
ini
your
kalahnya satu
thoughts
sama ya.
on Falcon
Nggak
AP
2-0
Bren's
banget.
opener.
Ya.
Now, in terms of the ban, what are we looking at like here?
I think I'd like to
Kalah
hold
sih
it
at
on
least.
choking out Cram.
All right, okay.
Because again, after the aforementioned Ruby switch up is there, and of all the members of SRG, Cram is the one who is okay with living with the bare minimum. He's okay getting beat down. He can start the game at 0-4, and they'd
Kalah
still
telak lawan
dig their way out of
SES
that.
kan.
So
Kalau
maybe
SES
just
iya.
protect everyone else, and then let him be alongside Stormy, carry in his own way.
Yeah. All right. Now that means that you ban what? Paquito, I guess. Or Harlot's still Harlot's banned.
Banned.
Yeah, so you banned Paquito. There still is the potential of the Angela, by the way. We are not eliminating that factor, which also will be really good for SRG. That means that if they do want to pick up the Angela once again, the
Personally, for me,
Minotaur
I want to
should
see a
be
damage dealer.
for Stormy. Yeah,
Personally, like, give him
Farsa?
something like a Farsa. Yeah, exactly.
Farsa's great overall. Another option is the Kagura. Oh, the Angel ban from FCAP.
Oh, wait, another one. The Aurora.
Oh, yeah.
The Aurora.
Yep. Also a hero that you don't give a massive ultimate to the Valentina too, right?
Yeah.
It's combo based, so it makes a lot of sense versus the Valentina. I'm curious, right? Nolan is probably among all of the assassins that we know, with Ling being picked up, Fanny ban, Hayabusa ban. You're left with Nolan. But it's not good against the Ling. So actually, my guess here is maybe they'll go for
Utility box is still out there.
or maybe even an Amon if Kyle picks that up. But here's an interesting thought. Maybe what
The
if
promise
they go
ring was the promise you met, but
Echo,
had
the
to
Team
broke
Liquid
the
Echo route
promise
where
to
they pick up
heal the
Winnipeg,
one we capped.
right?
That's a pocket
sih,
pick.
Lost?
Haven't seen Kyle
The
Teasy
promise
on one
ring
in a
was
while.
the promise you made,
With the
but
Minotaur, you
had
pick
to
up
broke the
Aurora here.
promises to
that's
heal
a
the
chain
one we
stun
capped.
special from
Okay,
Falcon's
basta
AP
jawab.
Bren again.
Yeah.
Chain stun, chain knockup.
Yeah, or maybe a Navaria. How
Selamat
about a
makan, selamat
Navaria
maghrib
for
ya guys ya
SRG?
semuanya ya.
I mean, that does
Lihat lancar nih,
solve the
lihat.
vision
Yeah.
situation.
Mana coba ya?
And
Doesn't really give much burst,
Yeah.
but allows for you to control
Coba mana
the
aku
full
liatin.
combat.
Navaria and Edith looks really good here for SRG.
Kata gua jungle
So
tank
good
sih ini
close
sih.
up on their
Bren
already
sih jungle
solid
tank
lineup
sih.
with two important cores. You have the Ruby for eventually for Cram, or the Edith.
Lihat, lihat,
whichever
lihat.
they pick, which are two
Lihat,
heroes that
lihat.
are
Satu.
unbothered by the Terizla.
Dua.
We can actually soak up
Tiga.
the damage from the Claude. Now they pick up X-Borg. Like,
Now they get
okay.
the Borg and they get
Oh
the
masih
Messiah.
SRG yang ngepick.
I guess they're just throwing all caution to the wind, saying, you know what, we don't care. Take the Eternal
Aduh,
Guard,
lancar.
Yeah.
and we'll go off of Innocent, we'll go off of Sikais.
Tuh kan Nolan kan.
And the Nolan last pick here.
Bang, Nolan bukan tank. Nolan bisa build tank ya guys ya, jangan so
Thank you
tau
again,
kalian.
gentlemen,
Tapi jelek.
analysts,
Yeah.
for your service towards the draft. Nolan last pick here coming
Makanya
in.
gua
from
tadi
Falcon
gua
AP
nggak
Bren.
tahu guys, ini
Gideon and
SRG
Marco, hope you guys are ready because we're throwing it
pick
over to you
ini
guys.
pick Xbox, gua nggak lihat
Man,
kiri.
that first
Oh,
half
gua
of
bilang
the
gini.
draft, that was interesting, but at least between you and me, Mirko, we figured it out towards that
Anjir, keluar
second
apa?
half as we start rolling
Keluar
into this
transfer
game.
ini.
Oh man, it really felt like for SRG, they really wanted to deny those assassins away, but they left the Nolan open, obviously because the Tigreal is a big threat to them as well. But now that Kyle
kalau
is
kata
on an
gue sih
assassin
itu
that
sama
can
kayak
match the
ISF
lane
ya
when it comes to
sebenarnya.
farm,
Kayak
it's scary. They have a Terizla
kalau
as
ISF
well.
Olimpiadanya
This
ini
was
World Cup-nya gitu.
this is a very similar composition. that they used to beat Liquid Echo just yesterday, or 2 days ago.
And that's the thing, right? It's just a one-to-one solution. Hopefully the pieces are going to
Let's
start
go to
falling
game
into
number
place. We're gonna see
2.
whether our Malaysian
SRG
representatives
Slang
have
Red
what it takes to
Giants
even take
versus
away a singular
Falcon
game in this
AP
best of
Bren.
7
AP
from
Bren
the
tuh apanya
final
kebanyakan,
bosses,
guys?
the gods of the games. Falcons AP Bren as we start rolling into the
Adrian
land of
Paulin.
dawn. It's going to be SRG on blue side up against FCAP on the red.
SRG were definitely able to make Falcons AP Bren lead in game number 1. It looked dominant for
Dihapus
Falcons
aja
AP
guys
Bren
lancar-lancarnya,
at the
guys.
start. But then towards the mid-game, SRG with Yomes always looking for the fights. They were able to drag them down to the ground to actually make it a head-on battle.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they're able to get the Falcons. They're not clipping their wings just yet, but definitely brought them to eye
Lihat di
level, which
sini,
is surprising. But looking at the
Gwen
emblem
dan
so
Pew
far,
yang masih
seems pretty standard
menjaga-jaga
all across the
zona
board. However,
jungling,
this starts from the side of the Falcons AP Bren. But in
jungling,
particular, Kyle
jungle
TZ, he opted to go for
dari
his orange buff first,
seorang
then make his way down
Kyle
towards his
TZ
purple, which does give an indicator that maybe they would just
mengamankan
want to break the
early game
Faraga
yang
armor
bisa saja
relatively
dirusuh.
early, just so that Flap TZ has a better time in lane.
Yeah, for sure. I think getting rid of the Faraga armor
Nah,
is going to be
main
top prio for Falcons AP Bren,
sangat-sangat
because we were talking about this Exborg pick as well.
sangat-sangat
Off-cam,
apalah ya.
the Exborg is really great in lane. In the team fights here, up against a lot of
agresif.
burst heroes like the
Zoning
Valentina and even the
seorang
Nolan,
Flap TZ
he will struggle a bit, but as
dengan
long as
menggunakan
Cram can utilize the lead he gets
skirmishnya
in
Eko,
the lane, if the rest of the team is able to
Echo
also just let him do whatever he pleases in the lane,
untuk
it's going to
menguji
be
mental dari
A-okay
AP
for
Bren
Cram.
yang dikalahkan di grand
Now we get to
final
the 1 minute 30
MPL
seconds, and
Malaysia
nothing's happened down on the
Malaysia
EXP
Filipina.
side, which gives Cram indication that hey,
Walaupun
it's
terbalaskan
probably
ya,
safe
di
on this side of the
semifinal.
map for now. And as we
Ketika
notice,
AP
Kyle
Bren
TZ
dengan
is on the top side, right? He's looking for an
dengan
opportunity,
pastinya
maybe foreseeing
menuntaskan
that SRG was
perlawanan
going to read into the EXP
dari
attack.
Liquid
Look at them.
Echo.
They're sending 4 members down.
Again, for Falcons
Di
AP
Liquid
Bren, it's all
PH
about
maksudnya.
dealing with Cram, the Faraga armor, because he's going to have auto
Nah,
prio.
masih saja.
Especially with Stormy coming around. He gets
Beri
that
damage.
passive down, and Cram will just burn those minions for the passive to kill everything.
Gede
Now,
banget.
Turtle is up.
Gede
Purple buff
banget.
is needed for Sakai to actually stand a chance. But Kyle, he's power
Pressure
farming
nih
this
buat
entire time. In
Aksiata
terms of like the
Arena
laning
nih
phase, honestly,
di
this is
Malaysia.
a way more
M-Series masa sama
manageable
MSC
game
kalah, guys.
compared to number 1.
Ini MS-nya
Good
joinnya
damage
sama
there. Onto Few.
Esports
Placed down by the
World
Cursed
Cup
Blast,
nih.
but take a look at Falcons AP Bren, who are the ones on the turtle. Holding it down for now. Flap TZ has the penalty zone. Can go for the zone, but Skies.
Let's go,
Kyle
Kyle TZ.
Getting pulled back by Yomes. The
Pasti,
turtle guard coming
pastinya.
down as well, but Ogwen will be able to pop the in his fury.
Sekarang kalau di momen disuruh saya Innocent, Innocent, bang nutupin ini bang, nutupin map kocak kok nggak ada yang ngasih tahu sih. Gue lihat map, wih pada foto
back and forth on the Valentina.
kamera gue.
Just with the turtle advantage. Falcons AP Bren up top. Super Marco. Blazing duet.
No,
There's a
Shen
Wasa
di
go
push
for the
terus.
down, finds it. But there will not be
Apakah
a
karena
solo
menang
kill.
Turtle
Not
jadi
now.
si
Man,
Super
Innocent
Macro-nya
refuses
berani ya
to let
Marco
go
ya?
of any farm. He's like, I'm gonna pin you to the wall real quick.
Alah,
Let me
lu
quickly
musuh.
get the cannon. All right, we're done with the trade. Okay, we're done. No more afterwards. But at the end of the day, Falcons AP Bren, despite trading both supports for
Cloud
each
eh.
other, they were able to achieve that
Didapatkan
turtle.
oleh
So, we're talking
Cloud,
about a
guys,
matter
dengan
of
skill
inches.
satu yang
It's whether or
sangat
not
on point.
this turtle shield is going to make a difference in the upcoming engagement,
lupa
right? Because
slotnya,
right now it's
guys.
pretty
Benar,
passive
dia.
between both top and bottom side, EXP and as well as gold.
I think it's
Semoga SRG
going to be
menang.
that way for the most part because Falcons AP Bren, they're just so good, even in losing matchups, to make it even in the lane. They know that they are just here to farm. In the bottom lane, the Terizla is a losing matchup. Up top, even the Claude is a losing matchup, but somehow they're farming really, really well. You can even see in the XP, Claude, Marco's ahead.
Yep. They got to take their time with this, right? They're looking for these big opportunities to make big plays. And I think I'm looking towards Few and as well as Stormy in this particular game, right? Because I think that's the big game changers for each team. We're expecting Flap TZ to look for the big engage. We're expecting Cram to peel. That's pretty obvious. Even for Ogwen as well as Yums, the big engages happen off their battle spell timer. So keep in mind, 30 seconds on and 25 seconds on both.
That's a fracture damage. That's the burst damage that we were worried about for Cram on the X-Borg. Say goodbye to the Faraga armor. Sky's now in the bottom lane. Goes for the Fine Blaze just towards the minion waves. Kyle TZ together with Flap. The hammer swings a few times. Skies gets zoned away from this turret. Will be able to pick up that last XP cannon minion. But still, a lot of resources down now for Skies half HP. Yoms, I'm offended, didn't connect Fuel. Able to use the last Insanity anti-CC to escape.
Yeah, nah. I think at this point, they're just going to have to take their time, right? I definitely think that at this point of time, wait, hold on. That doesn't look right. Cram's got a little more health with that, but still good patience coming in from Skies, right? His ult is such a big resource for him that he needs to hold for as long as possible. At the same time, where's the Minoan's Fury?
Again, time not that well. Eternal Guard, Minoan's Fury though catches them. Skies gets knocked up straight into the penalty zone. And now with the last Insanity, Cram, he's trying to burn them down. Is forced to flicker backwards. Falcons AP Bren, it's Fuel with the steal on the last Insanity. Ogwen's trying to pin him down under that turret, but Cram knows better than to stay in the bottom lane all alone. Innocent up top now. Kyle TZ comes in. Innocent still able to survive for a bit, but not for long. Not against the TZ air.
Nicely done coming in from Kyle, right? I mean, if you can... Oh, whoa! Calm down.
Ooh.
They really want to deny Skies any kind of farm.
It's getting tough for Skies. 3 levels down against the Nolan. That was a threat that we were talking about as well in the draft. The Nolan can match the farm speed of Ling. So with the Terizla, so much prio. Now with Ogwen walking forward against Cram, Flap TZ can swing the hammer down with the cannon minion. The Skies will be forced to just go for that purple buff up top.
Let's look at this replay one more time here, because again, the way, man, the fact that Kyle TZ just using the ult as a gap closer rather than I want the burst damage, knowing that Innocent still has his dashes, just goes to show Falcons AP Bren, they got really clean communication. Like Super Marco's informing him about what is available to make these plays effective.
Calculated, always calculated. Maybe that's why he earned the name TZ behind him, right? But again, for SRG, it'll come down to how they're able to slow the game down, but then make those off-angle engages. Yoms, again in the mid lane, getting chunked down. You have a game fact.
Yep, Stormy leads MSC 2024 with the highest average assists per game at 10.2. He's not looking for those big plays, but oh wait, hold on.
Speed of misery, but it's on the ult and a backline straight into the blazing duet by Super Marco! What the heck was that? Skies gets the Tempest of Blaze, but Super Marco just guns him down to pick up a Maniac!
What a Maniac coming in for your boy Super Marco at 1 HP. We need a replay of that. We 100%. So we see the initial pushback 3.
What?
Eternal Guard hits. Where does it happen? Penalty zone hits 3, and Kyle just has so much damage. He has so much. He sets it up perfectly for Super Marco to walk in for free, and despite all of that, it just goes to show the jungle diff at this point of time. The 3-level lead that Kyle TZ has really making the difference. And let's look at the gold difference. Yup, he's still 2K ahead.
Super Marco. There's a reason he has Super in front of his name. Time and time again, he decides to flex that Super name. Standing in front, no, below a Ling. He got knocked up. He's like, nah, Purify. He was getting stabbed. He's like, nah, I got guns.
He's so brave. I don't know. Sometimes it feels like he teases people like, oh, I'm going to take off the
Maniac bro.
nah, they're still plating underneath.
Buset, Maniac from cewek.
But with this being said, right, Falcons AP Bren, they slipped up in game number 1 when Slango Red Giants hit a power spike, and they managed to
gue berharap Innocent gak kena
in
mental
a
sih
singular
kalau kayak
fight
gini.
to turn things around and find that momentum. I'm expecting
Soalnya Innocent tadi pas dia jalan ke backstage-nya itu lumayan kelihatan kayak terguncang gitu guys.
Everybody, they're just,
Oh,
oh, if
memang
we hit it,
pakar
then
ini
sure. If we
psikologi.
don't hit it, we start backing up and waiting for the refreshes.
It's all about poke, I feel, right, at this point of the game, especially considering for Cram, he wants to stay in these team fights for a long time. So if Falcons AP Bren can just burst that Faraga armor down, nah, you can't really do much anymore. You're going to be forced to wait for the reset.
Kok bisa sepower itu Nolan ya guys ya?
Of the Faraga armor. But yeah, man, Super Marco. He's like Kakashi with his mask, but Super Marco with his vest. Technically, you take it off, there's another vest down there, there's another plate down there.
Diketawain sama Caster guys.
Yums,
Yums.
knowing how far ahead Kyle is. But he just walks up and Skies is able to get a trade. Few though.
He can stop us if he wants to. No.
Apakah AP Bren resmi menamatkan
Just to slow him down even further. How
ML, baby.
annoying. Worst yet, I think that Falcons AP Bren are in a great position because honestly, Few, he has his 2 front
Tapi guys ya, sejago-jagonya AP Bren dia nggak pernah menang Piala Presiden di Indo guys. Jujur itu salah satu prestigious competition ya guys ya.
Oh, Flap TZ set it up for me and Ogwen follows up. I can go in and out.
Oh, look at the burst damage. On towards him, beating out the Eternal Guard.
Trying to be fluffy, but Fluffy bahkan tidak lolos. Innocent guys, seperti biasa guys, dia selalu gak ikut war kalau di bawah. Liatin cuy, Dia selalu nggak ikut war dan dia mempercayakan ini lumayan mirip Bren sih. Oh, perfect moment ya guys ya baliknya ya. Dengan retry-nya yang tidak pernah terjadi, sayangkan ya oleh Annabelle di group stage. Kemarin Skies cuy, lumayan oke banget ya. Kalau oke banget gak harus lumayan, gak pakai lumayan kan. Skies.
Technically that's unacceptable.
Falcons AP Bren set that up perfectly. They had everything in their cards. But then up top, that's where Innocent got picked up as well, by the way. For SRG,
Itu kapan kocak tadi?
Kyle walking up again, trying to get that
Dikejar dia sama, wih, dibalikin adu mekanika. Albert melawan Kyrie. Boom. Wah, ulti angin kah? Dibalikin. Langsung aja Sekai dengan movement yang sangat baik tadi. Itulah Sekai sang pemberani ya guys ya. Sekai top global kayaknya ya.
Holy, SRG find a way to crawl back into this game despite everything
that's
happened. It looks like Falcons AP Bren, they're trying to regroup here. I don't want to say that it was an overheat, but there are definitely moments where Falcons AP Bren were poking a little too hard for pretty much no value whatsoever. It could be an adjustment to SRG anticipating the pushback, or we could say that Falcons AP Bren were hoping for a little bit more from SRG.
Let's go.
I don't know what it is, Gideon.
Falcons AP
Bren had such a big lead.
How come?
Taking a whole lot of damage. Even
How
the
come?
execute there on the Sky Piercer towards the Firaga armor. I didn't know you could execute the
Duitnya
Firaga
nggak
armor.
kalah walaupun beda 11 ya. Beda berapa tuh?
But then again, it's not like we see Xborg every other day.
When was the last time we saw Xborg?
Pernah arti 8 buah kill.
Because that was the only time we got to see, like, you know, Terizla through. Once we got into the playoffs, man, the Terizla definitely was one of those things where, like, we gotta push him out of the way. But at this point in time, we look at the damage dealt, no one's still on top of it.
Farming yang bisa didapatkan untuk mengejar level dari seorang Kyle Easy.
And I think that Yum so far hasn't found a
Sorot
crazy
saja nih
I'm
dia yang
offended yet, right? I think that's the hardest part. Whoever's been throwing the first their abilities first tends to lose that match. With the Winds of Nature from Slide or Super Marco, maybe he can make the super play.
That's something that we have been seeing a lot from Falcons AP Bren, but just in the few last minutes, it's been SRG finding those miracle plays, finding those super plays. Assassination from Skies. Somehow, it's like a timer for SRG. Every time they reach the mid game, they suddenly get a massive power spike.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out, why did Yums use the I'm offended onto Ogun there? What was he trying to bait out? Maybe he was hoping that Falcons AP Bren is going to overheat. I think for both of these teams, honestly, they're looking a lot more similar as long as this game goes on in this best of 7, right? They're baiting each other to try and overheat, baiting each other to overextend. And Yums know that the I'm offended
Last Yums?
Straight into Eternal Guard. I mean, this Fury and the Flicker combo. Kyle in the back line to find the assassination, but Innocent is able to blink out forward. Now, in the back, Skies goes for the chase, the assassination on the Kyle, the Flicker forward from Yum.
Skies. Let's go. Skies ambil momen. Mati dia sama Lord. Gak cuy.
And now it's Super Marco running for the hills. Flap TZ and
Dewa what?
Cannot deal with this Lord take.
Saya masih melawan, yes.
And now with the Lord take, they
yes.
guarantee at least one of the
game kedua untuk SRG ya guys ya.
They can set themselves up for a really good Lord take afterwards, but it all comes down to the real question: who's gonna overheat first?
Langsung di push midnya. Langsung mengambil dari buff yang dimiliki oleh. Nggak ada dulu ya?
It looked like Owen got a really good engagement, and
lama.
more importantly,
Kalau di sini dikasih ke Sekai ternyata.
Kalau
Kalau gua jungle tuh biasanya jungle-nya diambil semua sama siapa gitu atau.
It's really good, especially when you're in the lead, right? But when you get to the 50-50s, when the enemy team was able to weather out the early storm, it's very tough for you to enter these team fights. There's a Don't Run Wolf King. There's obviously a Spirit Misery. But let's take a look at the siege now. 3 mini waves crashing down into Falcons AP Bren's base.
Wave kanan, bawah atas tengah. Langsung digas saja. Innocent mendapatkan seorang Owen. Dan Flaptizi juga militaritas selanjutnya menggunakan Winter Crown. Dan ternyata Flaptizi mati di tangan Cram. Di sana Pew udah sekarat darahnya, tapi mereka di base. Jangan sampai mengulangi kesalahan yang sama dengan di match pertama ya guys ya. SRG udah penuh lagi darahnya. Kill Yum langsung aja ulti, tapi di sana dapat Q-nya langsung disikat saya Stormy. Dan Super Marco menghancurkan harapan dari SRG. Ternyata tidak pemirsa. SRG dan Innocent blunder kah? Tidak. Yum? Oh Yum siapa tuh? Ugen? What? Tuh kena tuh seperti itu. Tapi TAP AP. Lihat. Udah kelihatan kan? Ciri-ciri 4-3-nya kan? This is SRG ya bro ya. Don't disrespect. Don't disrespect ya guys ya. Linknya sekais. Wahai tim Filipina ya. Kemarin NIP Flash hampir udah dibantai guys 2-0 dan di match ketiga dia lepaskan emang nge-ban Linknya, tapi TAP AP guys. Link Skies Marco-nya tinggi digendong Link, sumpah guys. Tadi yang paling kaget ya guys ya waktu di mid itu dia nge-shutdown si Super Marco. Masih ada asa untuk SRG. Pulang sekolah gak mandi gak makan langsung nonton MSC. Lu baru pulang Dam? Gue ngambil baju dulu ya, sabar dah. Guys, Arjibin sama gue jawabnya gitu.
First of all,
sumpah.
we can at least say it's not a sweep.
Ya sama gue tadi prediknya 4-3 udah bilang masih prediknya 4-0 AP Bren BTW.
SRG somehow even the first game and second game somewhere in mid game between 7 to 12 minutes is where they really start shine.
It's the same.
Pada buka TikTok sekarang ya guys. Saya terus scroll di FYP siapa tahu video gue lewat terus di like, di komen, di save, di share, oke? Bilang komennya bang ganteng banget juga nggak apa-apa. Harusnya AP Bren bikin biar kayak Alaska gendong kalau di rank kelas.
I'd hate to say it, but their comeback victory was in essence a two-step process. Number one, get Sekais into a position wherein he can actually get shutdowns. And then number two, capitalize on that and out team fight Falcon's AP Bren. That's exactly what happened ever since that turnaround.
Honestly, Sakai is playing like his idol, man. He's starting to play like Kyrie. Like, this is the kind of highlight plays that we expect from amazing junglers. But speaking of which, in this matchup, both junglers did absolutely amazing. Like, with this being the trend for game number 1 and game number 2, you really can't say any team is going to win or lose based off a small lead that they have. I feel like even 2,000 or 3,000 lead isn't that big of a deal when we're talking about both teams.
Yeah, Sakais has cemented himself as absolutely one of the best Link players that we've seen all throughout the history of Mobile Legends. The way that he played this assassin, like a real true assassin, going in for plays like you're gonna be cleaning up, you allow your team to soak a brunt of the damage and then clean up afterwards. It's as if his strat right now, and this will sound hilarious, but it kind of feels like he's sacrificing his teammates so that the FCAP members are getting a streak, and then he collects the bounty afterwards. All of a sudden, he's hella rich afterwards.
That sounds like a strat I would be into.
I mean, it's working.
Let me die a few times just so that you can get a big goal lead.
Yeah.
That's the two-step process again, right? You die, and then I clean him up. You die, I clean him up. What that puts their opponents in is a state of mind that acts like a sword of Damocles. Like at any time, I could get hit by a rogue Ling. Anytime Sekais could be just somewhere, and I'm dead.
Are we going to see a Ling in game number 3?
Well, I do hope so.
Okay.
As much as, you know, as fan of Falcon's AP Bren, I would want them to ban this SRG Ling, but at the same time, they can use it.
Yeah, exactly. Pick it up, because we now know for sure that SRG respects the Julian. Maybe this time, you do the same. You give the same courtesy.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, speaking of Julian, I feel like SRG, even though they haven't shown it, they have the same dimensions. It can be put in the mid, it can be put in the jungle role. I really feel like that Julian ban was the one that really solidifies things, because we saw how strong the Valentina is, but it looks like once the Ling gets 3 or 4 items, the Valentina can get deleted anyways.
I think you also have to take note of the last pick Nolan. I think I fairly remember I said that it will not fare well against the Ling. It was actually being countered. I understood when they did execute that it was early game centric, which was true. Nolan is a very early game centric hero, but come the late game, you see how it suffered. After one full combo, you have to get out because otherwise you'll be taken out afterwards. So that made me think like maybe there are other options there available for Kyle.
Yeah, the Ling is, rather, the Nolan is too much of a specific tool for a job that he can do very well, but take him outside of that situation, go past the 13, 14-minute mark, be inside your base, and as the Nolan, you're just wondering, like, what do I do with all these rifts?
Yeah.
So, Wolf, help us understand a little bit more. Let's dive right in with the Telestrator.
Yeah, this is where all things went in favor of SRG. All right, so you're gonna see this is the second Lord of the game that will eventually be in favor of SRG. And what I want you to take note before I play this clip is that the members of SRG will force the ultimates first from FCAP. FCAP will actually burn out all of the resources, and then they will kite them out of it. And I also want you to look at the circle, the inner circle being FCAP, and the outer circle being SRG this time. So let's play the clip now. You are gonna notice that it will be the utilization of 2 ultimates actually, including fuse limiter. So there's a 3rd ultimate. And now when they try to get out, Sekai is now cleaning up house because he knows that Kyle TZ does not have the ultimate anymore. Doesn't have the BMI to go with it as well. So there's a lot of resources. He does have the Purify, but come on, Purify can't help you in there. But you also have to take note about Yumes because the idea here for SRG is after FCAP already spent their ultimates, they will go in. Yume still has the flicker. You can go flicker 2nd skill. That's the beauty of the Ruby, and that's exactly what is going to happen. Kao TZ cannot react to that ever so quickly. Then you still have the ultimate on Sekai. He's just cleaning up house. At this point, there are no ultimates. No resources that FCAP can use because they have lost both Few as well as Cal TZ in this situation.
It's a masterful refinement of their Game 1 draft.
Yeah.
They ended up with so much more resources, whether it be in ults, in battle spells, or just in sheer use of space. Because the Ruby closes the gap, not just for you, because Ruby is a negative gain, right? She displaces you and pulls you closer to your opponent's box. So it's such a perfect way of reading what happened in Game 1 that it allowed for SRG to play to their comfort. There was literally the early game and part of the mid for FCAP, and then once they got over that hurdle, it was all SRG.
And now we got to look at our Sony MVP, and it's going to be the Sky Prince Skies, where again, we got to talk about this. Like, we've seen Falcon AP Bren being able to deal with the Ling, but again, I'm pretty sure the way that Skies has been playing it deserves respect back.
Yeah, definitely.
Or pick up, of course.
We can see that for SRG, they're playing the Ling as a team as well. Like I said, they're sacrificing themselves. They're forcing some ultimates first. And I believe that if Sekai picks up this Ling again, well, you know, Sekai's the limit.
Sekai be violent, man. He's so lethal. So, again, I'm halfway through with your theory of him actually just, all right, you guys do what you gotta do. If you die, okay, I'll just shut down whoever it is.
This was a big shutdown.
That's real.
A 5-kill streak.
That's a lot of gold.
I mean, like,
it happened in game number 1 too, where he actually shut down the Kyle TZ supermarket. Then all of a sudden, he's the richest guy in the lobby.
Yeah, his target acquisition is amazing.
His killer instinct
is out of this world. I mean, like, here's the thing. If Coach Arcadia says, okay, someone has to die just so that Sekais can get a big shutout later, I'd be like, I volunteer.
Is there something?
Sign me up.
100% KP.
With Terengganu junglers.
Oh, yeah, they're amazing.
He grew up in the same province as Chibi.
Yeah.
Right? So there must be something in that province that makes such high-quality killer junglers.
Something about their Kropotliko, man. But either ways, right now, honestly, we have an amazing series in our hand. It's just the first 2 games. But for now, we're going to throw it over to our reporters. What do you guys have for us?
We are live at the Amazon Arena. I'm joined by Turner and DJY all the way out from Malaysia. DJY, how are you feeling? What emotions are going through your head right now, sitting with the live audience, watching your team in the grand finals?
It's not looking too good right now, man. AP Bren is leading by 1 point, but it might even go to 2 points right now. But it's okay, man. I believe Malaysia can come back from this because I still believe that it's going to be a 4-2 in favor of Selangor Giants.
Okay, so your expected outcome is a 4-2. Now, is that a non-biased opinion? Do you really think the Selangor Red Giants can come back from this? Because it looks like they are head-to-head with the Titans of MLBB right now.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say, man, because if I'm being non-biased, right? People say that Malaysia is an easy server, so, you know, maybe AP Bren can actually win this, but, you know, I still have hopes for Malaysia. So, you know, as a Malaysia, we gotta keep supporting Malaysia, man. Selangor Giants.
Now, the audience is going wild right now. What message would you have to give over to SRG to push through the series?
What?
What message would you have to give to SRG to push through this series?
What message do I have? Just play more assassins. Don't play tanker junglers. I think that is the key to victory. That's the secret of victory of Selangor Giants.
All right, thank you so much, DJY. Thank you so much, Weezy, as well, because we're going to send it back to the studio. And of course, good luck to the Selangor Red Giants.
Well, for DJY, clearly he didn't see game 2 coming because he's like, that's probably 2-0. Well, now it's a 1-1. Now he said he wants more assassins coming in from SRG. I wonder though, the Sakais have something else besides the Ling because again, it's either going to be taken away or going to get banned.
There's half a dozen valid assassins right now. I'm sure he plays half of them, even if the Ling does get stolen.
Ling is probably up top when it comes to like the ceiling, so he probably knows how to play like either Hayabusa, you know, Nolan, maybe
Fanny was banned before.
Yeah. Elkert Jungle.
Crazy.
Worst comes to worst. Amon.
Oh yeah, Amon. Yeah.
Natalia, you know.
Maybe.
Natalia has a bit of a stretch though. It's a bit difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, if
that attitude,
it's him. You know, but yeah, we're jumping in the draft here. It's going to be very interesting to see who's going to be on blue side because I feel like if Falcon AP Bren gets the blue side, it's going to be very difficult for Selangor Red Giants where they have to consider they have to be the ones banning out that Ling. It looks like Falcon AP Bren is on blue side, SRG is on red side.
All right, if this continues and the trend is whoever does better in blue means the draft is a huge influence. It really does dictate who comes in with an advantage. Now, wow.
Yeah, they really respect.
I can smell it. I can smell the Julian being at least here or the second, the last ban for SRG, and then a Ling steal.
Can we talk about how we thought that Falcons AP Bren is like, yeah, take the Fanny, but it looks like they're respecting it enough to ban it.
Yeah. I guess there's just a ton of problems that will arise if the Fanny was big. Like you're forced to pick up a Kufra or, you know, somewhere along those lines. You need a hard lockdown. You need a suppress to go with it.
Maybe the Kaj.
Yeah. And interestingly, after dominance in the MSC, the wild cards in the group stages, in the early parts of the knockout stages, Luyi was king altogether with Chip. Queen, yeah. At this point, I think that it might be snubbed all throughout the series.
Hold on. Now the Harif has been banned out. Looks like for both teams, they're willing to fight against the Luyi if anyone wants to pick it up anyways. But SRG, it's really on them at this time. Yeah. Either they're going to ban out the Roger, they're going to ban out the Ling, or they're going to have to let both of those go.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Moscow perhaps is an additional ban here for FCAP. They banned the Roger, so this is definitely a race for the Ling. And SRG might be considering just banning that out because I'm pretty sure the FCAP will prioritize taking that.
If that happens, if this is indeed the Ling ban, does FCAP go Luyi or Julian?
I think they will go Julian. It just makes a lot of sense.
Leave it out. Hey, Valentina's open too.
That's true. And yeah, Valentina is an okay hero when going up against the Julian. So I think SRG might be just very confident about giving that Julian up and maybe just ban the Ling. It's like one of your, you know, sometimes when you're like, okay.
Let both of them open.
Oh,
we'll see. Do you want to take the Ling away?
Pick your poison.
Because again, like you guys said, they pick up the Ling. Maybe SRG picks up the Julian.
And they can't afford to let the Ling and Angela, or can they? They already beat it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. So that's definitely the Ling for Falcon AP Bren. You answered this with a Valentina. Oh no, you answered with Angela.
Whoa! go. It's their turn.
I mean, again, like we just said, you take the Ling, I take the Julian.
This
Right?
could be, yeah.
Stormy. I'm sure you trust your boy.
I trust my boy, man.
Yeah.
I
The
trust my boy.
Mage Prodigy, I'm sure, has the Julian in him.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like the last time he used the Julian, that was like what, season 10, season 9 or something like that. But
Years ago, my dog.
the thing is, when he's using the Julian, everyone else don't have to play.
Yeah.
He'll get all the kills.
That'll be.
Valentina Moskov all the way, I believe.
That'll feel great for the guys.
Barretts.
Barretts. How do you feel about this, Wolf?
For you to pick up these heroes in the face of a Julian, which you know to play very well, this must be FCAP knowing the
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. But then that X was CC. I think you pick up the CC now if you're SRG.
Honestly, right now, I want to bring in the casters because for both Gideon and Mirko, I'm pretty sure you guys are watching the pick and bans here. So just want a general idea from you guys. What do you guys feel about the first 3 picks for both teams, FCAP as well as SRG?
We're kind of freaking out here. We were expecting the Ling to get first pick, but then afterwards we're hoping for Yuzong, another vehicle, deny them, and even from SRG side, like they can pick their poison whenever they want to.
They can really do that. I think at this point for SRG, going for, I mean, they already have the Julian, they go for the Claude here, and I get it. For both these, it's all about getting the Julian and the Claude into the mid to late game stage and then battle it out up against this composition.
Wait, is this a Yums, Angela? Because you're if you are saying what we think we're saying, then
There's a
this
chance.
is a mid Julian and
There's a chance. Again, it's like, it's not really Yums' play style, but Yums is the kind of guy that he's a soldier. You ask me to play Fanny Rome, I'll do it.
It's actually a switch up in the dynamic. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lafell. Gideon, you're listening too. Because what I heard is Stormy says where to go, Yums drives.
Yeah.
Right? Stormy, so it's now Stormy doing the job and Yums just following up.
I mean, if they do that, it really is like just saying to Falcon AP Bren, what you guys can do, we can do it too. Speaking of which, now we're looking at the bans here. Valentina getting banned out, Yuzong getting banned out. What do you feel about this, Wolf?
Yeah, Valentina, just a valid ban. I thought that should be the 3rd pick of FCAP, but they chose to go for the Barretts. Understandable because they want to secure that lane. I believe that you also ban what maybe interesting. I want to see ban Kadira because
I mean, we see SRG fought the Julian mid with a Phoveus. Maybe they have some kind of fighter situation in mid that they want to bring up as well.
yeah, Few is the first one to actually rock
The mid Phoveus.
the mid Phoveus. So yep, that's a pretty strong hero to pick up. But I guess another hero is maybe the Minotaur ban. They banned Tigreal instead. So I think this confirms Julian to be the
mid.
jungle, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because you don't
Makes
wanna,
sense.
Yeah, you kind of want to secure that the jungle farming pattern for the Julian.
I was thinking they were going to double down and invest in another jungler that's physical.
Yeah.
Hence why they banned out the Tigreal.
Yeah. And then SRG goes Ruby this time. I think it doesn't. It just makes a lot of sense picking up the.
What about a CC?
Yeah, I still feel the CC is a great pick.
It's going to show up.
It's gonna show up for sure. Maybe last pick, or maybe this pick actually. Yeah, no matter what, that's going to be CC. They're just gonna make sure that it's clear. But Ruby is a very safe pick here, the 4th pick, because it's not countered by anything at all. It has great synergy. You can put it in the XP lane if you're forced to do it. I see the world where it is actually picked up as the XP lane.
Yeah, I compromised the Ling too. Like you show it a second of weakness.
Thumbs.
It's not gonna happen.
Okay.
Unlikely unless there's still room. There's still room for a Ruby.
Casters. What do you guys think about this Tamus pick against the lineup that Falcon AP Bren have been showing?
I think that, honestly, it's coming to a point where what exactly are they trying to do? And I think it's going to be playing for these
Bang,
early
kontennya
first
makasih
hurdles
Yusuf
to try and
Padilla.
get to that mid game like Mirko was mentioning
Makanya
just
kocak
now.
hostnya
And from
Febren
FCAP
bikin.
side,
Ini
I
udah
mean,
berapa
they
lama
kind
gue
of have
tadi
some
begini
strong
ya?
answers
Dihitung nggak?
because the
Dihitung nggak? Dihitung
Barats
nggak?
already should be able to clear faster
Gua ambil
than
tanah
the
tadi.
Tamas.
It's all about capitalizing on the
Nonton
mid
kah? Ada
game.
nonton
It's all
kah?
about capitalizing on the team fights. Because what the Tamas allows SRG to do is it allows kind of the whole team to buffer the engage, whereas the Moskov will have to really be careful as to how he actually goes into these team fights, and if he does go in a bit too early, the Vengeance will maul him.
Yeah. There's a Minotaur, very good pick because it counters the Claude, and there's It's just about this big nuke mage like the Lilia, because the Thames was already.
Bang, ngalangin bang, ini kameranya.
That it kind of walks slow. It has to actually walk and traverse lines. So,
Kali ini pakai Tamus SRG guys.
Pick up here.
Tamus tapi dapat Julian, dapat Angela juga. Di sini masih tidak berniat mengeban Link guys. Dan Kelty sepertinya ingin unjuk gigi juga ya dengan menggunakan Link. Seolah-olah bilang ini Link bukan karena lu jago, tapi emang hero-nya yang OP. Kata Kelty.
Decent for SRG.
Kan kutunjukkan aku itu bisa main Link dan menang. Tapi di sini sepaket ya guys ya. Marco juga yang mendapatkan
the anti-Link strat, of course.
Moskop yang bikin Doi bisa juga unjuk gigi kalau gue juga bisa
That's scary. That's actually really scary.
Innocent yang juga bahkan seolah-olah bilang lu pakai kalau udah nggak becus biar gue ajarin, alias tukeran draft tuh.
I love it.
Mirko, get in. I hope you guys are ready because it's your turn.
Gue nyobain sana dulu ya, jangan diintip ya.
This draft, quickly threw a curveball here. I thought, hey man, this is gonna be tough because FCAP's comp, they're gonna eventually outscale, but it looks like from the side of SRG, they've decided upon, you know what? They've been winning out on the early game. It's time for us to show them what an early game looks like.
Oh, this is gonna be really interesting to see for SRG because technically, yeah, they have a lot of great early game pressure, but even in the later stage, they have that claw to carry them.
Hopefully it's going to be enough. We're coming into the land of dawn, boys and girls. It's game number 3. They've managed to jump as high as the Falcons, eye to eye. But can the Falcons soar even higher here in this match? Welcome to the land of dawn with Falcons.
Game ketiga, Bang. Apa Hauna Nisa? Kangen dah?
You can already see as the game gets started, the Hilda make a very
SRG
maneuver in towards the enemy purple.
Sungguh perlawanan yang sangat kita harapkan ya dari SRG guys ya. Sehingga tidak ada lagi grand final yang dimainkan seperti itu. Kemudian kita bosan dan pindah game ke Hawk atau Lokapala.
Of that purple ball, Stormy has cleared it out. Calteezy on it. He'll be forced to maybe use the retribution at this point because Yums, he is there trying to screen it out. Calteezy bringing it into the bush. Retribution is going to be used.
Oleh sama Yums.
Successful invade.
Yums ditangkap sama Calteezy langsung gas karena memang guys ada update patch di mana kalau kita ngerusuh ke jungle musuh di early kayak gini, otomatis defense-nya berkurang ya guys, dan damage-nya tambahin. Damage-nya nambah lah ke musuh. Enggak recommended ya untuk rusuh ternyata PIP tapi guys. Yang Pak Hilda emang kayak gitu tuh. Kayaknya nggak ada yang nemenin aja.
Later on, but seriously, if Skies is able to steal a Lord with 2 levels down, I can only imagine if he's the one ahead, he will not miss a single retry.
Well, we'll see whether Kyle actually still has his how much pressure is being applied right now by Yums, right? We're expecting Yums to get even more aggressive after the 2-minute mark because then he's not going to get punished as heavily once he's invading those jungles. But take a look at this, right? They're setting up a potential counter-attack here down on the bottom side, but SRG sense it.
Again, for Kyle, it's really tough for him to actually maneuver around because if he gets poked down, it's very tough for a Ling up against this kind of composition already. The Julian is actually a great pick against the Ling, so now that if he ever gets chunked before he enters, he's going to be punished even more. SRG know it, that's why they're not in any rush to go for a neutral objective.
Especially since, guys, especially with chains, right? In combination with you, trying to
dua jungler
Kyle easy to maybe get a delay.
Ini gue kasih tau lagi. Jungle jangan soal-soal star gitu. Objektif kalau kata gue sekarang ya. Terusnya assassin. Nah lebih musuhnya farming datang nyuri.
Standing there menacingly, zoning them away. But Kyle trying to make his way back. That's a flicker forward. That's what is welcome to the pin down now into the knockout.
Ya, Calteezy pamer kan lagi kan. Emang guys, dia pickling tuh kayak gue juga bisa bro. Langsung saya diberikan.
What a recovery! Really nicely
done.
Very nicely done.
The weird part is that we did
spot out the Ling on the mid wall when it all occurred, right? For all intents and purposes, Molten Size, he could definitely throw it at him, try to push him off that, try and honestly push him off of that wall, maybe even get Yums to help out with that as well, but instead they start peeling backwards and they completely forget that Flap has the flicker.
Flap Teasy on the Barats. He makes it feel like a Ling. It makes it feel like it's a mechanical
Ini
hero.
didapatkan oleh
Denton is welcome flicker combo
AP Bren.
connecting every single time. Even in
Bahkan
game number 1,
Little Wonder
finding the
lagi
vital
di
targets.
kontes lagi.
Able to find the target he
Pertandingan
needed, and
sangat
it was
seru ya.
Skies.
3-0
Straight into the
skor
pin, and now
sementara
we get a
untuk
look at the
Falcon AP
items.
Bren.
Does look like for
Dengan
he's
gold
actually
lead-nya
quite
mencapai
a bit
berapa?
ahead, 300 gold as he
1.200
goes in for the push. Turn of the night, the waves from Super Marco, immobility. Super Marco able to get
Kenapa
out
gayanya
now.
gitu
Trying to go for the
kan?
pin down out the sky. Spear of destruction is
Guys yang nggak bisa kemana-mana dengan Storm yang udah mengeluarkan ultimate. Hampir saja memberikan momen yang sangat gemilang di arah turret dari AP dan ternyata Storm mencuri-curi kesempatan untuk membunuh Super Marco. Dengan Yum bisa melakukan flicker, tidak bisa lari ke dengan KLTZ. 4 orang di arah sana. Dengan tamusnya yang minta maafin, sorry banget gue baru jalan mulai nih. Gue boleh bawa aja ya, udah nggak apa-apa santai.
Honestly, I'm surprised the fact that Sakai stayed alive that long to chunk out Super Marco like that. At the end of the day, it's still a very well worth trade for Falcon
Jadi ingat
AP
guys,
Bren.
Arsenal
Now
Chelsea
Super Marco's
6-0
got
guys.
4 assists in the bag. Ogwin unfortunately has 2 kills, but hey, you take what you can get
Bang,
at this
kalau
point in
nggak
time,
keras
right?
seperti
As long as
biasanya,
you're
bener.
able to accelerate Kyle TZ, he's going to drive the momentum for Falcon's AP Bren. SRG, we don't have much cleaner fights right now. Let's look at the items one more time, and
Bang, muka lu
lead
kuning,
still
kan kuning
in
guys, muka
favor
gue
of
guys.
Innocent.
Again though, in the purple buff, Yoms, Power of Wilderness already used up the Retribution. Baited out of the Kyle. But now with the Defiant Blade, he should be able to deal with Yoms.
Yums bermain meta heal David.
Unstoppable he needs. 5-0. Flask of the Oasis Power Spike.
Nah, Storm masih
for the
mid,
Minotaur.
clear mid.
Yeah, but despite all that, 5-0-2, a wonderful
Itu
KDA to have.
motor
And yes, guys,
tenggelam
despite
ke
being
mid,
0-2-1, the same level as
Gang
Kyle
dong,
TZ,
dalam
they're
gang
doing
aja.
something right here, right? They are trading gold for a little bit of extra time and EXP.
Gang
And
gang
that
nih,
is
tapi-
going to keep SRG in the game
Wah,
because,
ini gang.
as we mentioned before, it's about that mid game, right? That big mid game spike.
Krem, poke down a bit. Good
Sakai.
position on that choke point. Krem unable to really go in. The missiles not able to connect right
apa
now.
tuh?
But Krem will
Apa
be
tuh?
brought back
Apa
forward.
tuh? Apa tuh?
Pops in the ultimate, has the
Apa tuh?
hard guard to play with Stormy.
Buka-buka gitu ngapain, guys?
Over him. Taking a lot
Teknik
of
apa ya?
damage though, Kyle now.
Direlakan saja oleh SRG. Mencari objektif lain.
Creeps one level ahead of Skies. He's back
KLTZ
again.
dengan free
Finally,
turtle-nya.
for the very first time, we see SRG say, no,
Gua nggak
we're
respect
not
sama
going to
KLTZ.
contest. We're finally just going to retreat.
Kan gua
And Stormy's
pecinta
gonna
hewan
top
guys ya.
off-
Itu
top
ada
off his boy Cram here because it could be
Pembunuhan
a setup
terhadap
angle
hewan-hewan
for
kayak
a
gitu, Bro.
dive. And I think that's a very good call considering
Jadi,
everything
bro.
that has happened here. But in the mid lane, at least the guys finding
di-
opportunities. Wait, that just is... They're not
lewat
going to
saja
dive
di
that for
sana.
sure. But let's look at the goal
Dengan
difference,
Sto
right? Because
Innocent yang nggak bisa
while everything's
kemana-mana.
happening, it looks like Innocent
Bisa
has been doing a
ternyata.
phenomenal job now extending his 500 gold lead to an 800 gold lead.
Itu Innocent
He can
pakai
go
pakai
back
skin
for
apa
man.
tadi guys? Skin ini.
He can go M for M with Super Marco.
Skin apa?
I was not going to follow up you.
Sanrio bukan?
I knew
Duet
you were
Sanrio
going
bukan
to pull
skin
it
ini.
out as well. Let's look at the items because now you can see that the 800 goals
Bang,
make
itu nggak
only the
kelihatan, Bang.
slightest difference, right? It's golden staff already built on top of that DHS. But let's cut back to the supports because the Flask of Oasis is going to be a lot better than just Steel Pains.
Ini kalau menang, wah
Gotta be
gokil
careful
sih guys.
though.
Karena
Look at this.
si Hildanya belum seefektif
Top
itu ya, belum
over,
seefektif
get
RKT
chunked
ya.
down. It's a bit of damage.
Tapi
I
RKT
think it was
lawannya
from
cuma
the turret,
alter ego
Yours,
doang.
and then a few basic attacks from
Ini
Innocent
tadi
too.
lawannya juara dunia
Now
Timnas ini.
walking up forward. BMI defensively again. Both teams really just looking for an
Hapenya
angle
kecil banget
to
ya.
find an advantage.
Oke, gini
I'm
katanya.
curious to see what Kyle TZ has built. I just saw the GDS actually getting purchased, and I don't know if he's fast forwarding the GDS instead of getting the Haskell, or maybe he
Tuh,
already has the
Innocent,
Haskell in
Innocent,
time
Innocent
with
gitu, guys.
Circus Fury, right?
Hit,
That's the
hit, hit.
typical build that we like to see.
Tap-tap ya.
Wait.
Satunya
He's not
tap-tap
gonna-
guys. Langsung aja kali dia hampir mati
Skies
sana.
has the enhanced sword, goes for the
Dikejar
kill.
oleh Sekai
Has a
dan
hard
Sekai
guard to
dengan
help
tempat
him too.
turret.
Kyle TZ gets out.
Tapi tidak dia mati.
SRG want
Kali
to
ini
capitalize. Cram straight into the bottom lane.
dengan
Wants to
Cram
cut this wave
terus
to
push
find that
lane-nya.
And
prio.
it
Innocent
just
nggak
goes to
bisa
show that
se-
KDA isn't
Innocent itu ya
everything
kali ini
to
ya.
all of our ranked demons out there, man.
Dia
Like,
pakai
look at
Cloud
that.
guys,
He's a
guys,
full
dibalik.
level down,
Tadi
and you
pakai-
compare it 5-0-2 to
Oke,
0-2-1. In
Mos
what
enak banget
world
sih
does that win?
In this world.
farming di lane, ada
7
ward
minutes
datang.
in, Game 3 of the Grand Finals of MSC
Sekarang dia
2024.
mengalami kesalahan yang
Super
sama
Marco
dengan
will be able to utilize
tapi
that
di match
advantage up
sebelumnya
top.
Super
The
Marco
three-man
nggak
advantage to
sekepres
take
itu guys.
one. Now straight
Dari
into the bottom
awal
lane, utilizing
malah
movement speed,
lumayan
but
yang
SRG
ngebalikin
on it.
banget,
Sky, Stormy, and Cram.
yang
Look at
nge-crash
maneuvers
banget.
coming in from Falcon's AP Bren, trying to recover the space. Need to be chunked by Yums. Forced to flick around, actually. Super Marco with the Abyss Walker. Also with the Spirit of Misery. Trying to really go for the poke onto Innocent as Kyle TZ holds on, and no purple buff on him. Fop TZ in the midst of it all, caught in the poke. So much poke praise on him, still able to flicker that to this welcome, finding
Kyle
Skies again. And this
TV.
time, it's going to be Skies, dealing some damage back again. Over
Ini kalau udah link kayaknya plus satu objektif ya guys ya. Itu bukan CKS yang OP banget ya, tapi linknya yang terlalu aduhai.
A trade for now.
Innocent menurut Owen lumayan tadi ya guys ya, 101 Innocent.
Neutral objectives.
I mean, at this point, I bet even the audience is tired of
Ini nggak
like,
begitu
how
gimana?
does only
Yum
2 people
sama
die?
Sekai
Despite
yang
everything that has happened, these battle
maksudnya
spells,
banyak ya.
these
Jangan sampai
flickers
Marksman
especially
sama
are proving
Midlaner gitu.
extremely
Ini ada
valuable. I would
boost
have imagined
gitu nggak
at
sih
the very
sebenarnya kan ya?
minimum that maybe few probably needed to purify or something. But even Flapteezy,
Oh, item.
Man, how does he get away with this?
I can't believe he's done it. Well, at this point, I don't even know how many times he's done it. But the fact that he keeps getting Skies, and in game 1 he kept getting Innocent. Perhaps the death to this welcome. Usually we see the death to this welcome miss, especially when it's coming with the flicker.
Apa Yums buat ini doang ya, buat mirror
every
gerakan
single
musuh doang ya.
time.
Jadi
Man's got aimbot somehow.
si
It's inbuilt to his
Innocent aman
fingers
gitu.
somehow.
Innocent, Stormy, Mekami aman
There's
gitu.
no explanation
Walaupun
for
dia
it.
masih enggaknya tim
What
udah
is the
info.
explanation?
Toby Maguire got bit by a spider. Flapteezy got bit by a
Kecil
goat.
gitu guys.
This guy is he's too good. He's too good. But at the same time, right? SRG continue to try and keep it even with Falcon's AP Bren. Yes, it is a 3K differential between the two teams, but we've seen time and time again that SRG have made miracles happen, and Falcon's AP Bren are now taking a much slower approach to SRG
Itu
than they have
kapak apa
before.
guys?
Not just
Senjatanya Hilda
throwing
guys.
people at the wall and hoping that it sticks.
Nggak boleh cuy.
Here though, you can see Yom's trying to screen out Skies, able to clear out the mini wave in the bottom lane. And again, for Selangor Red Giants, they have a really good way to actually minimize their losses, right? Every single time they're actually behind, when they don't have tempo around the map,
lawan
they're still
SRG
able to catch
82
every
guys.
single wave. While also
82 nggak bela jauh, tapi ini kali
any
ini
pickoff from
5-0 guys.
happening, which is very impressive up against a team like Falcons AP Bren. Usually a 1,000 gold lead means that it will give them a billion more opportunities to look for pickoffs around the map.
Yeah, but it's starting to look more even. Even we're talking about like priority, right? Like Cram half the time is able to kind of match up unless we do see Flapteezy sacrifice a bit of his wave just to get there on time. That's the cost. That's the big brass tacks that both of these teams are applying onto each other. Every single one of these moves need to have purpose, and it always comes with a cost. That being said, though, this Lord Dance is going to be extremely important for the two. The worst part about it is that Falcon's AP Bren probably can do it slightly better thanks to the help of Ogren on this Minotaur.
Slowly but surely again for Falcons AP Bren. This is the new version of the Lord Dance. So with the changes, it's all about the Lord. Can we call it a step? It's a tap dance kind of back and forth.
Easy masih
It's a tango, Chow. Yeah, it's a
mempertahankan
tango. It's much
stacknya.
more of a tango than it used to be than just sitting and doing the waltz, right? But at the end of the day, Minotaur is really good at... Oh,
almost catching him with the enhanced chain, but Kyle still able to utilize the Finch points. He is low though.
Kyle
He'll get the
datang dengan
motivation roar,
energi
he'll
yang
get
habis.
that sustain.
I think
Namun
this is a
setiap
pretty good
menunggu bisa dengan
opportunity
hit-hit
for
anda.
SRG to start taking the space back here.
Kasih
However,
mati berapa?
not making it easy, right? Drawing the borders in the river,
Innocent
making sure
cuy,
Gloom is going to set the tone for this
detik
upcoming
mau
fight.
stop udah
What a nature.
segitu darahnya guys.
Timing here for Falcons AP Bren.
Siksa bro.
Now it'll come down to Skies to really deal with Super Marco. Yum's in the front, trying to deal some damage on the Flapteezy. Will be able to do so as Cram walks up forward as well. Jumps into the midst of it all, still able to pop the ultimate. Now Innocent deals some damage.
Digas cuy sama Innocent. Innocent pas banget. Tapi Ogen malah mendapatkan kill dari Cram. Ogen double kill. Sungguh apalah ini SRG guys ya. Buset Flapteezy diratakan kah Stormy sendiri. Nggak mungkin dikasih pulang cu. Mereka lebih objektif dan mereka bisa end saat ini juga. Belum lagi push, ngapain lagi play cuy? Udah lihat tadi, woi. Salah banget tuh guys, ini tercatat coba. Stormy sudah defense sendirian, udah ada Cram yang udah muncul di sana. Stormy mengorbankan nyawanya dengan Cram melakukan Flapteezy, tapi tidak bisa end. KS sudah muncul dengan off dan kembali langsung menghampiri kalah Lord dengan posisi saat ini 3 lawan 4. Theo dan Ogen yang masih zoning dapat Lord dengan sangat cepat. Lord sudah diamankan oleh AP Bren, kemudian Yums yang mati, Sekais yang tidak bisa pulang, dan Super Marco memastikan game ketiga. Untuk
AP
AP
Bren with a
Bren.
double kill from Super Marco. But they gotta breathe.
prediksi gua
for a
4-3
moment.
sih.
This chain deaths from SRG is
4-3
supercharging Falcons AP
SRG
Bren
guys
as
ya.
they're pushing the
Ini
momentum
jual belinya
to
guys, jual
the
beli
crystal.
kemenangan aja guys.
The base wide open. Super Marco will deal with him, but he'll go for Cram just first. So
Belum loh. Ya belum lah, Lotso belum muncul guys ya. Latin, Stormy dapet. Dapat Super Marco guys. Dan nggak mati.
Falcons AP Bren, they still have a
What?
ward to play with. Innocent and 4, Sakai's already back alive. Falcons AP Bren.
Yums masih bisa recall dan hampir saja.
They did.
Jangan berkecil hati anak muda.
They recover. Let's breathe for a moment here because we know that this whopping score might
Kalian
just be
pikir kita sudah
nothing in
kalah?
just a little bit.
Katanya.
So far, goal differential, a full 7K ahead. When we look at the items, the Winter Crowns have already been purchased since earlier, but now even more people have it with more invulnerability frames to work with. At this point, the question
Besok
really
MPLS
is,
gua joget-joget cuy, sekolah cuy.
how are you going to make this miracle happen again? Can somebody deal with this Daytona's welcome from Flat TZ? And more importantly, few
Tuh guys, gua joget-joget di sekolah guys.
It's very dangerous to walk up.
I think it's all about Skies with the enhanced scythe. If
Kacau,
he really
kacau,
wants to
kacau
deal with
besok.
Death in his welcome, it's all about him evading
Nyambut anak kelas
and then
1
trying to melt Flat TV
SD
down. Look at
guys,
Yums.
MPLS cuy. Gue dulu waktu SD nggak ada MPLS, dulu SD deh. Langsung masuk ke kelas belajar. Apa TP aja. Guys, open view. Inno sama dapat Augen. Habis Marco mendapat Sekas kembali. Dan Papi yang mengambil. Inno hampir satu lagi mengenai dari seorang Stormy. Stormy masih bisa bertahan di sana. Dengan Yums yang sudah ada di base lagi untuk mempertahankan base mereka. Kram. Ya kan sama Stormy-nya GG juga guys ya. Pakai Angela tapi bisa buat banyak itu. Gokil. Kalau ada tapi sayang sekali emang terlalu power lean-nya guys ya. Udah guys, harapan SRG begitu saja pupus. Wah, apa yang dipertontonkan oleh itu tadi apa yang jujur ya, apa yang pasti inget dingin itu guys. Ini nggak enak tuh. Kalau di daerah tertentu guys, jing itu bukan kasar guys ya, jing itu kayak wah gitu.
Well played. Falcons AP Bren, they really
Terus
adjusted
langor.
to the mistakes they made in game number 2. They weren't composed enough. They weren't controlled enough. And in game number 3, they
nggak boleh
decided
gorok-gorok gitu
it's
cuy.
all the way from the start to the
Ben nggak
finish.
sih? Udah nggak sih ini? Tadi ada yang gorok-gorok. Ini guys fansnya guys. Diskualifikasi nggak sih? Pasti pialnya kayak RRT nggak sih?
And the defending world champions. I think that SRG, unfortunately for them, this is going to put them in their place a little bit more. Falcons still in the air. They're still punching up
AP Bren masih
towards
terlalu
them
kuat. Gue
despite
abis
being
kemana? Kocak,
giants.
abis ngambil celana,
All this time, even after the miracle defenses, Falcons AP Bren
Karena buat
still
besok
fly
sekolah
above the
guys.
rest.
Well, Analyst, it's time for you to break this down. What could both of these teams have done better?
Banyak celananya review. Aduh, gue bukan
I mean, I
PNS.
feel like we
pas
can
PDH
go very different
aktif
angles
kan
here, but I do have to say
guys.
for the two
Sama yang
games that
PNS.
SRG lost was with that Angela. Even though it did look good, but it looks like it's not good enough to get that W.
I had to
Lupa
say
dulu
it
guys,
during the
guys.
draft. We were all saying, hey, maybe
Ini,
it's time to put
awis.
Stormy on a hero that is
Rambut lu
actually
lemes amat bang.
proactive,
Iya, abis
that has
dicukur.
the mechanics
Tapi kayaknya
and the
kependekan
damage,
tapi
the
nggak
output
apa-apa biar
actually put the
sekolahnya
team on his
rapi
back.
guys ya.
But
Suka kan gue pakai peci guys, jadi gue pengen biar nggak gerah aja gitu.
For me personally, would be the hill down Yums. We saw it as a bold choice.
Yeah.
Definitely one way to maybe stop Kyle TZ's Ling, but
Stormy udah gigi banget guys kalau kata gue ya guys ya.
reactive
Ya
hero. I
padahal ini
really
linknya
feel
sih yang
so
bahaya sih.
Gimmicky.
Mungkin kalau kata gue SRG berpikir mereka bakal dapat link lagi. Gue juga nggak akan kelihatan guys.
It works. This is
Kalau pakai
I would
peci,
say this
kalau
is a
pakai peci.
regular season or a group stage kind of.
Iya, tadi gue
answer to the
pengen
link.
potong pinggirnya
Okay?
doang, tapi ini
Because,
pinggirnya kependekan, terus atasnya kependekan juga.
You can see that it can easily
Dia
like
pas
trump the
cukur gue
early
ketiduran gini.
stages, and if it does become
Bagus,
successful,
bagus.
it's gonna
Udah,
be
udah.
great. Ling is gonna struggle.
Bagus.
However, this is the grand finals, and they have solutions for that. I'm sure that prior to picking
Gue
the
nunggunya lama kan.
Ling, you're also prepared for that. So I think that if
Tidur
you
gua.
dedicate taking
Gimana?
the Angela and taking the Hilda,
Terus kata gua,
then
duluan
just to
akhirnya,
answer
duluan.
one pick,
Exactly.
that's not that
Yang
economic.
tapi udah beres nih.
It
Gue
was
pulang sama si bapak
a
ini.
permanent solution
Mau digimanain?
to a temporary
Ngapain aja, Pak?
problem that, you know, maybe even FCAP was ready for. Honestly, not just maybe. They literally were ready for.
Terlalu rapi.
It's very rare that you don't feel Yums, especially since he started playing for SRG.
Honestly, the one that really seemed to be a problem was Flap as well as Few on this barrage, as well as the Lilia. The Lilia did her job very well, zoning out SRG far away.
Okay, so what you achieve from this pick, right? If you pick up the
SRG
Lilia,
tapi
you get
menurut
late
gue guys
Kyle,
oke banget sih permainannya sih.
you trump the Angela in a
Emang
mid
layak banget.
versus mid matchup. There's no way the Angela can win that
Pram.
matchup. Then you get out of the lane, you super serve your teammates by applying the damage
Pew.
because you're uncontested
Matabaran.
in the first 3 minutes or 5 minutes of the game. Come the second turtle, you're actually a force to be reckoned with.
And come big team fights, you almost undo the doorstop that is the Tams,
Yes.
and you even outlast the Hilda because
Exactly.
you drop the glooms, you blow them up with the shadow energy, she hides into the bush, and then next thing you know, she comes out. You can do the same thing again. There's very little that it costs few to push out 2 or 3 members of SRG.
And a little tech there
Gak
for
boleh terlalu apa?
counters
Gak
the
boleh
Julian.
terlalu.
The Julian wants to go all in for
Itu.
marksman, your position for, but it's almost like
Gak boleh terlalu
not a
ketat
choice
kan
at all.
soalnya.
It's not like going
Ini
for the
gua
Lilia
kecilin
isn't
tapi
even
kemarin
part of
tadi
the
gua
choices
pas
there.
beli tuh kayak
First
gombrang
class.
banget cuy.
Because it's not worth it.
It's a waste, honestly.
Kayak pakai rok cuy.
Yeah, again, because of the black shoes
Kayak
as well.
pakai celana
Like, if you
sarung.
don't burst
Celana
in, I
sarung.
mean, like,
Celana
Few
sarung.
is probably waiting for that to happen just to
True.
press the alt.
Not to mention, he also has free ways to check bushes.
Yeah.
Right? So, again, already for 2 games now, prior to this one, Sekais has been playing the Ling.
Yeah.
He can come in from any angle. He has a free go at the back line. Now he has to go through
Yes,
bushes,
yes,
which
yes.
most likely has a shadow energy or gloom in it. And then he also has to be honest about his engages.
Yeah.
Even if he does have a Hilda checking for...
Jujur gue agak
an
bete
angle
sih
as a
guys.
backup,
Kenapa
for his
finalnya
F2.
hari ini guys? Karena lagi ada
SRG,
event Pokemon Go.
across game 1 and 2.
Lagi ada event Pokemon Go ini gue usah lagi
You know,
ini cuy
can we say
lagi
that this Lilia pick was absolute genius?
Yeah,
it really stopped SRG from
Lagi
doing whatever they
nge-ride
wanted to
harusnya
do.
gue.
It was it's the anti-assassin.
Soalnya kan
build,
gue di
but
Tokyo
at the
nih.
same time you have the Minotaur to
Tokyo udah jam
because you
9
pick up
cuy.
the Lilia, which usually, you know, the mid laners are kind of backed up by roamers. Lilia is very independent. In fact, the Minotaur had a
Lilia
always
very
had that time of his
independent,
life
yeah.
in a way that he was able to achieve whatever he needed to achieve because he doesn't have to take care of another hero in the mid lane.
What the Lilia Minotaur brings is a mobile box.
Yeah.
The Minotaur defines where the box is, and then the Lilia sets where they can push forward, which is why often in this game we see more than I think the regular game between other teams is the flicker forward Minoan Fury, because you know that the Lilia can follow up.
Yeah.
You know that it's more than just a singular CC to maybe push forward or to disengage. It's always CC plus extra.
So part of the loss here, is it that SRG really fumbled the draft?
Lihat ya guys ya.
I wouldn't say they
Bedanya
that they
caster
I
Indo
think
sama
that it
caster
was
luar
just
ya.
an
Kalau caster luar tim yang
over-investment
kesukaan dia
onto
kalah
entering
juga
the lane. At the
masih
same time,
kayak
you go for the Hilda
full power lah
into
sih
the effort. I think
pembawaannya
that
guys. Mungkin karena mereka
it's
mewakili
not about them countering the
internasional
lane at
ya,
all.
bukan
It's more like
mewakili Indo
they're
doang.
putting their important players in a spot where they're not able to play their game. Storm is not playing the best game of his life. Yums, I really like him with setup heroes. With your Hilda, you're very honest. No hiding. You're just literally showing everywhere. There's no surprise factor at all.
What's the highlight for the highlight maker if you're a Hilda?
Exactly. No, I agree. But now we got to look at our Sony MVP, and it's going over to Kyle Teasy. So looks like the name of the grand finals is the Ling.
Yep. It's the Ling.
I'm proud of how Kyle has stepped up to the plate.
Yeah.
For the 2 years that they've been a team, for the 2 years that they trusted the process, it's very rare that Kyle Teasy is the one on the pedestal.
Yeah.
And here at MSC, here in the grand finals, there's a lot on Kyle Teasy's shoulders, and I'm glad that he's putting the team on his back.
He went the reverse way when it comes to like being the superstar of the team as a jungler, because usually when you're a star jungler, you start as the assassin / damage dealing jungler that you're always about.
Benar guys, gue setting dulu ya.
He started. He was known because he's assassin plays, but he got famous because of how well he utilized the utility heroes.
That was the meta at the time.
That was the meta. He did his sacrifice. Now it's time to shine.
And honestly, looking at the way Kyle TZ is playing, it almost like he has multiple ways to carry the game. It doesn't have to be a huge KDA spike, doesn't have to like do any kind of flashy plays, just like you guys said.
Kyle TZ is playing 4D chess. He has so many moves, so many options, despite there being so many doorstops to his birth into team fights. And that's one of the things that you cannot... Wait, no, what?
18 KDA.
That's I was gonna say, that's one of the things you cannot...
Masih tinggian KDA Lemon ya guys ya. Cuek aja, cuek.
Beyond mechanics.
Yeah. I gotta say, throughout this best of 7 so far, it looks like SRG, they're playing with a handicap because every single time, the early game, it always goes over to Falcon's AP Bren. And with that being said, yeah, you know what, someone has said it.
Gua main Pokemon dulu ya, ambil nunggu ya.
Anyways, we're going for a quick break. After this,
Mumpung gak ada yang nonton ini kan.
Against Lago Red Giants. And welcome back. Just to update the score right now is 2-1. We're 2 going over to Falcons AP Bren. SRG only having 1 point. Welcome back. My name is Afel. Alongside with me is Wolf as well as Leo. As you guys can see, based on today's games, I'm a little bit tongue-tied.
Yeah. Why, I wonder?
Well,
who knows, right?
Who knows?
Am I right, guys? Am I right?
You have the right to feel that way because
thank you.
How stressful, actually. I think that's a perfect word right now. Even
dude,
for
I might start bleeding again.
I think overall for all defense, like Filipinos, Malaysians, very stressful. Even in game number 3, you can argue that there were times where you would think like, okay, this is actually winnable for SRG.
Yeah, they had ins.
Yeah.
But the fundamental problem with the draft and what they came in with kind of bit them in the behind. Much like game 1. Is this not the story of game 1? Yeah. Wherein they're like, oh, whoa, it's greedy, but they're making it work. And then, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Well, now we're jumping back into the draft here. SRG, blue side, Falcons AP Bren, red side, betting on that Julian. So I'm
Game keempat.
be a link back.
Semoga masih ada
Take
asa untuk
it
SRG
away.
guys ya.
Like we've seen what happens when Skies doesn't get the link.
Get out of here. He's just too good.
Yeah.
That is the most respectful way I can say it.
Yeah.
He's just too good.
Yeah. Or open up
Terlalu bagus
Angela,
cenah guys.
SRG to pick up this Angela once again. And you know what else is actually forced out when you pick up the Ling, as well as the Moskov. If you go Ling Moskov, you're already very greedy, right?
Yep.
That means that Cram will be forced to a hero that
Skills as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what happened.
That's well, game number 1 they tried for the CC, which almost
Ini
worked, but
Falcon
then
ya?
it was still very greedy. Cram
Versi
is
muka-muka
a player
bahagia.
that wants to have at least some farm in him, right?
Yeah.
So picking up the Thams, for example, might not be the best solution. Now, if we're looking back at F Cup, it's the complete opposite. Flap TZ doesn't care about farm. He's that hero, is that player that will pick up the Barretts.
He's a Detna's welcome machine, a final slash machine. It just so happened that whenever we see him on the Arlet, he just goes ham. But yeah, he's happy with just that kind of role.
Okay, so what is opened up here?
Moskov?
Loyi, Moskov.
Valentina. Oh no, it's banned out.
Yeah,
Oh no.
It was banned out.
Yeah.
So Angela as well is open.
I don't
believe
want
the
Angela, man.
I reckon
want to
that's
pick
not
up
worth
the Moskov. Yeah, the Moskov is just a very good pick overall. But in this scenario, without the Lingus of the Julian, yes, Hayabusa. But then
SRG
we've also got
mengamankan
Teresa, I believe.
Moskov
So I
dengan
think
AP Bren yang nggak mau memberikan kesempatan untuk SRG menggunakan link lagi.
Louis Arlet.
SRG learns SRG AP Bren learn something ya
Louis
guys ya.
Arlet, and then you
Kalau
wait for
kita
it
nggak
to
bisa
swing,
pakai
you pick up the
katanya.
Haya.
Musuh
Knowing
juga nggak
FK,
boleh
though,
pakai
They might
bro.
just go for
The Riz.
As simple as that ya.
So you go Louis Riz.
Louis Riz, Arlet. Okay, yeah. Obviously, why would you pass up on a very good combo when Ling is not available?
Is this
right?
Flap whispering in Treb's ears like, let me have it?
Now we got a player quote coming in from the assistant coach, Ozora Vecchi from Selangor Giants. Ducky is really smart. Falcons AP Bren have strong priority picks and good understanding of the meta. He's the reason Falcons AP Bren is able to stay consistent.
Tuh.
Okay, they still want to pick up the Loyi.
Emang
because
menangnya
I
juga di
don't
draft sih guys.
like it
Maksudnya
going up against Arlet
kita kalau udah
overall, and
ngomongin
then the
kompetisi
cloud
kayak
also
gini
is a
guys ya,
problem
udah
for
nggak
the
bisa mentok
Louis.
di mana?
By picking up the Louis
Mentok
into the
di
Arlet, you essentially
pembahasan
feed yourself to a
mekanik,
five-man
main
final
gamenya
slash.
gimana.
Oh, I love it.
You don't want that.
Bener-bener lah guys ya.
It's risky.
Lebih
Okay,
ke
here's the thing.
arah udah
Would you
ke
like it?
arah
For me,
I love it.
I feel it's risky.
It's the
Let's ask,
Fanny. We're talking about the Fanny, folks.
let's
arah
ask the casters.
keseluruhan
This
sih
Fanny
kayak
pick.
draft
Casters, how?
ngaruh banget.
Give us your insight.
Here, look.
Kemarin aduh
Let me
sayang
just
banget ya.
explain to you. Our
Dari Evosa
reaction
juga
to it,
nggak
well,
ada
at least Miracle's reaction was,
perkembangan apa-apa dari arah
that's good. And
draftnya.
I'm just like, I don't know. I agree with you, LaFell. It is quite risky.
Why is it
Fanny
that us
pakai
we're
ngelepas
the
Fanny
That's trauma. That's just PTSD.
Yeah.
ngambil
That's
Akai.
situations, honestly.
But we've gone through a lot.
All the more, I think I'm gonna side I'm gonna err on the side of caution because they picked up on a Kyle TZ, you know.
I see what you did there.
Because again, you bring out the big guns when the Fanny comes through for the first time in the series. This is Kyle TZ's first time on a utility this series, so that means they're ready for this. It came out what 5 seconds after the pick.
Yeah, definitely the answer. Or also massive combo with the Arlot. But you know what? I think this is the time where it will be damage dealing hero for Flap. So it will be like dependent on like the damage. Like maybe
Like a pack.
like a pack. Exactly. Which is
Bagus sih
great
draftnya sih,
versus this Moskov. I think the best hero overall though is Yuzhong with the Petrify. You can actually
You hunt for innocent.
hunt for innocent. You can also hunt for the Fanny. So if you're SRG, if you're paying attention, ban the Yuzhong. That's gonna be a problem
What
for
about
you.
Fairness?
A Fairness.
Right? Denying the...
Yeah, still no mid laner for
yeah, no
FCAP.
mid lane. Yep, there we
Ooh.
go. Fairness ban.
I
play
the
MLBB.
Fairness. Yeah.
Sometimes.
Assassins generally don't like playing up against the Fairness.
I
So
understand.
very good ban. You ban Tigreal perhaps if you want to double down.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of... All three heroes for FCAP are physical, so the
Yeah.
Tigreal would be a smart ban here.
Yeah. Innate Kira. Oh, okay, of course. Cover your base.
Oh, they're not going to risk it. They'd rather deal with the implosion.
Yeah.
What does Stormy play here?
What if they? What,
Aurora.
what if they pick up the Tigreal themselves?
They can on the clapback.
And then
Let's go ngambil Tigreal.
from Flap TZ, just like in M5.
Just like the other day.
Just like the other day too. So that opens up a lot. Like you already have Implosion, you have the knockup from the Tigreal, they have the Akai with infinite amounts of vengeance juggles here coming out from of the Ireland if ever they do pick up the Tigreal. However, I still feel the Yuzhong needs to be banned here for SRG.
Agak aneh guys dengan the Yuzhong, the Moskov. The hell, bro?
They're covering up the roamer choices, I see.
Okay. I wonder what Yums wants to play, because again, he's the highlight maker.
Yeah.
Highlight makers, Cho, Ruby, that kind of picks. Lilia picked up again, so Falcon AP Bren, they're gonna have priority. So this is making me feel more.
Lilia lagi guys di sini guys.
Yeah, but maybe a Lolita for Yums.
Lolita's fine, yeah.
Going up against
Adita
God,
sih,
I think,
Adita
I
selalu
don't like the
SRG
interaction
sih.
with the Lilia though. She just tears through you.
what else? Maybe they snatch a Tigreal, I guess.
But the thing is, Falcon AP Bren, they have a lot of ways to survive, right? The Purify from the Lilia as well as the Quad, the Akai with the innate Purify as well.
Digi.
It's kind of like, I can see the Tigreal pick, but I feel like it's gonna get countered so hard.
How about Aurora for SRG?
Yeah.
Looks to be Aurora and then Tigreal. That's a really good combo. It opens up a lot. It's
Novaria dan Cho.
Novaria.
Yums Cho-nya bagus juga guys.
F-Cup, they are the ones who's gonna pick up Lolita. Yargle.
Ada Pokemon gua
SRG
penuh.
have to fight very specifically and they have to be proactive.
Good start for SRG, but F-Cup, the last two
They
picks.
found
Oke
the
guys,
answer.
Pokemon gua
Found
penuh.
the answer. Lilia Lolita.
I refuse to give any
A
opinions.
PTK combo.
My job ends here. Thank you very much to the analyst, Mirko, as well as
Dari lab sih
Gideon.
oke bang.
Good luck for this game.
SRG.
Yeah, we're gonna need some luck on this one because I think that Lolita pick solves a lot of the problems. Single target lockdown, big disengage, big re-engage with the flicker, the shield to say no to innocent for once.
Also, the Lilia with insane mid prio, so they can actually go for the invades a whole lot. Utilize the Aura, utilize the Akai as well. Try to go for the purple buff for the Fanny, and if Skies doesn't get the purple buff, I think it really looks like for Falcon's AP Bren, purple buff number 2, they're gonna start threatening it.
Well, hopefully it's going to be enough here. Again, a lot of factors are coming into play. Whether or not Cram is able to find that priority to contest for it, whether or not we're going to see some guys make miracles happen once again, this time on an even more dangerous pick for the early game. It's time for game number 4. SRG now on the blue side up against Falcons AP Bren on the red.
It's the battle for match point for Falcon's AP Bren, 1 game away from match point for SRG, a bit further on the climb. You know, I was talking about how, all right, on the Novaria, it's a great pick, especially considering this is the first time that we get to see Falcon's AP Bren, at least in the knockout stage, on utility, back again. So Novaria provides a lot of good poke, and then obviously when the Lolita came up, it's just like, can't believe I forgot about this, right? The pick that was able to send their bitter rivals, Liquid Echo, in the semifinals out. They were able to counter Edith and carry, it was.
Yeah, and I think that the Cho pick is actually a pretty good substitute for it, right? Because again, you're fighting for that mid prio. You are going to take some damage. You need some way to kind of not only defend yourself, but clear that waves effectively. Here we go.
Good damage down. Down Flap TZ goes in still.
Sama Cram oleh dan Yuyum.
But now the swing of the hammer.
Sektais.
Blood.
Masih azan, lupa guys, masih azan dia.
That Fanny was in play? I don't know. That was kind of weird. That was kind of weird from Flappy. Definitely could have like completely disengaged, but let's see if they're gonna get. No! Another one on top of that.
Great start for Selangor Red Giants. A kill onto Skies, a kill onto Cram. That's XP Prio and Jungle Prio.
I think that honestly solves a lot of the problems we were worried about for SRG. Now the early game is actually somewhat doable this time around. Maybe, I don't know, it could just be like blue side being the ultimate side at this point, right? Is that? I think that's what we're kind of devoting it to.
So far that has been the case, and now again, Yum's able to clear out the mid lane.
Good start
Level 4
dari
advantage for Falcons AP Bren, but take a look at Flap TZ. Uncharacteristically, not level 4 at the first turtle. Cram swing a hammer down, Flap TZ down to half.
Storming nge-scan semuanya.
Cram pops in a penalty zone. Cal TZ in the midst of it all right now on the neutral objective. We'll be able to find this. Flap gets the shielding.
Kena juga
Spear of destruction. One last shot should do it, but Flap again is able to survive with just 1 HP.
Kawan guys. What the hell?
But the cables are inevitable.
He's
Guys,
mad. Flapteezy's mad. He's like, oh
What are
man,
you
maybe
doing,
Yums just didn't
Sakai?
see like the little slight
Sakai is
bit of
real, though.
green left on his health. Let's have a look at this one more time. And Skies, again, great call on this one, right? For all we know, Flapteezy, he hits level 4 just in time and tries to sustain through that damage. If he connected with that final slash, that could have bought him at least one
Itu
more second of
senjata
time
yang
for somebody
di-save
to find the
sampai
train back.
semifinal dan
Especially since
sampai
Owen
final ya.
on this Lolita has single target lockdown with the charge. At this point in time, with Fanny having an EXP lead, that's a great... Wait, now they have prio over this. Are they going to send the mid lane over to it? No, they're not.
No, it's just back and forth again for SRG. They have this lead, so no real reason to actually force a lot of these fights. And you can get to see that interaction with the Bulwark, sending it back towards the Navaria. But SRG, actually, they're holding out in the mid lane very well, too, when it comes to clear away the Dragon. Locking Ogwen down straight into the Blades of Skies.
Guys lagi-lagi memakan Ogwen.
That was a great idea. This is a great idea.
Dua
This is
kali
why I
mati
really
Ogwen di
like
sana.
the Cho pick when we see Yums play.
Sekali ya,
Yes, he
sama
wants to
siapa
make
tuh yang
highlights,
mati?
but at the same time, there's a lot
Piu,
of
piu,
interesting
piu, apa tadi yang
interactions. And
pertama
most
tadi?
importantly, he can cancel out Ogwen's Numenon Blast early. He can kick him out of position. And the same can be said about Kyle Teasy when we come down to these Lord situations. It's how do we utilize this way of the Dragon effectively?
Good Black Shoes usage there by Few, able to evade from Skies' damage. But now he's on the purple buff, and Yums will have to buy some space. Stormy in the mid lane as well, trying to clear it out. Trying to get this prio for Skies. Kyle Teasy already
Yums
jumping
sana
onto
main
Yums,
dengan
trying to
baik.
find a trade for the purple buff. But Yums is going to be caught, forced to flicker out. Super Marco on the chase, the flicker. No flicker. It's just a few recalls. Innocent with a pin down in the mid lane. What happened? Few got picked off.
I mean, everything is
Guys, gua
happening
fokus dulu, bentar ya,
all
bentar ya,
at
bentar
the
ya.
same time. He's caught
Kamu dulu.
mid-rotation here, and now the penalty zone to look for more.
Oh, Spear of Destruction as well. Now he's going to be Innocent. Caught in the final slash, still able to evade right now, but the Numenon Blast is able to connect. He has the Purify. He baited out the Vengeance straight into the kick. Into another spear from Innocent.
Ya, apakah ada kesempatan, guys? Ini guys berarti, guys. Good start dari SRG, guys ya. Gila, nge-pass AP Bren loh. Gila, kok the power of... Udah.
Skies with the cables. Oh! He's able to steal it away again. This time a level ahead.
It's not about the players anymore. It's blue side. It's something about blue side, right? It's sorcery. How is this fair? How is blue side so dominant in this game thus far? I thought the draft coming up for Falcon AP Bren is honestly not that bad, but considering these early interactions not falling into their favor, it looks like SRG really taking advantage of every single bit here. But same like last game, that mid-game spike from Falcon's AP Bren. We need to see that happen. So far, Kyle Teasy hasn't been able to create too many opportunities just yet, but that's all due because some people are getting caught off. Other times, you just don't have the battle spells.
Man, I just keep remembering now with this kind of performance on the Assassins versus the Utility, I keep on remembering and recalling that interview with the Malaysian content creator. What is his name? I think it's DJY. He said, go Assassins. Assassins #1, he said.
Assassins is the way to play the game, right? I mean, look at that. He's already got... Oh, my goodness. At least he's building up to a 2K lead onto Kyle Teasy. 6 minutes
Guys, dengan
into this
dominasi
game.
yang
But
amat
that's where we
sangat
see
bias dengan
Falcon's
Kyle
AP
Teasy
Bren, right?
yang
Their
tidak bisa
comp really
berbuat
comes
apa-apa gitu.
online
Walaupun
once
pick
they start
counternya ya.
grouping up
Walaupun pick
together.
counternya guys, tapi nggak bisa berbuat apa-apa guys. Yums,
Has the Purify.
tendang saja. Dia nungguin si Sekesnya ready buat nyamperin, baru di ulti lagi fase keduanya. Walaupun Chow itu udah di nerf ya guys ya. Udah di nerf dia skill 2-nya, skill yang fase keduanya ultinya itu jadi lebih singkat ya.
Oh, it is. And it's about to get even worse for the side of Falcon's AP Bren if they keep on slipping up on these leads from SRG. And right now, the main attack dog, the initiator, Yums, he's doing so much this game.
Doesn't have the way to Dragon here, but will be able to knock him up. Flapteezy gonna be knocked out. The penalty's on cancel.
Yums.
By the sun,
Nice banget.
caught in the Astral Echo Innocent. Now the Abyss Walker as well, very low. No pin down with the Spear of Misery. Good cover from Ogwen.
5-0 guys, ini kalau kalah sih, aduh. Mental breakdown sih guys ya.
To the assassin jungler.
Honestly, not too bad. At least Falcon's AP Bren aren't giving anything over to SRG besides the turtle.
Free tackle di sana.
Onto Few. Forcing him to use that black shoes. Not that big of a deal. That's just an alt use. It's not like they're going to fight.
Walaupun gue pencinta hewan guys, tapi turtle di sini nggak apa-apa deh guys.
And they're considering
Emang
the
untuk
options.
dimakan-makanin ya.
I mean, they've got the Way of the Dragon ready. They could do it, but at the same time, the lack of purple buff from Sakai's means that SRG just have to wait.
You can see the difference in level already. This is why the Assassins have been able to find so much more value in this meta. The clear speed is ridiculous. On top of that, how fast you are, so mobile, you can go and catch a lot of these waves that most utility junglers will have to give up. It's a 2-level lead for Skies. So finally, after 3 games, he finds himself ahead in level against Kyle TZ.
Hey man, similar to SRG, Falcon's AP Bren have been known to flip fights over despite having massive losses in the earlier stages of the game. They're great at their timings. Both
Ini
these
apakah
teams have
berarti
a
yang
lot of
dapat
similarities.
Moskov
Look
pasti
at
menang
Skies
ya, walaupun tadi kalah sih.
pulling of Falcon's
SRG
AP Bren
yang
away from each other, trying to not enable their
Skies.
These cables from Skies, man. Cram in the mid lane. Goes for the penalty zone.
Gua kira nge-lag loh.
On the boots. Gets him out of the heavy spin. He flickers out of it. Meanwhile, down below, Skies!
Solo kill flap easy cuy, itu flap easy guys, bukan saya, bukan gua guys.
I guess. I mean, Flap TZ, he's just not. He doesn't
solo
have
kill.
enough stacks. He just got the Thunder Belt as well. He
Itu
doesn't have
roster
enough hybrid
Timnas
defense
bumi
to
cuy, solo
survive.
kill cuy sama
Even if he
Skies.
does, technically it doesn't matter because Skies has the better
6-0, bener-bener
the
guys.
better it is for me. The more I'll just cut right through it.
Skies.
Wolf and Leo, they were talking about, you know, Flap TZ on the
Ingatanku
island.
Arsenal Chelsea
He
gitu
should
ya.
be able to do what he did at M5. He should be able to do what he did just 2 days ago. This is an unreal stat. 0-4-0.
Boleh suran nggak sih? Boleh suran nggak sih? Kasian ini apa Bren sih diginiin cuy.
But we know that the game has been accelerated to a point of no return. I think that from both sides, it could be like a quick game for SRG to move on, and Falcon's AP Bren will then take blue side. Or if Falcon's AP Bren really want to slow this down, we're hoping for some big plays from the initiators. Like, if not for Flap TZ, sure, maybe they can extend and guarantee a
Lord
fight win.
and then
But
off
Ogren as well
down.
as Kyle TZ need to work with some angles here against SRG. And unless Yums is caught slacking with that Shunpo, because right now he's playing mechanically perfect.
This is a big problem, by the way, for Falcon's AP.
Yums.
Even the hand
Yeah, I'm not talking about Yums recalling, by the way. That's also a problem. You know, it's emotional damage that they are receiving every single tap of the recall.
Emotion
But
damage.
really, for SRG, it's how they're able to utilize the 1-3-1 formation as well. Fanny up top or Moskov up top, and then someone else down below. Skies. You blink and you miss that, right? You blink and you die. Super Marco, great reaction time to evade from it. Without the Wind of Nature, he really has to respect Skies' damage. And you can see
Kata
for Innocent,
Bejon
he's
guys,
already
kata Bejon
on
emang di
the
luar
Lord.
luar Asia sih khususnya
Penalties
sih.
gonna be chunked down. Penalty zone,
Lolita
locking
ini
him down
kualitas
now with the help of Yoji.
lengkap dapat 2 orang di sana.
The final slash, Skies finds it.
Yums.
Okay, they're just gonna back away at this
dibalikin
point,
lagi
right?
bro sama Oben.
SRG don't need to extend the lead. They've already committed. I mean, they got Flap TZ's final slash and the flicker as well. Maybe he's just looking for some sort of redemption in these fights, but it's fine, right? Falcons, they can technically lose their outer tier 1 and 2 in mid. They just need to make sure they high ground defense. Oh god,
Skies now. Oh, Skies!
Udah mati cuy.
he's out of there.
What?
He's out of there.
Oh my goodness!
What a play cuy.
This kid's insane.
Play Skies.
Now gonna be caught in. Innocent able to take him down.
Innocent
Penalty zone
view
locked him down
sana.
as well. Meanwhile,
Dengan
Wade
Yums
attacks
yang
from
menendang
beyond.
seorang Flap
Skies
TZ
again.
di arah
With the
bokongnya di
assassination
arah
gets knocked up
mid
before he
tadi.
can do anything. But they will be able to take some of these turrets.
Yums terus membayang-bayangi 3 orang pemain AP Bren dipaksa mundur ke mid dari sana.
Ogwen forced back, forced to flicker
Marcos
out.
Marco
Still with the Lord. This is the first Lord of the game. And they're looking for
masih mid 11 guys. Udah kontrak 10-0 cuy.
Finally,
Lu bayangin guys, selain Eko, siapa yang lu kepikiran bisa ngandangin bisa ngandangin AP Bren kayak gini guys.
A 10k goal lead for the side of
Sungguh
SRG,
apa banget
a
ya ini
missing
ya.
inhibitor from the side of Falcon's AP Bren. On this next lore take, Falcon's AP Bren really need to discuss how they're going to approach this. Yes, they have zone control, but so far, SRG, now that the lore dance is more of a tango than it is a waltz, this push and pull is not in Falcon AP Bren's favor.
Not at all. It really feels like they're just so far behind, and it is because they are far behind. Super Marco, super far behind, doesn't have the Wind of Nature just yet. So
Semoga nggak ada move yang tidak diharapkan ya dari ini ya guys ya, dari
the Astral Echo straight into the almost
SRG
unmissable
ya.
Astral Spheres. He's gonna have to build double time.
Bren diayamin sama kabel
He's
layangan.
gonna have to do it quick.
Gak boleh makan
Because
turtle,
this snowball
kocak
is getting
sekarang.
out of control.
Yeah, it doesn't help the fact that even if we want to see Supermarket to go for the
Boleh
cleanup,
beneran nih.
Innocent can almost guarantee deal with him 1v1 because he
Turtle
already
tuh boleh
has the winds of
tahu.
nature in
Turtle kan
his
ini
backpack.
kura-kura
With
guys.
6 kills on the span, 3
Penyu.
kills on
Turtle tuh
Moskov,
penyu
and
nggak sih?
1 on to Rizla. SRG
Penyu
are
boleh
in
dimakan nggak sih, guys?
prime
Kan nggak hidup di dua alam
position.
dia.
Now, I think from
penyu
SRG's
dua alam
side,
penyu
the
ya?
difference between this game and the previous is the fact that
Kalau
they
di
were
Mars
very
penyu
honest.
nggak dua
But
alam, guys.
now that they have mechanical heroes that really show the skill expression micro-wise, it's really forcing Falcon's AP Bren to take their time, right? Their slow approach is costing
Zaman dulu guys,
them a
betul
lot,
kelas
but
zaman dulu
right
ya.
now, SRG
Skill 2-nya Fanny itu bisa
refusing to
ditahan sama
make
skill 2-nya
too many
Lolita gitu. Jadi
mistakes.
Not at all. No
gitu,
mistakes
hilang
it
gitu
seems
si kabelnya
right
tuh.
now. Good bulwark.
Kalau sekarang kan diganti mekanisme skill 2-nya. Jadi
Skies again threatening some of these
sekarang nih kan
resources. Perhaps Innocent gonna
mantul,
be
jadi
able to
cuma
go for the
proyektil
invade.
doang yang
Kaltisi secures the
tembakan
purple buff.
lepas doang.
So not losing too
Kayak
much here,
hook
but
sekarang
again,
nggak
Falcons
bisa
AP Bren, a big
tahan.
problem that they're gonna have to face is the
Tembus
fact
lah
that
istilahnya
the
sekarang
base
mah.
turret up top in the far lane has been taken down. And SRG were already winning out
Ketahan sama Innocent, nice banget Innocent. Tapi sana masih penuh darahnya. Dan Cram yang langsung kena 3 orang dengan kombinasi dari Ultima Varia. Dan juga Sekas yang hampir meng-end di sana. Tapi Kaltisi nggak ngeliat ya Kaltisi. Kaltisi nggak ngeliat guys. Kok nggak pada balik sih? Wah, apa tahu nggak akan bisa di-end tuh. Oh gila ya. Oh gila ya. Tahu dia nggak bakal bisa end loh. Aduh, Sekas hampir mati bisa di sana.
It was all just 1-for-1.
No purple buff diff, and oh my god, Ogwin made that work. No,
Guys,
they wouldn't. They can't, right?
2 seconds.
Tendangnya langsung sama Yums. Dengan Sekas yang mendapatkan dari Allah Lord-nya oleh Kaltisi. Ini dia guys, pergerakan-pergerakan tidak kita harapkan tapi terjadi. Dengan double kill Innocent tidak. Wah, Innocent terkena tombaknya sendiri dengan muka yang sangat innocent, polos banget. Aduh, jangan comeback please. Kasihan orang tua kayak di rumah tuh sudah berharap. Kalau di sana apa di stage orang tuanya? Pram masih berusaha di sana. Pram menahan 3 orang sekaligus di mid. Kenapa rotate kan yang kan case belum ada buffnya. Iya cuy, terlalu greedy guys. Pram menahan 3 orang mempertahankan middle outer turret dengan sangat baik. Karena mid turret itu kalau kata Lemon udah paling penting ya. Cuma yang bisa menahan laju atau dominasi musuh ya. Jadi gimana nih tadi Pramnya. Sebenarnya kayak wah kayak buang-buang nyawa banget sampai tinggal. It's a good move ya actually ya. Yums ketawa guys. Emang boleh ketawa.
I mean, that's an interaction that everybody wants to see in their ranked games, you know? Like the Moskov killing himself against the Guardian's bulwark. It's not fun as the Moskov, trust me.
Hey,
not at all.
Just wait for the star shatter.
If that actually happens, if you get sniped down by yourself, technically, that'll be the only interaction that tops the Moskov kill, right? Good pin down. And it's not the Super Marco.
Semuanya ada yang pulang cepat, tahu juga sih, tapi nggak apa-apa.
Purify. Man, the patience
Mereka tidak di bawah tekanan
It's really crazy because now it's come to a
di
point
bawah
where
joyful
even if Ogwin gets kicked out of
and
the way,
confident.
you can start walking up and get free damage, and more importantly, Kyle TC is now tanky enough to
Kakang
actually
itu
push them
membuat
out of
mereka
the way.
survive.
Man, Cram is wow. Okay,
Hari-hari
wasn't expecting
main.
that much damage to be
Sangat
pumped
GG.
out by Super Marco.
Me neither. Skies trying to bait out a few of these abilities. Super Marco in the back already using the Purify right now. Crab's going to be pinned down as he goes for the penalty zone.
Pram.
Skies are going to
Nggak
play.
juga
Missing
stun
the
cuy.
cables, getting summed up.
Dengan Skies yang recall di base musuh itu.
Unable to find for anything else. Few looking for the chase, but Cram is there you go. It almost hit. Maybe that could have been the one.
No, I don't think he would have died just yet, but at this point in time, it just goes to show they've hit their power spikes and finally passed the mid-game into the later stages of the game. They're eventually going to outscale Slango Red Giants in these super prolonged fights. Every time that Guardian
Wah,
Bulwark
ini sih
comes
emang
up, SRG has to
pertandingan Grand
completely
Final MSC yang
avoid
harusnya
Ogwin.
terjadi itu emang
And now,
seperti ini
let's
guys.
have a look at the items so far, because
Ya,
now
guys, ya.
I'm finally seeing somebody building some magic
Gokil
resist.
parah cuy. Gak ada yang mau ngalah guys.
Coming in from
Gak ada yang kayak nge-throw game gitu guys.
He hasn't really been able to
Di match pertama sampai sampai match sekarang gapnya bahaya guys. Dulunya bahaya guys, dulunya guys. Memang kalau secara marksman lebih bahaya Laude ya, karena Laude lebih bahaya lah pokoknya. Caranya damage-nya gitu.
A shred? Oh no, you hate to see it. You hate to see it, guys. He's been perfect all game. He's 6-0. But it happens to everyone. It's not just you in a ranked game, buddy mans. All you Fanny players, it's not just you.
It happens to the best of us, even to the prince of the skies. Oh my goodness. All right, regardless, right, it doesn't mean too much.
Dukung tim apa bang?
There's a good chance that Supermarket probably might have been able to survive that situation, but here comes the Astro Echo to reveal everybody.
Good shot. He's actually half HP, is able to sustain back up with the
DHS and that QC.
Back to the Lord now. Gonna be choked down. Skies in the back line trying to go for a flank angle. Crab taking a whole lot of punishment.
Oh, this is so interesting. This is so very interesting. Because now,
so very interesting.
Ram
dapat siapa di sana? Piu hampir saja mati sama Ram. Dengan Eno dan Supermarket hampir mendapatkan ke arah Stormy dan malah dibalas oleh Sekasa mendapatkan KLTD dengan Kram juga mendapatkan dari seorang Supermarket. Last man standing dari Ogwen tidak bisa menahan gempuran dari 5 hero dari SRG dan menangkan game yang keempat dengan sangat pantas. Lantas mengapa kau masih menaruh hati guys? Arah cuy SRG cuy. What? Ini Eko loh, Eko AP Bren loh guys. Ini AP Bren guys. Timnas bumi cuy. Memang harus ada cowok jago nggak sih untuk juara-juara kayak gini guys. Masa ngasih hype-nya guys. Gokil parah cuy. Apa itu? Apa itu SRG guys?
Being in favor of SRG, the fact that they were always able to find these ridiculous team fights. Those angles were ridiculous. Stormy, he was alone. He was playing like the Fanny. We'll keep her flank, shooting them from off angles. And it really made Falcon's AP Bren think about all these different angles to a point where they completely forgot about the direct engage from Cram, from Yums.
I think it also comes down to just conditioning, right? Every single time Stormy shoots it, he's always making sure, hey, I'll do it off a cooldown.
SRG menaruh harapan pada kompetisi tertinggi Mobile Legends guys. Yang sebenarnya kita selalu ngelihat ada dominasi yang sepihak ya guys ya. Di Grand Final khususnya kayak kemarin di MPLPH gimana mendominasinya tim Liquid PH dengan di Indonesia juga ada dominasinya dari Onyx Esports. Tapi MSC kali ini sungguh apa banget ya guys, nonton 3 maksudnya gimana?
However, yeah, Yums with a choke, you know that it's you know that he is making all of the plays that's necessary for his team. I believe that the Terizla is such a great pick for Cam because it just fits perfectly what he wants to achieve as a player. So I think
bener-bener guys, hero yang dipakai Sekes tuh bukan karena emang hero-nya OP guys. Kayak Link, kayak Fanny, bener-bener mereka si Sekesnya mainnya emang outplayed banget sih guys.
You start off saying shut down flap is one of the catalysts for FCAP success, and they did so.
Out of nowhere ada seorang jungle bernama Sekes ya guys ya.
They put flap on what 0-3.
Yang apa banget mainnya cuy.
Right?
Look
at this. And to some level, even Few couldn't play. Even Few from mid on that Lilia with the Purify with the Black Shoes couldn't survive our SRG's aggression. This is FCAP bullied into a corner. Even if they did have a comeback angle in the late game, it was just too little too late.
Yeah, I think it. Now that you're gonna be thinking like, surely the Akai works a lot, but I think that FCAP, they're the ones that are.
Mereka pikir mereka bisa counter Fanny Sekais guys. Padahal
however, it wasn't enough in the end. Yums was phenomenal with the Cho. I believe that the way that he spaced out in the early stages, and I think it was the Fanny was indeed the problem here.
Can I say I'm impressed by how the players are looking so calm and so composed because let's see here. My heart rate is 111. I don't know how they can take it.
I remember back in M5 when when there was an actual notification. Because
Yeah, I had a notification. It's like, bro, your heart too fast. Calm down.
You gotta relax. You gotta relax.
Last time that happened, they went 7.
Oh yeah, it could go all the way because right now they're trading blows, and like our caster said, both teams like blue.
Yep, so far blue side, because you get the Ling, you force your opponents to react towards you, and in this case it's going to be the Fanny, so there will be a little bit of a change up for sure. I think that Falcon's AP Bren might want to consider getting to the blue side once again, and I think the main reason why is because of the presence of the chip. It's like a mandatory ban, I would say. So that really opened up this Fanny because the Ling was already banned out, and then they had to be forced to
4-2 aja udah buat SRG guys.
Despite
Taunya
the
habis ini yang menang.
advantage that
Apa
I'd
itu,
argue FCAP had,
buset.
right? Especially in that last phase when they got
Apa nggak
the
deg-degan, cuy?
Lolita finally, and then the Lilia going up against a Cho and a Novaria.
Yeah.
The play was just what put SRG over. Constant aggression, timing out wherein you're expecting to be able to hold in. Like in the early game in the XP lane, SRG
udah pada
said,
buka
FCAP,
TikTok
you're playing.
belum guys? Udah pada like video baru gua belum guys?
Let's ignore mid lane because we are not gonna win mid lane anyways. Let's just farm. I'll clear the waves from Novaria. I'll pop second skill and first skill. I'm gonna be okay. I'll just get out of there, and then come the mid game, I'm very strong. Fanny did the heavy lifting in the early stages of the game.
Speaking of which, that's our Sony MVP. We gotta check out Sakai's on this Ling. I mean, at this point, like, if they win it all, this is, I would say, a good contender for MVP of the Grand Finals.
Fanny. Playing the Fanny.
Guys, gua kata gue MVP-nya Sky sih kalau misalnya MSC menang ya. MSC yang SRG-nya menang ya. Sky wajib MVP guys. Wajib.
I'll be honest guys. I went to the
wajib
comfort room, and then when
guys.
I get back, it's a 2-0 already for the Fanny.
Dan game kedua dia dapetin permako di tengah-tengah turret.
Like a few minutes
Di
later.
tengah-tengah turret dikelilingin anak-anak
It takes a
AP
very
Bren dapat
special
permako
kind of
guys.
jungler, very special kind of assassin player to do what Sekais did here.
Yeah.
He looked at the knob for aggression and turned it up to 11.
Can we talk about his retribution as well? I mean, like, it wasn't really on display for this game. I mean, like, he was able to steal that one, but a lot of steals, even from yesterday, coming in from Skies.
And that's most important. And look at this. They already know that they can initiate. I think Super Marco popped the Purify way too late. Could have gotten out of that, but yeah.
Gila. Kayaknya juga chill banget gitu guys.
I think for Yums,
Another game, another
it is rewarding
Skies.
for him to be overly aggressive, and that even when he doesn't have like an immediate heroes around him as his teammates, there's always that Fanny factor that is gonna be counted as almost a global hero at that point, especially when you're dominating like that. And it kind of allowed Yums to be, to have easy decisions to actually go for initiations.
Yeah, I think that's another key to SRG's success. If you want to keep him winning, number one, put him on heroes that they're comfortable with, or wherein the roles that they're fulfilling are roles that allow for them to get their game plan online. Second is maybe we're of the mindset that macro is the only way to win. With SRG entering the grand finals picture, maybe actually just team fighting up until your opponent can't out macro you anymore is a valid strat. Because that's what happened here.
No, legit, I agree. I'm a big fan of team fighting here. But for now, we have a
Makro tuh
special
udah bukan segalanya
here
guys
where
di ML sekarang
Eternal
setelah
Weezy
SRG
talking
masuk
to the
grand
founders
final
of the
sekarang
team,
guys.
so let's check it
Ini
out.
menunjukkan bahwasanya penting banget yang namanya team fight
Hi
ya.
guys, it's Eterna here backstage at MSC 2024 with the founder AP as well as the director Jab from Falcon's AP Bren.
And Steph Weezy here, joined beside me. I have Simon, the co-founder for the Selangor Red Giants, and I also have Nishi, the team manager. Now, we've got some questions for you guys. The Esports World Cup is an event with multiple game titles all across the globe, and MSC 2024 for Mobile Legends Bang Bang being one of them. How does that make you feel about MLBB being a part of this event?
I feel very grateful that Esports World Cup actually recognized MLBB and take them in part of the discipline in the Esports World Cup. So it's fantastic. It's very good for the ecosystem for Mobile Legends community in whole globally.
So we're gonna throw the exact same question. Did you guys hear it from Weezy? Okay, we're gonna start with you, AP. What do you think about MSC this year?
It's very excited because this is the first EWC. We want to show to the whole world that the AP brand, Falcon's AP brand, will still the #1 MLBB in the whole world.
I mean, it's looking like it right now, obviously. But you guys have heard the chants. You guys have heard the support for Falcons AP brand, and you're not even in your home country. By the way, what do you guys think? How do you feel to be celebrated at this magnitude? We'll start with you, Jen.
Really appreciate all the fans that came in, even our countrymen just visited from far away and just flew in to Riyadh
Keren banget
just
sih
to
guys,
support
sumpah
our
nggak
team.
bohong.
Even the locals, we really like the attention and all the cheering, all that. I think you can hear it too. So we're very
Aneh
appreciative
banget
of all
sih
that.
gameplaynya cuy, keren banget.
Now, Nishi, I'm going to extend you the same question. How does it feel to be celebrated on this magnitude? And also, in addition,
Ini yang layak
what
masuk
message
grand
would you have to give
final.
out there to the fans supporting the Selangor Red Giants?
Kalau layak
First and
kalau layak
foremost, I
masuk grand
feel
final,
very
kayaknya
grateful
semua
that
orang yang
there are
menangin
some of
semifinal
our
mah
players
layak
family
masuk
that
grand
come to
final
here,
lagi sekarang udah
support
menang.
us, and also
Tapi
the
maksudnya
Malaysian
ini gitu yang
around
pantas kita
Saudi
terima
Arabia
gitu
that
ya, yang
come
pantas kita tonton
today
di
for
grand
us.
final lagi.
And also, not to forget our fans from
Bukan yang
Malaysian
kayak total dominasi
and
banget dari satu
our
one
SRG
sided
fans
banget
at
dari
Malaysia.
match pertama
Alright,
sampai match
thank you.
kelima, match keempat
So you
gitu.
guys, we don't want to hold you
Lima
guys
match,
too long.
empat
I know you
match,
guys are just as
BO7.
nervous as we are. So we had final statements for Falcons AP Bren, especially the audience who really came through today, and especially for those of them who are watching online. AP, do you have a message to them?
Thank you to all the Filipino fans and the fans of Falcons AP brand. And I hope that it will be a good match, and I congratulate the SRG as
Jujur ya guys ya,
our
dengan
grand finalist
kalahnya apa?
here in
Onyx ya
EWC.
di MSC sekarang tuh kayak ngebuka
Alright, that's
banget
it from
jalan
us,
buat
ladies and
tim-tim
gentlemen. I'm
Indo
going to send it back
buat
to
tahu
the
nih
studio.
sebenarnya resepnya Onyx tuh apa sih ya. Mungkin dari di belakang stage tuh mungkin nggak saya di luar panggung tuh kayak
I think there's serumpun.
ya nggak se-impact itu sih. Yang paling impact mungkin gameplaynya tuh bisa di
let it be a
improve gitu
mainstay
guys.
here at EWC. I mean, like,
Mulai dari
it's been great so far,
draftnya
hasn't it?
Long live MLBB.
Long live MLBB.
segala macam.
We're only a few
Gila,
seconds
guys.
away from
Tim-tim
entering
kayak
the
di
draft.
Rock
Right
lawan
now,
Onyx kemarin.
it's a 2-2. So at this point, it's a best of 5. The first team to win 2 games is going to win it all. So, again, it's just reset over reset. 1-1, 2-1, 2-2. What if it's like 3-2, 3-3? Look, it's going to be insane.
San.
I think that's key for
Sans tutup
FCAP
mulut,
right
guys.
now. They are
Biar nggak
in
dicontek
a,
sama kamera.
I'd say unfamiliar territory, but that's not
Cakep,
true
Sans,
given
ya.
that they did suffer a 4-0 loss in the grand finals. They did not get a chance to reset there. Now I think the reset is all the more important.
APB anak Parung Bogor.
It's clear that the picks have to be adjusted for. Here it is
Tiba-tiba
again.
udah ada lagi guys
But
draftnya
also,
guys, buset.
You have to recall that
Waduh.
the tempo has changed.
Yeah, and I also want to say,
Itu fans sebelumnya apa
and I
gimana?
hate that I only remember this now.
Tiba-tiba
The
kita
grand
datang.
finals for Falcons AP Bren, or when they were Bren in M2 and then in M5, they all went 7 games. So
Itu si
they all went.
guys mirip ini nggak sih guys?
Are we
Mirip
cutting
Violet
through
nggak sih?
multiple timelines now?
Yeah.
Are we throwing back to 3 years ago and
Yeah.
to 6 months ago?
Let me just say, 3 years ago feels like yesterday.
Across 3 different parts of the world, Singapore, the Philippines, Riyadh.
Yeah. I think I'll be happy to be,
You take
Kalau
all the
SRG
best parts
menang
of that.
yeah.
M6 di Malai guys. Gimana
a new
hype-nya gitu?
superpower in MLBB.
Gimana hype-nya nggak wah banget
revitalize
gitu?
Malaysian MLBB.
It's
Nggak
the new landscape,
wah banget gitu.
right? It's the new
Di Indonesia kan waktu
competitive
M
landscape.
berapa sih?
But yeah, we're
M3 ya?
jumping
M3
into the
apa
draft
sih guys di Indo
here.
ya?
I believe even before
M3
we
ya,
see
M3
the pick and bans,
M3 kan
whoever
kita lagi
has
nggak ada
blue
hype
side
buat
has
menangin
this
itu guys.
innate advantage. Like when you have teams
MSC dan
that
sebagainya
are
macamnya.
more or less equal in strength, whoever has the priority just has a little bit more advantage.
Is this Project Next in MLBB esports?
Project
Yeah.
next Project Forward. Maybe that's the new one. Project
Sans,
Forward.
ganteng banget Sans.
Hey, I think
Gila
this is
Sans.
the only way to go, right? Forward. For years now, we've played in a macro-centric
Buset Sans.
metagame. We've played wherein trading
versi Malay.
and cross-map plays matter. With SRG here at the grandest stage of them all, I'm glad to see that, hey, team fighting,
Gila,
skirmishes,
Sans.
and getting kill after kill after kill
Yeah.
is what pays off.
Just to update, looks like the bans have started. Falcons AP Bren has banned out Angela, Teresa, and Moskov. Looks like they are going to be on blue side first pick. SRG is going to be red side second pick. SRG banned out the Chip, the Julian, as well as the Ling. Falcons, AP Bren, and SRG probably Roger first pick.
Harith and Roger are both open.
Roger
it's gonna
first
be
pick.
the Roger first pick for FCAP, and that means.
Does SRG go Fanny?
What about the Harith, right?
Fanny Harith? Yeah, that works.
Harith Valen?
I think
Nobody-
I love the idea of the Fanny, actually.
Nobody cares about Louis anymore, man.
Yeah.
Louis is so last week.
Louis is so 3 days ago.
Yes, Louis is so 3 days ago.
Yeah.
People move on, man. Like, it's a fast-paced game. You gotta adapt to the meta.
I like the odds for. I really like the odds for the Fanny. I would be very happy to see another Sekai's Fanny.
Aziz,
Valentina Harith.
Danis
Okay,
bin Muhammad
Harith and
Rizwan.
Valentina.
Yums Muhammad
strong
Oyum
combo, obviously.
Arifin bin
Pick up the
Muhammad
Turizla at this point, right?
Namanya
Yes.
apa? Dari
Pick up the Turizla
Bin
for
Bin.
Falcons AP Bren.
Tiara.
Denying it away
Innocent
from
John
Cram.
Vincent Banal.
Oh, wait, no, sorry. Turizla is banned.
Oh, Thursday's
banned.
Okay, so. Oh, this is
Pick up a Farsa?
so difficult to kind of think there. Do you want to go Farsa against Valentina? Yes, 100%. Apart from that, you pick up Arlet. Arlet is open, right?
Yep.
It's open.
But Roger Arlet not. Okay, here we go. Okay.
Or you can go crazy and just pick up a Claude and then put the Roger in jungle.
Or a
This
Moscow.
early?
Oh, the Moscow ban.
Wait, they pick up the Fanny?
And the Phobius!
Fanny Phobius?
That's why I really thought that the
Fanny-nya
Fanny
diambil
should
sama
have been
Apple Brand.
picked
Ini
by,
guys, gue udah bilang tadi ya. Seolah-olah
by SRG. Do
si
they answer
Kyle tuh
the
kayak
Fanny
bilang,
with
gue
the
juga
Hive
bisa
stuff?
bro kalau gue
Is
dapat
that
hero yang
how
lu
it is?
pakai
If you
tadi.
don't pick it up, it's
Dan
gonna get
bantai-bantai.
Unless
Gue
you
juga
have
bisa
something
bro.
like a Hellcrit in
Tanya.
mind.
Yeah, well,
Or Saber.
again, this is
Crazy
phobias
stuff.
that they're
Gokil ya
they're
emangnya.
facing. So
Mental AP Bren tuh ya.
you need
Falcon AP Bren.
physical damage too to match up against this Fanny.
Timnya
Uh,
GPX
Wow,
Basteng
Kyle
jadi apa
was
sih
out
GPX
with his Fanny
GPX
as well.
Basteng gitu?
I think are you forced to go alpha this time on? Yeah.
What about bots?
Yeah.
Yes.
Di Falcon kan?
There you go.
Yeah, you're forced to. You're really.
Okay.
Alpha.
I'm gonna take
Oh,
the
di
casters
Falcon
here.
guys, GPX
This
GPX
is
Basteng
quite
guys,
the
semoga
loop
ya guys. Ya.
here. What do you guys think of the opener for both teams? Falcons AP Bren, they pick up the Fanny. SRG have to respond with the
Falcon
Alpha.
Vega.
I'm not gonna lie to you, LaFell. I had a sneaking suspicion. Nobody just lets
Mungkin
Harith
GPX
go
naman,
for
GPX
free, but at the
Basteng,
same
tetap
time, the
lapar lu.
Alpha on top
Lapar lu,
of it
bikin nama
all,
lapar lu.
it's a little uncomfortable for me.
Yeah, I think, last game when I
Lihat
saw the
bang,
Fanny
nutupin,
for SRG, I was
nutupin,
like,
bang.
alright, great. But the Alpha, not doing it, not doing me the same, not giving me the same feelings, definitely, especially considering the Phobius.
Oke, di sini udah ada Innocent yang dikasih.
Technically can steal
Arit
away
itu
that
bos,
ultimate,
Kak.
so there's a good
Ya,
response
itu
there at
agak
least.
gimana ya sama Aritnya?
Well, the Barats gets banned out, so
Seleksi
that's
lah ya.
kind of good. Like, I feel like
Kalau
if
di
they're
Indo ya
able to
ada
do
peraturan aneh
something
di
to
mana
Flap
kalau
easy,
kita
like,
nggak tahu di Indo atau
that
di
might be a way
MSC
for them
sebelumnya
to
nggak
win
di
this
mana
one
ya.
on the red side.
Kalau lagi drafting itu kakinya nggak boleh naik gitu.
A little bit
Pas udah mulai boleh turun.
It's usually
Boleh
few that
naik.
handles the phobias. So this
Yeah.
is going
Ini
to be a
kasihan ya,
mid lane
kayaknya kan.
phobia.
I
That
don't
is
foresee this
Well,
being in Flap's hands.
Yeah.
You still need a solid, I'd say, hunker down type of hero in Flap's hands if this is the
Aduh, saya
first 3
udah
picks for
pusing,
FCAP.
guys.
Yeah. I wonder if SRG are considering getting the Esmeralda for. But that means that they will be so focused on magic damage.
It's so reactive.
Yes.
It's again the story of the Hilda all over again.
Yeah. What I do want to see is Uranus for SRG. However, I believe that the best option here, honestly, for SRG is to pick up a Yuzhong. Lapu Lapu seems an okay pick, but I think the Yuzhong just.
Wait, what about a
frees it
Grok
up.
here? Grok or Cho?
Cho is great overall for SRG.
I'm not so sure if
Yums
single-handedly
dengan
blocks out the
keceriaannya
Ruby, because
pemirsa.
Ruby will also proc the Phobius.
Semoga
Yeah,
bisa
that's true.
Might
memenangkan
even go to the
guys.
hands of
Game yang kelima.
Ogwin.
Might just
Dan
go
yang
Tiger
keenam nanti.
at this point.
Tattoo's still open here.
SRG.
For SRG.
You also don't want to Cho, one of Yum's favorite.
Yeah. Or, what if this is the game that they pick up Hilda?
Bayangkan homeboys gimana pressure-nya guys. Grand final
The
MPL
Malaysian
Malay.
react. It's-
Lawannya SRG yang dominasi banget.
That's, for those who don't know, actually, we cannot see LaFell right now.
We're
Like,
not directly
our line
looking
of
Si
sight.
Grill.
Yep, that's the Thai grill. Makes a lot of sense.
Apakah akan ada
Good against
parade
the Fanny
Purify
early,
guys
against the
dari AP
Roger.
Bren?
Thank goodness. I mean, okay, Gideon, what would you react if they pick up the Hilda?
If they pick
I saw his reaction. He was shaking his head already. He was smiling uncomfortably. You called it Wolf. It was the Malaysian reaction is not good to that Hilda.
I was about to drive my fist through a wall if that was going to be the case.
Yeah. Okay, we're looking for explainer, maybe a fam perhaps for Mr. Flap. Yeah, or they pick up the Yuzhong actually, so they move forward.
But the Valentina is there too, so it's a bit of a risk. Like it's a good pick, but you know there are risks. Maybe even like Lapu or something.
Okay, Edith and Tams as predicted. Okay, now you're left with the Cram Hero, right?
Yep.
Ah, that's this. I think you're stuck with the Borg.
I'm okay with the Borg.
Or if you wanna be risky, go for the CC.
I think the Borg is best. You're gonna need all the extra health you can get.
All right, they pick up the Borg indeed.
Perfect.
Got him.
Thank you very much, Analyst. You guys are doing an amazing job in the drafting phase. Speaking of which, casters, you guys are doing an amazing job casting this game. So why don't you guys do that?
Thanks for allowing us to do our jobs, LaFell. The match is about to commence. The points dead even, 2-2 in a best of 5. Well, game 5 in a matter of fact, best of 7. Oh my. I don't know. I'm flabbergasted with this. I don't think anybody was expecting Malaysia to have a performance like this against the Filipino representatives of FCAP nonetheless.
It goes to show you the right side of the bracket that most people said was an easy bracket. How easy was that bracket if this is the grand finals we get to witness?
I don't know, but if SRG is able to take it all the way, it begs the question about all their competitors before them. But it's time as we head into the land of dawn to prove the theory whether blue side is going to maintain its 100% win rate here in the grand finals with Falcons AP Bren up on blue, SRG up on red.
Let's take a look at this composition, right? The Alpha. I think it's going to be very, very good, especially in the early game. It's really all going to come down to how they can shut down the Fanny. I think it's a similar vision for SRG that Falcons AP Bren had in the previous game, which was go and invade purple buff number 2. Try to just take the purple buff away from the Fanny. And that's what the Timnas does find a lot of pressure here. But honestly, when it comes towards, you know, the later stage of the game, I don't know how the Timnas will play out against, you know, the Harris, the Alphas, where they're going to be able to actually kind of burst him down. And the Vengeance won't really have the same effect as it did for Falcons AP Bren, like
game kelima
back in game number 2 for SRG.
No, I can agree with the sentiment here, but I think, you know, especially when you do have the Thamas, it kind of opts to tell you, like, I want to have some form of control and dueling power.
Gas langsung ke scrum dengan dibantu oleh Sekais di bawah tadi, mendapatkan seorang Flap Tizi. Tangan dari Sekais dan ini dia flicker yang sangat bagus. Oh, hampir digagalkan oleh Ogen. Tidak membiarkan Sekais pulang begitu saja. Tadi harusnya jangan di cancel recall-nya guys ya. Agak kurang bijak guys decision dari Sekais. Udah bagus itu ya, dapat satu Flap di bawah. Terjanggal. Pin satu flicker Ogen dan juga Cam di sana. Tarkov sudah muncul di Land of Down.
Now for Falcons AP Bren, that level 4
power spike is going to be massive as well, menuju ke Turtle untuk setup. Colek saya Turtle-nya. Ditarik ke arah bawah kiri. Storm yang juga membuka map di sana melihat siapa yang sama Turtle. Ternyata ada Ogen yang dicek di rumput tengah, tidak ada siapa-siapa. Mengambil ultimate dari Edith.
Taking the demonic force, especially the only person you can really punish is Kyle Teasy.
Right? But even then,
these cables are really good. They can cover a lot of distance
dengan Flap Tizi yang mendapatkan free farming di bawah.
Away from the demonic force in a lot of these cases, right? So I think that taking the Primal Wrath is going to be the most optimal. It's good. It's versatile. It keeps you alive in a lot of situations as well. But in the meantime, I'm curious about the status of Innocent dealing with Super Marco. Let's have a quick look at how the state of the lane is going, because I'm guessing that both of these gold laners, they are going to play a little more passively. Oh,
flicker implosion, good one by Yum, straight into the shove. Cram holding on to the last
hati. Cramnya dapat Ogen di sana dan Cram mati di tangan Kaltizi. Tarkov reset sedikit.
XP
Dengan darah yang masih 6.900 di sana. 2-2 skor sementara.
And just like that, SRG, they're playing their cards really well. Now with the cooldown on the mnemonic force, no.
Jadi ngapain ya buka store ngapain ya guys ya?
We do see the hand cams from these players. They're trying to increase their APM here, right? They're going in and out of their shop just to make sure that their fingers are warm for when the situation calls for it. But let's see, this turtle is going to be important for both.
Oh, biar tangannya panas katanya guys, buka startle biar nggak bengong tangannya. Oh, Falcon bukan sekali di sana. Falcon juga mendapatkan Lord. Apakah Falcon mampu menunjukkan bahwasanya ia juga pantas untuk mendapatkan spotlight di game yang kelima ini guys, di Grand Final MSC 2024.
On your side, you're able to kind of buy just a little bit of time, but most importantly, your damage is so applicable. If you win any single one of your trades in these side lanes, then you start calling the attack dog Kyle TZ to start finishing up these kills for you, similar to how SRG did it, except with Yums.
Slowly but surely for Falcons AP Bren, that's always been the way
Hampir
they take their
kehilangan
games. At least
turret di arah
the
bawah
winning
tadi.
games, right? It's all about building the gold lead very steadily, utilizing the macro advantage, and then
Ini
suddenly going for a big team fight with that power spike
lumayan
hitting.
kacau ya guys emang ya.
Regardless, at this point, I think that even between Kyle TZ and as well as
Kedua
Sakai,
jungler dari kedua tim.
the gold in favor of Kyle TZ, a slight EXP lead for Sakai, and that's going to change very quickly.
Gantian link, gantian ini guys, gantian menggendong
By
guys.
the way, didn't really
Sumpah
notice
guys,
this at the start of the game, but it feels
Oh,
on Brave
ini
Smite,
guys match guys.
on the Phobius. So I would say it's an interesting emblem to take, right? Because usually would maybe want to go for Impure Rage, try to get more mana, stuff like that, all about sustain.
Jadi mengambil kesempatan dan mendapatkan kill yang keempat. Sana dengan turret bawah menjadi bonus untuk klub TZ dan juga tim AP Bren.
3 times like that. You know, how many times has he been cancelled on recall? How many times has he had to sacrifice himself and trade down against Falcons AP Bren? And to answer your question, why Few decided to go for Brave Smite is because he bought first item Gleaming Gem, right? Every single time he gets a level, he's going to be able to get some mana.
Harusnya ini XP-zasi kalau kata gua ya guys ya. Ogan hampir mati sana, masih ada ultimate yang memberikan damage luar biasa. Juga shield.
Is this a dive angle? They know that.
Oh, Yums nih guys, Yums guys. Masih belum bisa guys.
I think, all right, at this point of time, right,
ya guys ya.
if we are really thinking hard about this, I think that Falcons
Menggunakan
AP Bren are in a
untuk
much better
kabur
position than
tadi di arah
SRG. They know that a majority of the ults are down. So whoever's low, quickly reset, come back. We need to do this fight. We need to potentially have a fight, but at the very least, blitz down this turtle.
Langsung ke
You can see
arah
Flap's damage there, zoning Yums away. And you can see for Selangor Red Giants, they know that there is no way they can contest for this turtle, not with their HP bars. They decide to back away. Just deja vu to game 1, game 2, where they had to come back in the game. Innocent going to be engaged on, forcing the Zaman Force out. But Innocent is able to space out in a way where if you can't really go for the chase, it'll be too greedy to do so.
Tapi ini gak one-sided banget kayak match sebelumnya guys ya.
They're going to take their time with the skin.
SRG masih melawan ini guys.
They've been like slowing things down a lot. Ooh, Thunderbelt first item coming in from Flap TZ just to make sure that it's like, oh no, I'm not trying to War Axe. I'm trying to get real tanky so that at least even in the late game, I have some form of relevance there. Now he's opting to build a War Axe, but he's going to take some time with this, right? At the end of the day, the most important ones are the
yang
insurance
pertama kali
policies.
pakai
That's going to be in their gold layers.
Super
Marco
itu
and as
SRG
well
kan?
as Innocent, both contesting pretty heavily. It's going to be Super Marco who has the lead for now.
Kaltizi pamer di sana tadi. Kaltizi nggak bisa membunuh Tram yang masih punya armor. The blue apa tuh? The blue side sport 100% win rate the series so far in MSC.
Blue side being the heavily favored side. Wait, no, they're fine. Okay, blue side being the heavily favored side, but honestly, in this grand finals, 100%, but overall 60.44% win rate overall in 91 games, and that's a lot of data that we're working with. It just goes to show, man, if Falcons AP Bren win, it's to be expected.
It's the pattern of even the MPO regions. Blue side has just been such a dominant force, and I guess with the patch, even more so. Flap TZ and Ogwin, though, again, really trying to control the enemy jungle.
Blue
Flap
side tuh
TZ
first pick ya berarti ya.
trying to maybe even invade some of the creeps here. Tram? Going for the poke. Owen able to onward defensively. Falcons AP Bren know better than to go for the fight. They know that they
Ini
have an
SRG
advantage
itu
now with the
solidnya
planning to
hampir
clear
sama
out the
kayak
sideways
Blacklist guys,
to
tapi
actually
bedanya kalau
shove
Blacklist
it
kan
and
pasif
force
tuh.
SRG to lose some XP and
Dia
gold.
play
Totally agree with you
dapat
here.
main
I
tim
mean,
itu
look at how
kayak
shoved up the waves on that bottom side, right? And at this point, Falcons AP Bren can keep on doing
support,
this. Keep
healing
stretching
gitu kan,
Selangor Red
healer.
Giants, start taking away
Oh,
their
ini
tier
versi
1s. But most
barbarnya guys.
importantly, with the attention being pulled
Membuat lebih
elsewhere,
enak
this purple
ditonton
buff
sih.
for Kyle TZ is always free. It's not being taken away from him just yet.
Digas langsung ke arah Trump.
Frog armor completely demolished there. The shove back flap
Flap
TZ still
TZ.
with a vengeance. And now
Membuat pemain yang sangat baik di sana, memberi kecepatan untuk LTD mengambil Stormy. Stormy mati dengan sia-sia di sana. Dan Kram yang mendapatkan Chaos sebagai gantinya. Mid laner tukar mid lane pemirsa.
Good peel, but at the same time, they are still trading 1-for-1. We haven't
Great
seen a
play
positive
ya
trade
by
from Selangor Red Giants
masing-masing
in the
tim.
past 8 minutes or so. And until we
Gak
do
ngalah
see that
gitu aja
trade
tuh.
happen, I think that, you know,
Ini
they're going to
fighting
take their
spiritnya
time once
mantap ya.
again. The scaling on Innocent especially, they need him to have that Holy Crystal, have some
Dua-dua
relevant
loh
damage in this game. Because so far,
Gol
Kyle TZ,
sementara.
he's having the time of his life, right? He's playing a completely separate game while SRG are
Poinnya sebenarnya
scrambling
dua-dua
to
tuh.
figure out how we close down on this 4K deficit.
It's going to be very, very hard for SRG, but really it's all about... I feel like in this game it's a bit different too, right?
Penuh
Because
ya
in game
arena
1,
ini.
game 2, the games that they were able to come back despite losing out in the early game, they had a composition that does well in the mid game. Meanwhile here with the Harith, you're not forced to get the early lead, but it'll be better. It'll be optimal for you to have that early lead, to build your own snowball. And if we do get to the later stage, Falcons AP Bren, they have a marksman. They still have a lot of these skirmish-heavy heroes that are pretty good in the late game too, man. I mean, even Flap TZ, his build on the Thamus, he can take as much damage as he can deal.
Yeah, and he doesn't mind poking, right? Because that just helps him stack up that hybrid defense regardless. And you can definitely see the difference between the two because, unfortunately, Thamus is taking a lot less damage than Cram despite the 2-level lead, right? And more importantly, it feels like Stormy is having the hardest of times. Because what ultimate do you take at this point in time? Even if you take the Demonic Force, there's not many people who proc it.
Oh, Kyle trying to go for the assassination onto Stormy. Stormy's still able to displace himself very well there. And SRG, now with the conceal, Yums looking for a play. Knows Flap TZ doesn't have a Purify, but doesn't want to go for it just yet. View Demonic Force into the midst of it all. It's a 2v5 right now. And now it's going to be Kyle TZ looking for the backline. Primal rather Yums.
Kasih datang dengan format depan Yum sana. Kram dapat KLTZ cuy. Storm dapat kill di sana. Kram dapat Super Marco mengira dia bisa mendapatkan salah satu di antara mereka dari sisanya yang ada di kubu SRG. What a play by SRG. Itu siapa sih lagi sama kacamata ya?
Falcons AP Bren. Great implosion
Tapi
coming
gitu
in
kan?
from the side of Yums. Innocent, he
Yang minum
did
tadi,
it. I would have
buset
liked
santai
him to
banget
use
ya.
that Purify just
Mati nih gua.
slightly earlier, but let's look
Minum
at the
dulu apa ya
replay here.
katanya?
Because when it does happen, right, Few initiates. His objective is
Kasih
to chunk out
ngegas.
as many people
Ulti
as
dari
possible.
Yums ya guys ya.
He probably could have held his ground
Spotlight
just a
tadi
wee
ulti
bit
dari
longer,
Yums
but
guys.
wasn't expecting Yums to get so
Sangat
much there.
GG
Because Super
guys.
Marco, at the end of the day, is
Matian
waiting to
pertama
finish
Yums
off all the low
langsung
members. And that's
ngasih
the main
momen
win con
buat
here for
SRG
FCAP.
ngeratain 4 main
Slowly
AP
but surely
Bren
now
cuy.
it's SRG's
0-1-5
turn to
skor
take it slow.
sementara
They got
hampir
the
sama kayak
horn.
adanya
No
KLTZ
real
nih.
reason to go for the fights now. They can start going for the turrets. And we were talking about how
Wah,
for
Yums sih.
SRG it would be great if they can somehow
Yums sih
build
nggak
their
bisa
own
di-
snowball.
Nggak bisa
And it
di apa ya,
happened right
sampingkan
as
si
their
Yums
window
sih emang
opened.
dari
That was their
ini
power
dari
spike.
tiap-tiap
Innocent
game
getting into the
SRG.
mid game, 10-minute mark, and now with the Lord in the mid lane, they're starting to get some structures down as well. Yums to the flank, the conceal, spotted by Ogwen. Primal Rat stolen away. Falcons AP Bren's gotta respect this. Marco dealing some damage onto the Frog armor. Now the Holy Defense going to be procced in the mid lane. No, they keep it alive. So far for SRG, they've
Lubang
only managed
berada
to
dalam
take
dari
mid
Yums.
and top, and they're actually going to lose a tier 2 down below.
Kyle TZ this entire time just headed down to the bottom side. He knew that he's basically going to be useless if he has to take a traditional front to back against SRG. So he opts to take on the opposite side of the map. At least his team doesn't have to worry about that side. Super Marco with the GDS already just knows he's going to get attacked.
Makanya Yums
He's gonna
kalau bikin momen di follow up guys.
transform and just walk away and maybe look for a re-engage down the line. But most importantly here, I
Kalau
think
gue
that
bikin momen,
SRG, especially
ngapain
for
ngegas
some
orang
guys,
lagi kalah.
for him to start
Biasanya kayak
the
gitu
fight is
biasanya.
a bold claim.
Kalau gue
I
party
think that
sama
Falcons AP Bren,
sama siapa lah, nggak tahu.
they want SRG to find these big engages more often than not so they can initiate, right? It's really that implosion that they're worried about. They don't want to repeat the same mistake twice.
Great cross map plays.
Stormy
here by Falcons
beli
AP
apa tuh,
Bren, able to
Magical
find
Leaf?
another
Lupa gue.
tier 2 turret. And these are small wins.
Open
They
map
won't
lah,
win you the
las.
game instantly,
Nah,
but
tuh.
slowly but surely, just with the tempo shifting.
Ntar kalau gua
Falcons
mati,
AP Bren having
nice.
so much more
Nah,
pride on the
digituin,
map
nice.
later on, especially
So
considering,
GG.
they can shove a bit deeper. They can start invading. They can start looking for these angles that the composition will definitely
bagus, gimana
find a lot
bagus.
of value with, right? If they are able to attack from different angles, force SRG
Piu
into
gak
an
nama
alpha to
piu,
back, it'll
kena
be great for
kram
them.
digas
Spirit
oleh
Alpha
Owen,
straight with the
dipanis
fire.
balik
Juju
oleh
force the flicker with the
Sekai
Prime
dan
right
tim.
now. Last
Dan
Insanity
juga
straight to the
Ogen langsung
skies.
disikat
And now
sama
it's gonna be
Sekai.
Prime still kiting away. If you were the demonic force, now with the vengeance
Dari
as well.
kecepatan
But he gets
bercium
bursted
tembakan
down.
seperti ini dengan
Now
Pion
Kyle
open stormy
looking
di
for some more
sana.
damage. View jumping around but gets caught by the spear.
Sekai saja menggunakan Piu seperti Marco open Yam. Marco double kill, triple kill ya. Perfect moment ya guys ya. Gila Garmonnya dibalikin lagi oleh Marco. Ini apa nih? Apalah. Wah keluar cok, ngapain? What?
The GDS difference there.
Diem aja nggak sih di situ guys?
Uses the last insanity, kites away from it, and even innocent. Honestly, the placement of the Zaman Force actually mattered. The 10% slow could have been
yang ada
what they
flicker.
needed
Kecuali tadi ada
to win
flicker
out
guys,
that fight entirely. Let's start
boleh
with
gas
the
lagi dapet
position
Fanny,
of
tapi nggak ada flicker udah tahu range-nya nggak jauh itu guys. Ledakan dari Xbox. Ini adrenalin kita kan bisa ngeliat semuanya tapi dia nggak bisa. Kita dari profit nonton hanya bisa berkomentar. Keras mendapatkan sana. Innocent mendapatkan Ogen. Yang saat fishing kejauhan ke belakang masuk kali ini Sekai mendapatkan Lord di sana. Dengan view.
Amongst the red giants, but even then SRG, they say no, we will not fight, we got the Lord.
This is becoming brutal combat. Honestly, they're putting everything on the line to make these plays work out. Let's look at the replay one more time.
Kalau misalnya tadi ada blunder kayak gitu, pasti yang masih hidup misalnya Jojo nih. Ngapain sih aneh? Nah, itu di in-game tuh bikin down team ya. Kalau kata Ora aja ya. Tapi kalau Yums pasti ketawa-ketawa doang. Anjir orang ngapain sih iya. Bahasa Malaysia tapi nggak pakai bahasa Sunda. Terus AP Bren lawan Alpha-nya Mobile Legends nggak bisa apa sekarang. Beda Alpha beda makro.
Look at the burst damage onto Flat, forced to use the ultimate as the Lord charges in. Innocent still holding on to Zaman Force, knows that there are going to be more waves. Few brought back to the team, now forced to use the demonic force. Absolutely gunned down from the skies with the demonic force. It didn't even matter.
Dengan sangat yakin tadi. Dua Innocentnya guys. Kok bisa ya main hari kayak gitu? Wah ini kayaknya Kalti udah ngedamage aja gak sih? Kali ini Kalti gagal membuktikan bahwa dia juga bisa bermain Fanny dengan sangat dominasi penuh. Match point dipegang SRG, come on 4-2 aja SRG, nggak perlu 4-3, nggak apa-apa kecuali guys, kecuali udah 4-2 terus si AP Bren-nya bilang sekali lagi dong 4-3 itu nggak apa-apa. Tapi kalau sekarang ngasih menang ke SRG ke AP Bren sih kacau si SRG sih. Lu berpikir dia adalah Fanny Sekai. Oh iya, dia tadi kayaknya kepedean. Gue juga bisa link dan menang. Sekarang Fanny dibuktikan guys, counter Fanny menggunakan Akai adalah cara lama. Dengar ya, counter Fanny dengan Akai adalah cara lama. Oke, jadi yang berpikir kalian bisa meng-counter Fanny lagi dengan Akai cuy. Jawabannya apa sih bang? Jawabannya
Falcons AP Bren,
hero-hero yang susah mati. Kayak siapa sih bang? Kayak Kram tadi yang pakai Xbox walaupun di awal mati-mati terus, tapi sampai late game tadi ya ngasih momen yang sangat bagus hingga masih bisa megangin timnya guys. Dia ngedorong si KLTZ dulu dengan skill 2, KLTZ nggak bisa apa-apa karena masih kedorong. Langsung ulti guys, di follow up sama ulti Tigreal yang bikin lagi-lagi pemain AP Bren nggak bisa ngapa-ngapain. Perfect gameplay guys. Tanpa diperhitungkan entah memang momennya perfect banget ya buat Yums tadi ya.
But then it will be disaster after disaster. This should not have happened.
Kami udah mundur aja sih kata gue sih. Karena dia udah nggak bisa ngapa-ngapain guys, mau ngebunuh udah nggak bisa, saya rasa sekarat banget. Innocent nggak mungkin dia yang TB-TB.
that is how SRG is able to come back.
It's the brutal
Duo
honesty
duo
that
Philippine
SRG are playing with that
dari arah
makes this
Sam
game
dan
inevitable
juga
for them.
Innocent
I've been watching
menghancurkan
all these
tim yang pure
engagements
Philippines.
going through different
AP
angles,
Bren,
whether it be
bakal
out in the
review
open,
guys.
near SRG turrets, in these small
Akankah?
corridors.
Tapi kalau kata gue ini enggak
I
sih
don't know,
guys.
few at this point,
Kalau
50
Irak kan
minutes in,
kemarin
should
dijual
be
ya, karena emang nggak
able to
menang kan.
disperse them, but
Karena dia nggak
something
menang
about the way
kan guys,
SRG just
makanya
position
dijual.
themselves and punish you as
Walaupun
he lands
bersinar
every
tapi
time
dijual, kenapa
makes
karena
it
nggak menang?
almost a
Ini kan
useless
Sekas
ult.
menang
Honestly,
Liga,
like
menang
every single
MPL,
time SRG wins
bawa
a team fight, my head is like,
bawa ke Grand Prix nggak mungkin
exactly,
dilepas sih guys,
where's the extra damage coming from? I mean, like, sure
buat
we
easy
see
money
the
gitu
setup,
SRG.
maybe
Karena
Falcon
SRG tuh
walks into it,
tau
but
gue
still,
aja
it's
ya,
like,
gue nggak tahu nih, correct me if I'm wrong ya.
how? Like,
Gue searching kemarin,
you know what, in
SRG
terms
tuh
of
udah
stats,
setingkat
you know what
sama
I really want to see?
bukan
The
setingkat
damage
apa
dealt.
ya,
I really want to see who dealt the
hampir
damage
mirip
coming
kayak
from
Dewa
SRG.
guys. Dewa tuh nggak butuh uang cuy Dewa.
Conversely,
Dia emang pengen bikin
FCAP,
timnya berkembang aja cuy. Coba lihat
only
fasilitas
Oracle
Dewa
as a
guys.
defensive item who refused to
Dewa
spike the
United
person down so easily,
apa
but
bilang
for
katanya ada
only one, he wanted to deal the
keperluan
damage.
makanya
Despite the fact that
Irak
there's
kurang,
already a
saya
lot
mungkin
of damage
bau
from
karena
FCAP.
baik.
And the clock only really stacks up the longer the fight goes, but I think the call for SRG
Nah, si
was
Irat ini, si Irat
just rain down
farewell.
holy
Irat farewell,
fire
cuy.
on Phovius, on Few, and that's why he only ever lasted like 3 seconds tops.
Ooh, interesting choice, and even the choice for the Thams coming out from Flap TZ. I
Ih,
did say
lantainya
that
layar
the
loh,
Thams
guys.
will pick
Lihat,
up
baru
some of
lihat
my
gua.
predictions during the last picks, and I thought that it will be
Padahal
because it was a
aja
tank
baru
hero
lihat tadi gua di
in
ini.
the absence of like a
Spy juga
Barrett,
jadi udah nggak main di ML guys, Spy. Jadi talent
tank
Hawk
heroes like
anjing.
Edith maybe in the EXP lane.
Talentnya Alter
You need
Ego di
someone to
Hawk.
tank for you, but
Sampai
instead
entertainnya
the
bagus sih, guys.
choice was to go for this war cry on the
Tapi udah
Thams,
nggak
which
compare lagi
you know
ya,
evidently
bikin
it worked in the early
pollnya,
stage.
pollnya.
Not gonna lie, we were
Kenapa pindah ke Hawk
we were
ya?
about to nerd out about that.
Bang malam ini
But
nonton
they-
final
they
juga enggak jam 2
proved to
nonton
be the
nonton.
bane of FCOP.
Jadi gua hari pertama
One
sekolah
thing
guys.
to like
Ya
nerd
udah.
out is that you were talking about there was one team fight that really wanted for SRG. Honestly, the extra damage came from Edith.
Yeah.
It is the Valentinas.
Yeah,
So I
exactly.
feel like that's also a big game changer where everyone is clumped up together. And then Stormy was able to deal a lot of damage, and Innocent got to his power spike, and then the Harif was banned for a reason.
Yeah.
It was that fight that made me think, hey, that's a lot of turret hit they were taking. It wasn't turret hits. It was
wasn't.
Stormy.
It was Stormy, yeah.
Stormy, yeah. And this time,
Stormy the
with
prodigy, man.
Yep, it's Harith plus the Valentina, which was the answer. I do like the idea though, the Phovius plus the Van. In fact, I'm looking at FCAP.
Udah pada like konten gue yang terakhir belum? Kalau belum di komen-komen juga, di like juga yang di TikTok kayak GCR Alaska not yours.
They kind of felt very confident.
Yeah, too
Oh,
confident
iya, maksa
that they
banget.
made decisions along the way that slowed them down,
Yeah.
or that allowed for SRG to punish. Again, the items on Few, the loadout on the Thams, and
Yeah.
I guess they didn't step on the clutch fast enough to say,
Yeah.
hey, wait, this is SRG's point of no return. Like,
Yeah.
if we can't win here and we can't end, that's it. I think there were parts of FCAP that were towards one direction, and then another that tried to, save the game.
Yeah.
And now we got to look at our Sony MVP, the creme de la creme. It's
Langsung di komen sama Jojo
And
Iko
again,
guys.
He's showing up with his
Kelas
export,
Cegu tutornya.
giving
Ya
a lot of
sama-sama
space,
makasih ya Jojo Iko
giving
ya.
a lot of damage,
Gigi
but
nih
more
tutor.
important is like he
Ram
always
dengan
makes any
MVP
kind of
di
situation
match yang
feels
kelima ini.
like a kill opportunity for SRG.
Grab the export actually is genius. We did predict that it will be the last pick, right? It made a lot of sense. Was a little bit of problem in specific points in the game, but obviously when he is needed, he turns up and made it difficult for the team fights for FCAP to happen. This was the team fight, one of the most important team fights.
The most important team fight.
Oh. CalTC will be able to get out. Oh, this is 8 minutes.
Oh,
10,
it's very similar.
very similar.
Angle, yeah.
Exactly. Will be happen in 10 minutes, and then there will be another one, first Lord Dance, which second Lord Dance, I mean, but eventually it will be in favor of FCAP. I think you will also have to give credit
That one.
Yeah, exactly. You have to give credit to Sekais as well, managing to the second Lord Dance like survive long enough and actually able to get one kill off before. Well, he did not die afterwards, but yeah,
Kasih
you
Jojo.
get my point, right? Sekais was also very important and very
English or
instrumental to
Spanish,
that
guys?
victory. So is Scrap
Spanish or English,
with
guys?
92% kill participation.
Yeah, between
Spain or
Cram
England,
and
guys.
Sekais,
Kalau gua sih
the
Inggris ya,
X-Borg
karena di
and
sana
the
ada.
Alpha.
Sumpah ini gue dilema cuy. Di Inggris, di Inggris ada Palmer, ada Gallagher. Di Spanyol ada Cucurella, guys.
The fight's over.
Yeah.
Stormy just being there during that
Agak
turnaround
dilema gue
was
pengen
just
siapa
the
itu
icing
Euro
on the cake,
sekarang
the
guys.
cherry on top. But that was all made possible by number one, the setup by you,
Wih, keren
and
banget
then
ini.
again the beta,
Keren
the
banget
swings, the
itu.
spear of alpha,
Xbox-nya baru
and
lihat
the
gua.
fire missiles, and
Ada
the last
sesi kayak
sanity
gininya guys,
of
kalau di
Climax,
Inggris di
guys.
caster
That being
Inggris.
said, right now it's match point. It's a scary situation to be in, even if you're the one that is on match point, because you know at this point, if you make a mistake, then you know it's gonna be a best of one, and that's a scary place to be in.
4,5 menit menuju sejarah baru
for sure,
atau 4,5 menit
only
menuju
with the
jantungan baru guys.
they have gotten their momentum quite
Who's
well
that?
enough, today, despite their losses, their 2 losses. It felt like they have gotten the momentum, but most importantly, momentum when it comes to drafting. Now they have figured out Falcon AP
Hari ini gue nggak live ML ya guys ya.
where too hung up on whatever SRG is doing that they pick up the Fanny and the focusing area. While it's good, it's actually really good. But then the fact that they reacted that way meant that SRG are getting in their heads.
The reset did not happen the way we wanted it to. Again, the fact that they're still bringing out new picks and that these are new strats that they're trying shows that they got life in them. But was it the kind of move, the needed move here to get them to match point first? Apparently no. SRG is still ahead.
A conversation that we have to have here is talking about both junglers, because again, both junglers have proven to be one of the reasons why they've been doing so well. We got to talk about Sakai's as well as Kyle TZ. We got to talk about both junglers here, where we're looking at the stats. In terms of the numbers, honestly, it does look like more towards Kyle TZ.
Yeah. 7 to 4.73. I guess this is because
actually it's quite even. Quite even.
Yeah, well, you gotta have to go back where Kyle TZ and FCAP themselves have dominated so much. For SRG, there were games that did not go in their favor. In fact, they had a 5-game series going up against Fireflux, so KDA will not be there. But overall, really good. I think that in this particular grand final so far, and I'm not only saying this because it's a 3-2 that favors SRG. So far, it's Sakai's getting the better off of Kyle TZ, mainly because because you remember when Kyle TZ went for the utility, he lost. But this time, game number 5, utility for Sakai, he still wins.
You know what? The comparison between these two players go as far back as their starts in MLBB Esports. Kyle TZ, Alpha Pro Esports, his amateur team in the early years. Sakai's ELX Esports in his early years. So, and they were both homegrown by these giant, all puns intended, orgs, right? They started their pro careers under SRG, under Falcon's AP Bren. So now, this is all the payoff. This is their prime form now.
I gotta say, Sakai's is one of those guys where I would say fans of him is like, he's good, he's okay, but he's nothing like special, you know? But now he's really grown in his career after like, what, 1 or 2 years in the scene. Now he's really developing into this Sky Prince that has to be respected, because before this it's just like
Gila ini gue udah panik tuh. Aduh, LTZ apakah mode link tadi guys? Kan lumayan ngeri juga guys, makan-makanin si Kram terus di early. Tapi memang Sakai segeser ternyata ya guys ya. Wah, jujur ya kalau Malaysia itu gigihnya tuh emang nggak bisa dilawan deh. Gini deh, kalau Indonesia itu pure pionir lah, bisa bilang pionir lah ya guys ya, pernah menang M1 ya. Kalau Filipina pure talent guys, kalau Malaysia tuh gigih banget cuy, sumpah. Gue lihat ya perbedaannya ya. Tim Indo mana ada gigih guys, pasti kalau menang tuh karena ganti roster atau karena apa?
I think that also if you're looking at SRG and specifically how they are
atau karena emang udah
building
udah lama banget.
It kind of makes me think that they are playing so many games with different kinds of heroes, and it's actually backed up by the fact that Coach Arcadia and the entirety of SRG reveals that they are playing so much actually even after the scrims, right? So they are playing a lot of ranked games together as a team. I think that they have extended scrims as well, so they're really just focusing on so much reps on their side, because if you're gonna be comparing both the Fanny usages of Kaltis as well as Sakai's is more favored, and it kind of felt like Kaltis is more on the rusty side of things. If you look back at Sakai's play, I think he only missed 2 cables.
Sorry to cut you off there, but again, this is an intense match. Sky's only 17, that's crazy. But with that being said, we're sending it over to the stage.
tension is hanging in the air. Heart-stopping climax. This is the clash of true titans. They're not just here to compete. They're here to dominate. They're here to become legendary.
The score is currently 3-2. And now, Selangor Red Giants are one
Gue
win
suka banget ya sih,
away
sumpah ya.
from being crowned
Gak yang
the
terlalu
MSC
wasting
24
time
World Champions.
banget.
Can Falcons
Dengan
AP
apa
Bren
dengan wawancara
take us
yang
all the way
cringe
to
ya.
7
Kayak di
games?
MPL, kayak di atau
Now we
MSC
want to
sebelumnya.
hear from the audience. Let's hear it from the fans of Falcons AP Bren.
Tapi karena kasus yang marah, yang apa MPLPH banding-bandingnya sama itu, gue jadi gak suka banget sama marah guys. Sama ini guys, yang bisa dari PH-nya.
But now I want to ask, what about the Selangor Red Giants? Are you not entertained?
The Amazon Arena is
AP Bren, AP Bren.
It is time to go over to our panelists. Boys and girls, it's your time to shine. Game 6 awaits.
Dude, look at the crowd. Look at
Look
crowd.
at the crowd.
Which is which.
No, honestly, like I feel like the
Gue
panel
pikir kalau Indo nggak masuk grand
represents
final
the,
bakal sepi guys.
We're everyone.
Padahal.
the crowd.
We're all.
Right now it's like 2-1, right? The
We're
ratio
very
is
together.
we're very together. Now, here's the thing. In Malaysia is going wild as well. Like right now in Malaysia, the watch party, I saw like 6, 7, maybe even 9 different watch parties in Malaysia. Like it's insane.
This is one of them.
I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, put it into context. This has never happened before. Like, being in the grand finals is a dream. Having match point. Wow.
Whoa.
Wait, why is there so many?
Whoa.
There's about 2,000 people there.
Whoa.
Wait, I didn't. Okay, this
Buset,
caught
hype-nya
me
ini
by
banget, ya, gede
surprise.
banget hype-nya guys ya.
Why
This is
Another few thousand in there.
Yo, I feel proud. Shout outs to Malaysia.
Yo,
Truly Asia.
F-Cup crowd looks small in comparison.
Exactly.
At least in the Amazon Arena.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in the Philippines it's still huge, but still.
Yeah.
Dude, this grand finals is living up to the hype.
Hey, if this was a BO5, it would have been over.
Yes. To put it into perspective, you're correct. Yeah,
correct.
Just saying, that's how high the stakes are. And just one game, one more win for SRG, and we usher in a new era of MLBB esports.
If SRG wins this one, DJY is correct?
I take it back. We already are in a new age, given how far this series has gone.
That's right.
And now we're jumping straight into the pick and bans. SRG is going to be on red once again. Falcons AP Bren is on the blue. They're banning out the Terizla. This time, respecting Stormy on the Valentina, going to get banned out. Chip has been banned out by SRG.
Okay, so that means what? Roger Harris being opened once again.
I kind of want to see the Roger go, not going to lie.
Nope.
The Julian.
Gotta hit the Julian.
So you ban Ling if you're F-Cap, right?
This feels like a very familiar.
You ban Fanny.
Oh, Ben Fanny, and then they pick up the link, right?
Yeah.
This just feels like M2.
Feels like M2?
Feels like M2 just replaced
Yeah.
SRG with the Burmese goals.
That's so true. That's actually so true.
That's how high the stakes are.
Ah, ya Allah, gue deg-degan banget guys.
It should
Sekali
be
guys.
My first international, man.
Yeah.
Brings back memories.
Yums masih chill
Now,
banget Yums.
Ling or Roger, or let both of them go and ban on something like a Moskov or something.
Yeah. Or yeah, you ban
Mereka yang main gue
Moscow.
deg-degan guys.
I don't
So
know.
that it will be just Ling if it is picked up by F-Cap, and then you answer with
The Roger jungle?
yeah, Harith, you know. Valentina is not open this time, so maybe
I don't envy the coaches, by the way. Like, drafting like this must be very stressful. The Ling has been banned out, so
it's just Roger Harith at this point for F-Cap.
Yep.
If you're F-Cap, I mean, historically they want the Roger.
Yep.
But I think it's still a 50-50 between these two. Yep.
Roger.
Makes you go Roger. So you go Harith and maybe get the Hayabusa
Arlott
as soon as possible.
I think the Arla is a risk. As good of a hero as he is one of those, you're either great or you're chocolate, you know?
Arlott's a F-Cap choice. Yeah, I don't chalk it up to SRG to do that.
And then there's also the Angela, which I think will most likely be on FCAP. Unless SRG takes it, but yeah, I think it's more of an FCAP hero. SRG will want to go for the Harith, yep, together with Musa. Yeah,
Harith Musa.
You with
this early, huh?
Yeah, Harabusa. And then in this case, you want to pick up the Minotaur as soon as possible for FCAP because that was always banned by SRG. Answers this Hayabusa for sure. At the same time, you want to secure your EXP lane. Honestly, the fact that Yu Zhong has always been let go by both teams kind of surprises me at this point, especially because there's always like Hayabusa on the other side.
All right, now we have a player quote coming in from
Udah mulai, Cok.
I don't think SRG is any easier. We just want to focus on winning, not our opponent. And Wolf, like you said, Minotaur picked up as well as the Arlet. Both of you guys.
Game number 5.
Thanks.
Number 6. Yang ku harap sebagai last game ya guys ya. Dengan apabila mendapatkan Roger dan tahu juga Arlot di sini dengan Surprise yang akan menggunakan Hayabuchin. Dengan ada Harith juga di sana guys. Apakah pick Harith di sini masih oke guys? Secara tadi udah lihat gitu ya, maksudnya. Tapi maksudnya berarti secara kontra gimana?
It's FCAP who's thinking even if it's SRG's turn to pick.
Sans.
What you guys are talking about?
Tapi ini bisa mid juga Harithnya guys, karena dia belum muncul mid. Oh tapi enggak langsung dibantah aja begitu saja oleh coach Arcadia guys ya.
What do you guys think of the opener coming in from SRG, having the Hayabusa, Harith as well as the Lilia?
I don't know about you boys here, but even between me and Mirko, we were thinking like whether or not that Lilia pick should have been Yutong.
Yeah, for sure. I thought for sure it was going to be Yutong, right? Because for Falcon AP Bren, they rarely do this, but they actually reveal Minotaur and the Arla instantly. No flex onto the Arla anymore. So I thought for sure SRG wanted to give Cram that winning matchup to just snowball in the game.
Hey, you know, maybe they're just like, you know what, Stormy, it's your time to shine, and maybe there's a secret EXP pick, or just go back to something like a CC, who knows.
The good thing about getting the Lilia is that it definitely challenges Fuse hero pool. So they ban Phovius and then they're gonna ban Farsa next.
I didn't think it was possible to choke out you, man.
Well, that's also true.
It's amazing. They take out the Cho. What the? Am I gonna eat my words? Just take out the Cho in their own because the Tigreal's still out there. Never mind.
We did say that it could be the Cho as the third pick for SRG, but that it was banned out. There's also the Yu Zhong that we keep on talking about because it's a very strong pick. But then again, they can fourth pick it if ever.
Yeah, I also think they'd rather let the Ruby through.
Yes.
Than the Tigreal. So they'll ban out the Tigreal.
Yes.
Tigreal was so good last game, so I think that would be best for FCAP.
What about the Aurora ban here?
For
Moskov and
Moskov.
All right.
So probably gonna pick up the Claude later.
It depends if they wanna. It depends on the fourth pick. If this is Tigreal, then I think that FCAP will just go for a utility pickup, maybe like a Baksha, for example. Yeah, that's the Borg that I also thought will be picked up. SRG skipped on that, but yeah, I think the Lilia still is a stronger pick. That means that Yu Zhong is still available. Great hero for Cram. Apart from that, what else are you looking for? Maybe a Barrett's actually for Mr. Cram, which also negates like a potential for for a utility pickup. Also Edith. So I've
a few times.
It denies the Claude. You cannot pick Claude here. It's Lilia and Grok. You don't want to pick up the Claude for FCAP. You might be forced for what?
Udah ngerasain sini pakai Grok enak banget sih di patch yang sekarang.
CC heavy picks early on.
Yeah.
Punya lama, instant stun pula ya, bisa area juga.
For FCAP and then get a wave clear hero, right? Like Vexana.
Stunnya itu ada include knock up juga guys kalau kena.
Now that you see Falcons AP Bren full lineup, what do you guys feel about the draft?
There you go. I mean, I just want to say that Yu Zhong will 100% come through for SRG now, right? Because we were expecting it to come out a lot sooner. I don't know if they don't go Yu Zhong, because like Yu Zhong just fits perfectly here, and they already have the Grok, they got Lilia, they got full mid prime, so even the Faramis will get punished.
How about Lapu?
I don't know. I'm even thinking about FCAP at this point. The way that they're going to be playing their comp is heavily around just like team fighting strong, right? So like good luck to both of these teams at the end of the day.
I like the Lapu shout out.
Yeah, I don't like the fire miss.
I'm feeling that maybe FCAP are taking the focus on winning and away from their opponent to their detriment. Because there's so much that SRG is presenting that FCAP here just picked up the Faramis and the Nolan.
Got it.
We were all right. They pick up the Faramis and the Nolan, just wanting to go fast and hard.
Let me just say, I really like this Lapu pickup.
Yes, so good.
Yeah.
I think SRG's got this.
I mean,
draft-wise,
whether they do or not, it's all about the players in the game.
Lapu.
Right now, it's match point, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, we're throwing it over to our casters.
Thank you once again. Our analysts have been doing a phenomenal job breaking down these drafts and honestly giving foresight on these picks. But it's time. Match point for SRG. This is the Ascension match. We're gone beyond the skies. We're touching the heavens here with the gods of the game.
The Red Giants finally find themselves looking down upon Falcon's AP Bren, and it's now or never. 3-2. Do they seal the deal?
Welcome to game number 6 here at MSC 2024 here at EWC with Falcons AP Bren on blue side, SRG match point on red.
Oh, I was talking about the Yuzong. We were talking about the Yuzong, but then they go out with the Lapu, and honestly, yeah, I mean, technically it does the same thing, just no instant petrify, right, when you go for the Furious Dive. But yeah, finishing or even dealing with the Netherrealm would be great. Sky's already rotating up top. Kalti's gonna be caught in the quad shadow. Sky's following in forward. Going for the shurikens here. She'll be able to do it. Sky's forward. Oh,
Kalti dapat Sky di early game kayak gini guys, masih menit berapa itu ya 1-0 lagi buat Kalti.
Maybe I should have taken lethal ignition.
Tapi yang gua tahu Sky bukan orang yang gampang menyerah.
Feel bad moments, but still,
yang
it's still
berarti
50-50.
masih awal
Doesn't
bukanlah
get
akhir
knocked
guys kalau
up,
kalian limit.
thankfully, and now that's first blood for Falcons AP Bren. That's what you want to see, especially if you are a world champion fan.
For Falcons AP Bren on the Nolan. See, it's very rare that we get to see this, right? When Wolf says that he doesn't like Falcon AP Bren's draft. It's very rare to see. Usually they're always able to outdraft their opponents. I think that was the case as well up against Liquid Echo. But this time around, they find themselves in a spot where they really have to get that early lead. That will definitely help them with a lot of these hero plays with the composition to make it work, to beat SRG before they get online.
I think we need to take it a step forward, right? Because now at this point, it's not only just about getting a lead, but it's also unlocking these laners, right? And Owen, he can take the damage. He doesn't mind. He opted to go for tank emblem, so he can take it for now. But at the same time, right? How do they unlock them?
Good zoning. This is a good way to do so. Falcons AP Bren already utilizing the man advantage in the bottom lane to actually stop Cram from getting that cannon in. That will actually stop him from getting level 4, which means Kaltizi should be able to steal it or actually just take it for free. No contest at all from SRG.
Yeah, a really good off-tempo play from the side of Falcons AP Bren. They decided, you know what? Hey, Owen, you're going to get 2 waves in the mid so that Few can actually start zoning out Cram for these bigger fights. With that being said, that's an early turtle for Falcons AP Bren, but Kaltizi, especially with the lead that he has EXP-wise, he's going to be able to really start threatening and burning battle spells from Slango Red Giants.
Falcons AP Bren, it's all about that farming now. Up against Skies on the Hayabusa, Nolan does have an advantage when it comes to that clear speed, so that's definitely something that Falcons AP Bren will continue to utilize here. Kyle, also known for his amazing, phenomenal pathing. Now, a level ahead, he should be able to find another lead here because this is what I was talking about for the Yuzong at least, right? For Cram, the early game, if you got that Yuzong, you would be able to force just win out this lane.
I mean, I agree that if they want to win out this lane, but at the same time, SRG is thinking a little bit further than that, right? Because look at the nature of how these games have been going. It's, yes, you get a lead in the laning phase, but then afterwards, what happens? The big turnaround we've seen from both of these teams, somehow more consistently on SRG's side, but at the same time, with the Lapu, you're now not dependent on your battle spells anymore, right? You don't need to have that Petrify Furious Dive to make something happen. You just bravest fighter and hope for the best.
Warrior Boots first item from Cram here. He's actually going for... I wonder what he's actually going for there. If he just wants to stay on that item. It's a Thunderbolt though. Rushed in from Flap Teasy. Kaltizi already pushing Cram, putting the pressure down on him in the bottom lane. He's already down quite a bit from, you know, all those early ganks from Few. Now he's going to be down even more. He's going to lose an entire wave, I think, with the cut.
Yeah, that's a little... Ooh. I mean, that's a little unfortunate. I think that Crime is going to first item War Axe instead of going for the traditional Hunter Strike at this point, or... mainly because I think when he jumps in, Ogwin is going to stop everybody else from continuing the dive, you know, really capitalizing on it. And with that peel being said, with the extra spell that you should get from that War Axe, it might just buy him the precious few seconds. Ooh,
Yoms wild charge. All alone though, now going to be taken
Yoms
down by
yang melakukan gerakan tambahan dengan harapan mendapatkan turtle, tapi malah mati.
Exactly. Like I'm surprised that they even wanted to contest for it in the
kedua
first
untuk
place. I would think
SRG.
that, you know, they would have opted to just back away. You know what? Take the
Innocent
turtle,
yang langsung
whatever,
digeng saja
maybe
oleh
find a
Q
lane
dan
lead
kehilangan dua buah minion yang sangat disayangkan sekali. Satu gerobak. Di all in saja pemirsa.
No trades for SRG.
Oh boy.
Kematian Nium itu dampaknya sejauh itu guys ya.
Keep in mind, the Netherrealm is still up from
Langsung
Few.
digas gitu
This was
sih
a
Innocent.
guaranteed dive to happen. Oh, whoa.
Final slash breathing out the black shoes already. Stormy kind of in a bit of trouble now, you know? He's not even able to walk up fully because he doesn't know. Where's Ogwin? Now he does, and now he rotates back towards the mid lane, wants to give that wave over towards the Harith. Yums is just holding it down.
Look at this read here coming in from Few. He's going to be able to get the Shadow Stampede off, but regardless, right, Falcon's AP Bren are very aware that Skies has good opportunities to actually find the side. Oh!
Final slash flicker into the fracture straight into the
Aduh, si
vengeance.
Skies. Apakah ini hero NT-nya Skies guys? Karena nggak bisa sangsin langsung.
Beautiful stuff here. World champions for a reason, am I right?
Innocent masih bisa memberikan pressure yang sangat dibutuhkan ya oleh SRG ya. Pada Marco.
Ogwin again, the pinch maneuver.
Dengan Yums yang menjaga Innocent sebaik-baiknya guys.
SRG need to fight for priority here. At this point, like Yums, as much as he's responding, he's not helping the mid wave actually being cleared to get Stormy in a position where he can start drawing the line. By the time he gets there, it's already too late.
Oke, Kram yang udah ketahuan posisinya di sana dengan membuat Kapti di arah bawah. Sangat-sangat keasikan push start turret ya.
Even in the bottom lane, SRG have already sent Cram towards the top side of the map to contest for the neutral objective. And now in the bottom lane, the lead grows even more, not just for Kyle,
dia tahu gitu kalau gold
but
itu
for
bisa
Flap as
dicari
well.
deh.
I mean, the weirdest part is the fact that it feels like Falcon's AP Bren are taking the page out of Slango Red Giants' book. Hey, we're going to force you to keep answering our questions on our time. We're not going to give you that opportunity to regroup and find the counter engage.
Menaruh skill 2-nya.
Now with Kyle, that speed.
Kali ini tidak bisa menaruh skill 2 pemirsa. Lambat dari Yums.
That's an easy take. 3 neutral objectives, all the Falcons AP Bren. No contest whatsoever. Skies finds a cross map play. We'll have to see if he can escape from this one. Shadow kill used up onto Flap TZ. Kyle TZ waiting in the midst of it all right now.
Yums tidak bisa menyelamatkan. Skies yang di arah bawah tadi menjadi kematian yang ketiga guys. Tapi Innocent dengan sangat percaya diri. Lane atas sana mendapat turret yang sangat berharga bagi SRG, membuat keunggulan Falcon AP Bren tidak terlalu ya. Lu ambil teman gue untuk ketiga kalinya gue ambil turret yang paling luar di sebelah atas ini. Trump 3 orang melawan 2, 2 melawan 1 maksudnya. Harus membuang ulti ke arah belakang. Juga flickernya digunakan sana menyelamatkan dirinya. Dan Skies turret manja di arah sana.
It's not looking good. It's not looking good. Let's look at the gold difference here because right now Super Marco is currently 1,200 gold ahead, and that's not what you want to see. But even so, even Kyle TZ continuing to be, I mean, he's so far ahead already.
He is so far ahead, and I think the items display it very well. He doesn't even need the Sky Piercer, right? He thinks, okay, I'm gonna go for Blade of Heptaseas and then Hunter Strike, and then I'll go for the Sky Piercer. I already have enough damage early game.
And with that being said, right, situational items are going to start coming into play, and I think it's important that they get it as soon as possible, because right now that's a 3-item Roger, and not exactly the best position to be if you're low.
Slowly Flaptizi, the barrier in and all in, but Flaptizi able to find a final slash. Flickers out Ogwin now with the capitalization. Fire Nature into the wild charge. 3 members knocked up as Cram gets the famous fighter stun. Now the Netherrealm comes down to Super Marco, kills from the back line. Shadow kill forced out. Now with the Lycan form, Sky's very low. Yum Flicker, and now Sky's going back with the Quad Shadow. Meanwhile, Stormy forced to use the black shoes, and Skies cannot go for the assassination. Will be forced back again. It's 1-0. Flap going in, connecting on the Yums, but will not be able to find the hit.
Innocent.
With the force, turns things around, finds a trade back, and Cram is back up.
Nice reaction time coming in from Yums. That power of nature saved his life from Flaptizi trying to go for that final slash. But at the end of the day, Falcons AP Bren, despite trading Flaptizi over to Innocent, doesn't matter. They got the neutral objective, and that's the most important part.
Lebih main fight tawarnya dibiarin terus.
Now with the Lord, a big one at that, guys. Jumps in, shadow kill. Netherrealm not up
Tapi
just yet.
tadi Bren tuh,
Stormy who finds it straight into the fadeaway with the
Sky
black
tidak menyerah begitu
shoes.
saja pemirsa.
Into the turret, they find
Tidak
a pick.
frustasi dan solo kill Angel lagi.
Falcons AP Bren
Tapi tadi
still be
ini
able to
guys,
utilize
AP
it. The
Bren tuh
passive
nge-push
was on
bawah
full
ini
stack
guys,
from
nge-push
View.
bawah
He's
duluan.
back up already.
Yang berarti
Let's look at the damage dealt
sebenarnya
so far because
Selangor
right
tuh
now we're seeing that
Selangor
view
juga
again. These fights have
ngotot
been
juga
really,
dari
really
tim
compact,
fightnya.
and the
Karena
closer
Trump tadi di
SRG
atas.
sticks together, the
Kenapa
more
nggak
the Ghost
3-2
Bursters
udah
can do
mah,
even more damage. And man, you can just see how badly Flaptizi wants to catch somebody, just overextending even by a single pixel. They'll find everything. But similar to the previous game, right? We did see that, you know, on Fanny, you want to be able to kind of split push on the side of the lane. For Hayabusa, exact same thing, right? You want to kind of alleviate the pressure. Oh,
Super
no.
Marco with the
Sing.
chase down. Now Sky's going back and forth. Scratch down Super Marco. Wins the
Terlalu jauh perbedaannya guys, ini Roger udah nge-burst banget. Hayabusa yang skill apa yang damage DPS, tapi dia memilih untuk membiarkan Rogernya nge-hit dulu di awal guys. Harusnya kalau mau skill 1 langsung ulti, baru skill 2 guys kalau kata gua.
Walking forward with the vengeance, able to find it onto Yums, didn't get the stun.
Bang, match Hayabusa udah berapa?
Zoning Cram away, and they are able to zone them away, at least from the tier 1 in the mid lane, getting that tier 2 up top as well. Kyle forced back Stormy, and now Yums great maneuvers.
Karena itu pilihannya buat Checkers tuh bukan kill Super Mario guys, kabur Super Mario dengan sangat meyakinkan.
Shadow kill used up, Netherrealm there to protect them. Meanwhile, Super Marco will be able to escape still.
Flicker ke depan, ultimate-nya dipakai dengan sangat percaya diri dan dia tidak mati guys. Dan bikin apa ya, malah mundur.
Oh, that's a war axe diff right there.
Oh, Stormy gets hit. Final slash Stormy. Trying to run away, doesn't have the black shoes. Meanwhile, Grab gets forced it down. Kyle Tizzy gets rid of Stormy.
Dia
That's a 2 for nothing trade.
Falcons AP Bren has been in the driver's seat this entire game,
ditahan
but the
dia sama
lead
ini.
finally
Gimana
extended from
ketahan
5K to
Serius,
6K. Again, it's starting to even out here, and worst yet, this could mean inhibitors. The next 30 seconds is going to be important. Oh, final slash.
Apa itu gerakan macam apa itu? Diam
able to escape those guys back and forth with the Quad Shadow. Now into Flaptizi again, very low. Innocent able to space out. Yums with the power of nature, able to escape like
malah matinya Super Marco guys.
Again and again, finding the play. Base short number 1 in the mid lane. The Filipino cannon finds another.
Oh no, oh no. It's starting to fall apart for SRG. Falcons AP Bren, the chain deaths are happening.
Minions Fury crowned with the bravest fighter. Unable to find more. Super Marco continuing it. Able to flicker out to safety. Innocent back and forth. Now in another round. Final slash not connecting. Innocent cannot survive.
Once again, they do it. They are showing you why they are the best in this game. Every single time you count them out, they just show you it's not even close. Match point for both of these teams. We couldn't have asked for anything better here, Mirko.
Falcons AP Bren flying back to eye level against the Red Giants. Back and forth, and this time round, we get to witness Game 7.
It's been so long. It's been so long. Man, it's been a while since you and me have been on the desk, and we even get the benefit of casting all 7 games. Today could not be any better.
Falcons AP Bren, they always find a way. You look at them, you think they're beatable. They bleed, and then they stop you just after that. 12 minutes. The fastest game in the series so far.
The strongest mental we've seen. Analyst, it's your turn. Break it down for us.
Juara MSC pertama.
We started the day with a best of 7, and now we're jumping to a best of 1. And again, tempo, the speed. Dude, Falcons AP Bren, they want to push this one, and now it's anyone's game.
This is what we asked for, game number 7. But I gotta say, like to all the fans out there, it is true that during the draft we reacted really badly about that Fairness as well as that Nolan pick.
We were skeptics.
We're very skeptic.
Next time, let's not do that anymore.
Yeah, maybe it is necessary so that they can win.
It's part of the show.
Part of the show.
Oh my goodness.
Man, but nevertheless, I think the thing is what we actually forgot is how good the macro is for Falcons AP Bren, because they attack this in a macro level.
Which makes this all the more a beautiful game, match, and series.
Yeah.
Because all throughout, it was SRG who brought us first to match point. We were playing SRG's game, we were following their tempo, we were playing to their tune. And that's why the draft here made all the more sense for Falcons AP Bren, is because they broke the game down to a point where team fights aren't what we're used to. They're not the fights we knew from games 4, 3, and 2.
There is also this silent protocol amongst teams, especially for MOBAs, when you're drafting in a grand finals, where it doesn't matter if you get the perfect hero for that draft, just a hero-centric, but if it's not a meta-game hero, it will not work. For example, the Lapu-Lapu, maybe you will rank it lower in your tier list, but it makes total sense, right? It's great versus the Roger, decent versus the Nolan, stellar against the Fairness. But if you think about it, the attributes as well as the items that eventually this Lapu-Lapu will pick up, it's not that strong in the meta game. So even when Crown will play the perfect hero, it doesn't mean that they will win with that kind of hero in a grand final.
Greater than the sum of their parts.
Exactly.
That's what makes this draft by FCAP such a magnum opus.
Yeah.
I honestly was afraid, not just in the draft, which was very obvious, we were vocal about that, but also a lot of the moments in-game where Super Marco, where Kyle TZ, where even Few were threading the needle, like you should have died, you should have gotten punished at this point. And again, the way that they all put it together, the calls that they made, might have broken SRG's tempo well enough to end this at 12.
Didn't give him time to adjust?
Yes. That is definitely what they took away from SRG this time. SRG, I think that it's fair to assume that after watching them in the group stages and the knockouts, they're a late game team. They're a comeback kind of team. But in this game number 6, finally we see Falcons AP Bren just really, show their fangs, really have a tight grip and never letting go of the tempo, which meant that SRG couldn't find the right timing to open up. Even when you saw that Sekai tried to go for that bottom lane push, he was solo. He was actually taken out by Super Marco, who played the Roger against Hayabusa so well. He stood in the middle so that he has got like what, equal distance to travel.
He would have killed him either way.
Exactly.
Not to mention Innocent, right? Innocent was actually doing his job. He was doing his role to get to a point wherein if fights lasted a while longer, even under another realm, he would be able to dance between the Zaman Force and win the fights eventually. But FCAP was denying that. So he had to revert down to pushing the off lanes, which made the whole situation hard for SRG because you can't face a team that's 45 ahead of you with just 4 men.
Yeah.
So it was a double jeopardy for SRG.
Let me transition the topic here by saying Falcons AP Bren, they're in a comfortable position where they've been in the best of 7 numerous times.
Exactly.
Selangor Giants, even in MPLMY, it didn't go all 7 games.
Yeah.
So this is indeed the final boss test for SRG, not just against Falcons AP Bren, the final boss, but going all the way. Do you have the stamina to go up against the defending world champions? Like, if SRG wins this one and they continue their win streak, then I believe they've shut down the doubters.
Oh, I think until now, the doubters should be shut down. If you're doubting SRG still, man, you're in a different planet.
If you do just what you said, if SRG beats FCAP here and now, they have a new chapter to write. No longer are they in the 100+ days situation like that. That's just racing yourself. Now they have to carry the weight of being the strongest region, the strongest team in the world.
That's right.
Dude, like that gives me goosebumps. But now we got to look at our Sony MVP. It's going over to Super Marco. And again, the bulletproof Super Marco. I don't know. I kind of feel like you
lemas banget guys, gue guys.
You need like what, 7 heroes to kill
Aku
this
kalau
guy.
ngetik RRQ Vincent Istri, terus
Milady at home is
akun
screaming
asli
out her
dong.
lungs.
That is Super Marco, the king of the nonchalant king,
SRG
as he is
lah,
called
bukan?
in the Philippines. No emotions, just pure power.
I can imagine you pull off what he did against Sekai's and he goes, yeah.
Imagine it's like, hey, you just won $1 million. Like, thanks.
He's gonna smile, I think, a little bit.
Yeah, he might give a smirk.
He's been working on it.
Yeah.
This is that play.
This
Look at that.
one.
Look at how much damage.
I thought the guys had a chance, by the way, but that was too one-sided.
With that single step, he was next to two shadows.
Exactly. And then he's gonna clean up. Look, actually the kiting coming out from FCAP finally arrived, like the way that they are winning the team fights. And then Flap TZ, this time he is activated. Arla, Flap TZ has been a 50-50 during the entire grand finals. But in order for FCAP to eventually nail this win, everybody has to step up from FCAP. That is true for SRG, but I would say for SRG, come game number 7, I do hope that they just get their Yum special. You know, Yum's being confident with setup heroes, with Stormy getting the damage done, and Sekai's, of course, with an assassin. I do hope that will be the case.
And here I was thinking the Grok was that Yum's hero we were looking for. You said it has been a while.
Of course, and the thing is, we have a lot more to talk about, but going to Game 7, we have to go to a break first. We'll see you guys right after this.
Pas dilihat akun oknumnya pakai nick gamenya bukan nama aslinya. Kocak oknum. Siapa kocak itu kocak? Akun yang mana itu? Delapan 86. Oh gitu. Setiap transfer pemain pasti ada aja komennya 2 kata lucu si Vincent. Kan ada yang baru link RRQ Sekais. RRQ Sekais. Tapi Sekais kalau sama gue dibandingin sama Iret sih masih jauh ya. Jauh Sekais ya guys ya. Karena Sekais tuh dibilang konsisten dan impactful banget lah buat timnya guys. Kalau kita kan waktu itu memang 1 momen 2 momen doang yang emang wah banget terus diambil sebenarnya gitu. Gue kurang tahu ada pertimbangan lain apa enggak ya. Tapi aduh aneh banget sih kalau kata gue sih.
Fans, as we are about to jump in our 7th and final game in this best of 7 grand finals for the MSC title. Now, boys and girls, are you ready? I say GG, you say SRG. Are you ready? GG, SRG, GG, GG, GG. MSC. The fans are ready, and the game is ready. But before that, I think we have Mara with the Falcons AP Bren fans. Show me what you got.
Oh, we're here to show you that we have the best fans. All right, everybody, let me hear it from you. Lock on! Pinas lang! We're about to show you Game 7. Analyst, take it away.
As amazing as the crowd is, I just want to take this moment and just say, this is going to be our final panel.
That's right. No turning back.
We've been in Riyadh for how many weeks now, and it's all come to this. There'll be no more games after this one.
I wouldn't have it any other way. It's an honor of serving you, gentlemen.
Yes, I feel emotional right now.
You feel emotional?
Yeah, I do. It's weird, right? Like, I've been in many grand finals before, but it's
something about this one.
Something about this one. Yeah.
I mean,
something special.
It's history in the making anyways, right? Falcons AP Bren having all the championships. Selangor Red Giants bringing a new era for Malaysia. Like, whoever wins this one.
Koyul di sana, guys.
With that being said,
Dilihat, guys.
we're jumping
Login
into the
kah?
draft here. SRG
At
is going to be
nggak ada yang
blue
ngarepin
side.
pemain itu masuk ke
Falcons AP
cuma
Bren,
oknum aja yang
red
sengaja
side,
komen
banning the
gitu.
Julian, banning the Faramis. Few, you're not going to be
Dulu
having
kan
fun.
waktu Octavos juga kayak gitu
By
Bang
the way,
Rinis.
just the fact that we have changed sides
Evos
all
Eman.
matters so much.
SRG can get Roger here.
They can get Roger, indeed, and they have already banned up. Maybe the Valentina will be next. That should be the ban. I gotta see.
I would encourage it.
Encourage. What other heroes do they ban? Oh, because they're in the red side. That's why they can now afford to ban the Faramis because they don't have to ban the chip.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Falcons AP Bren, they ban out a Fanny, so either let SRG have the Ling, have the Roger, or open both of them up.
I think you open both of them. Just ban the Ling at this point if you are FCAP. But for SRG, I think I would have said Valentina, but yeah, Moscow also works.
So in that case, do they first pick the Ling, regardless if it doesn't get banned?
Yeah. Yes, 100%. Especially because you already have the counters taken out. Like most importantly, this Julian and also the Moskov. In fact, even the Faramis is considerable against the Ling. So yeah, you're now comfortable.
Do it, Treb.
Do it, Treb.
Take out the Ling, man.
Yeah, just take out the Ling.
I mean, again, it's like they ban out the Angela, so they want to let SRG pick up the Ling so that Falcons AP Bren, they can pick up, I believe, Roger Terizla.
Roger Valen.
Roger Valen.
Yep. But okay, so what is top one between Roger Valen and Roger Terizla? I think it's, for me personally, I think number one Roger Valen and then second is Roger Terizla. If the Ling gets picked up, I mean, this could be totally different. Maybe SRG picks up Terizla.
Or the Valen.
Or the Valen.
Put it in Stormy. In Stormy we trust.
Wow, what an intense first pick, huh?
I mean, again, it's the final match of MSC.
The biggest power pick trade
Oh,
we've
udah
seen
utang 5
in
juta lu,
a
Ling.
while.
Yes.
Pemain ng Gibran.
Comes down to this.
Comes down.
I've never been so nervous about
exactly. And honestly, it could have just K. So it's Roger.
Roger.
It's their turn. This is an FCAP signature move.
Yeah.
So that's SRG taking the Roger route. You go Ling and you go Terizla. I think that is the MO for FCAP. There it is. So if you're SRG, you definitely don't want to give the Valentina, right?
The nail on the head.
Yeah. You pick up Valentina if you're SRG. What else do they pick up to?
Do they have to consider picking up the X-Borg? Like, how many EXP leaders is Cram comfortable going up against the Terizla?
Arlet, maybe?
Is there a world where this Roger becomes the jungler?
There is.
There is.
This is Sekai's we're talking about.
Minotaur Valet. Yeah, very good pickup. Very good opening for SRG.
Almost taking FCAP's draft here.
Yes. So you're gonna be left with Edith perhaps on the Ogwen in this case.
The problem is we've seen Stormy on that Valentina taking away.
Of course, Harith.
And then Harith picks up.
How come we forgot about the Harith? But yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I think eventually the Claude should be banned
Agreed.
by FCAP, right?
Agreed.
Muka last.
And at that point, if all the gold laners are banned out, Roger goes gold lane. Innocent
Kali
special,
ini guys, gue cukup pede sih guys dengan tapi lepas link sama Harit.
Oh, wait, I think the Hayabusa actually is still
untuk
pickable
Roger.
for SRG, right?
Apakah ini hero?
That's still a good hero versus the Ling and also in a way against the Harith.
So they're forcing.
Fanny udah di ban guys. Kira-kira pakai apa Sekais guys?
Yeah,
di semifinal kemarin dia udah pakai Fanny sama Ling doang guys. Dan di sini dia performnya pas pakai Ling sama Fanny doang guys.
Battle in the last game of MSC where everything is meta.
Their fight will be
Alpha
legendary.
juga sih Alpha sih. Apakah Alpha guys?
Okay, I think about few heroes, right?
Apakah Alpha atau sini Rogernya
really
bagi jungler?
For SRG because
dan juga SRG mengambil Cloud atau Kari.
Alright, Tigro ban.
That is interesting, especially because they have the Valentina.
They can steal the Edith's ult.
Yeah, that's right. I think you could still ban Hayabusa here if you're FCAP.
Look at the dichotomy. Look at how polar different Coach Duck and Coach Treb are. You see the smiles on Coach Treb and Coach Duck is just honed in.
Yep. And Mr. Robert is just prodding. Oh, they are indeed forcing the Hayabusa. X-Borg being banned, I think that's actually an amazing ban here coming up from FCAP, knowing that it will be the last hero to really make it difficult for the Trilza to kind of work.
What else are the options? Cram is good on the CC, but I don't know about CC in this lineup.
CC versus Ling has worked before. I'm not entirely sure if that's good versus the Harith.
Talking about CC, is Arlott on Ogwyn a thing?
Ooh.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That might be a better alternative to the Edith, right? Because the Edith just stings.
Yeah.
With a Valentina.
Yeah. If you're up against the Valentina, do you want to go like maybe Kadita or actually the Farsa is still open. Yeah, the Farsa is great. Unless they want to go all in for the damage, which they go Kagra. That's the Arlott.
You called it, Leo.
Well done.
You called it.
And you also take it away from the potential of Cram picking it up.
So that's one of the few Cram heroes left.
Yeah. Ooh. Are you gonna be left with CC? I think CC, they might not have a choice.
Or the Zhong.
Oh, you're right.
The Zhong.
Finally, please. Give us the Yuzhong.
Yuzhong Claude?
Yep. Yuzhong Claude.
Bisa ini sih, bisa Roger nih.
Hayabusa.
Udah sih kata gue.
Risk it, pick up the Hayabusa, let Innocent
have
his time with the Roger. Like, this Roger gave Innocent
berdoa aja.
The MVP back in Malaysia.
Yep.
Alpha. Oh, they just go back to Alpha.
Alpha Ruby.
Okay. This is the part where you actually go for the Lilia. Is Louis still open?
Yes.
That might be it. That might be the closer.
What kind of world is this?
Louis is perfect versus Alpha.
I feel like at this point, it's just that everyone just picking.
Aku udah nonton dari mas depan
I
ya.
don't know.
Where are you going with this?
No, I'm just saying it's like,
okay.
Go big or go home. Just pick whatever you want. And gentlemen,
bagus lagi Yivi di
I want to
sini.
say thank you very much for your services, not just for today, not just for this draft. Try the entire MSC. We'll talk again later. But for now, we're passing it over to the casters. Where for you guys, it's your final as well. See you guys.
Harit, what?
Once again, thank you to our beloved analysts calling the shots every single time, being as accurate as they possibly can and breaking down all of the action for you guys. With that being said, Mirko, this is it. One team are going to be crowned champions here of the Mid-Season Cup 2024. The real question, is it going to be Slango Red Giants or is it going to be Falcons AP Bren?
Well, we'll just have to see, Gideon. As the door, or the window rather, opens up for the final game. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Game 7 MSC 2024 Grand Finals.
Welcome to the land of dawn. One last time, Selangor Red Giants on the blue side up against Falcons AP Bren on the red side. And already we're seeing the trades being very effective here from Owen, now having access to the Arlott. And honestly, I don't know, man. This Arlott is a dangerous pick on Ogwyn.
Really is. I think back in the day, for me especially, looking at Master Ogwen, every time he picks up the Arlet, he would have the most kills on the team. That's how ridiculous he is on the Arlet. So it really does feel like the analysts also, kind of said it. It's all comfort picks. They're going back to what makes them so special, I would say, individually. And it's perfect to see a Game 7 go like this.
Yep, and it's looking phenomenal as well, right? Because once again, from every single lane, they've got a tough job, right? Few, especially on this eve, will be able to try and poke out Stormy, but the same can be said for Stormy, right? If he just dodges a couple of abilities. At the same time, right, you can see that the motions across the map are very hesitant, knowing that there could be a counter response on the opposite end.
Easy on the Finch poise, Yum's trying to read that maneuver from Kyle, but he stays on the wall, now going back. Both teams, obviously, I don't know, what would you be looking for here? Flap, though, going for some damage. Easy with rotation as well. Crap, take it very low. Flickers out safety, doesn't get knocked up. Going for the Wolf King. And doesn't connect it, so Kyle gets a little bit more damage in.
Okay, I think that's totally fine here, because again, Slimer Red Giants are going to be stronger once they have their big ultimates, right? Especially for Yums. Once he has them in Knowing Fury, then maybe they can open up a couple of options. But in the meantime, right, this first turtle is going to be a little tough to contest, considering that Open is giving them very good information. Okay, they know for a fact that, especially in the mid lane, it's going to get jumped in, but they know the Alpha is already on his orange buff. So Falcon take their time with this, go to the opposite side, farm back up, get that level lead to come back for this fight.
This is what's great about Falcon's AP Bren whenever they use the assassins, because they will go back and forth with the turtle, and they won't go for it. They'll utilize the clear speed. But it seems like for SRG, they've read that. They've rotated over. Now they are the ones punishing Falcon's AP Bren for the clear that they want to go over the neutral objective.
Good stuff here. That's why SRG are, when they're rotating together, more importantly, they're focusing on can they get Sakai's into a position where he is able to actually out-level his opponent, especially when you're up against a Ling, right? We're hoping that Sakai's gets roughly around 11 to 12, no, specifically level 12, so that he's going to have a really short cooldown on that ultimate in these long extended fights. It's going to be dangerous having multiple, if not 2 rotations of Spear of Alphas if he survives.
Again, now it's coming down to a point where
mengetahui posisi Ogen dan juga digas saja oleh Yums. Dibalikkan saja, tak enggak bisa. Tadi ragu-ragu, karena memang karena kalkulasinya sudah pas bahwa ini tidak akan bisa.
I'm curious to see what Innocent is going to be building, right? Because previously in these types of matchups, especially against the Harith, we've seen here at MSC, he likes to go first item Thunderbelt first before he goes for the traditional build. I mean, the fact that he likes to go quantum charge as well. He likes the extra kiting capability. Oh, Windtalker first. Okay, so he's going to be fighting for he's not just mobility, but fighting for priority, because Roger is not great at clearing waves, but with the Windtalker, he can at least go toe-to-toe.
Yep. You get that additional damage coming down. You get that, I would say, what is it? An additional strike. But
the gust of wind.
A gust of wind. That's a perfect way to put it. Sky's also with a War Axe here. Are they very early on able to secure his first item of the game? And that's really going to be good for him, because I think on the Alpha, when he used it in Game 3, I believe it was a bit shaky. When it comes to the early game, he was taken down quite a bit. So the fact that now he is able to get to his outer power spike without any real hurdles is great. This mid-game is going to be great for SRG.
I think the best part about it all is because the laners are so even, it's going to be difficult for Kyle Teasy to find these freebies in the side, right? So the main time where they actually clash is during these fights of neutral objectives, these POIs. I would even make an argument for River Crabs as well.
Stormy yang digas saja oleh Ogen. Ogen melakukan kesalahan yang sangat fatal. Stormy.
It's a Tempest of Blade by Cal
Ultimate imitasi dari GV membuat SRG sementara unggul 3-0 dengan Cal Teasy berusaha untuk kembalikan keadaan melakukan Sekai. Baik sekali dari Cal Teasy. Sekai apa yang play Sekai. Belum bisa membunuh. Masih bisa mendapatkan mid juga guys. Relakan turret atas di saat Super Marco sedang berawal guys, yang mendapatkan turret mid beserta turret bawah yang hampir saya dapatkan, tapi malah mati. Tidak mati, bisa.
down to Yums. Cram with one last hit at the site. The Don't Run Wolf King outplays Falcons AP Bren.
Penalty zone. Datangi saja oleh Kaltizi, mereka harus mati di arah sana. Ini juga yang bisa mendapatkan dari Kaltizinya. Storming lepas Kaltizi. Si guys.
You think he's guilty? No! He's innocent! He does it time and time again. He's not allowed to get away with this. The law can't stop him now, man. But now, this is an insane amount of momentum that we are seeing from Selangor Red Giants. They want more! RWM, innocent again, like and pounce. Not going to be used up just yet. Owen with a vengeance, the final slash, shutting him down. Yo, Minions Fury early to try to disengage. And he gets Stormy out. But it's just Stormy. He's going to have to die for it. Oh, man. Might have been an overheat coming in for innocent. Talk about Caster's cursed here. As we pull it back, let's look at the items. What did they build so far? Looks like the Endless Battle is almost complete by Innocent side, but Starleaf side then also going to be a quick Feather of Heaven, almost complete for the side of Super Marco. For Falcons AP Bren, even though they've lost the neutral objectives, they're still able to fight. And seriously, this composition is really built for those hero moments. You got so many big plays that can happen. Flap TZ penalty zone is a bond force. Owen obviously with the final slash, and they can all, if they are able to get the combo, it's going to be ridiculous. I'm offended by Cram into the Don't Run Wolf King. Follow up though. SRG not in the position to really all in. Not on a Terizla. Yeah. Hopefully Falcons AP Bren don't make that same mistake where they kind of, especially in earlier stages, nobody has anti-heal at this point of time, right? So Cram is pretty dangerous if there's a lot of people, B, an entire wave in front of him. I think they got to play it a little bit slower, right? Because again, if we're talking about tempo, that's kind of died out for the side of SRG, right? At least from Falcons AP Bren, they've kind of evened out the score in terms of who makes that first move first. And until we see Super Marco get the Holy Crystal, I think that Falcons AP Bren understand that it's pretty difficult to fight cleanly. It is. It's going to be very, very hard considering SRG, how mobile they are. That wind talker that we were talking about for Prio, it now works even more for SRG because technically they can attack from different angles. And Falcons AP Bren, they really have to rely on that front to back to be organized, to be coordinated. If SRG displaces them, it's going to be tough. And they know right now they're in no position to actually force out a clean fight. That's why they're giving away these neutral objectives. But it will only build SRG to be even stronger here. Well, I don't know. The Turtle, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, Turtle's such an important neutral objective, but we gotta calm down because again, Turtle really just benefits, like, slightly benefits the team, but honestly just benefits one person who has that Turtle buff, right? We've seen time and time again that Falcons AP Bren can push back, and it really boils down to that very first Lord to see the big economical swing that benefits the entirety of the team.
Owen mengambil
just placing Yums into the synchro vision, but it's just poke. It's just poke that they're dealing with now. For Falcons AP Bren, let's talk about win cons here, because technically, late game, they've got it too. A few Ice Queen Wand, the utility as well, to slow down the mobility that SRG have been utilizing all the way from the early game to this point to actually get an advantage. Yeah, and that's going to be very effective for those who kind of like to stick on you a lot. People like Cramp, people like even Sakai's to a certain degree. Even if he does decide to go for a brute force breastplate, the raw slow from the kit on top of the Ice Queen's Wand from Few is going to make it really, really difficult for him to stand tall. At the same time, it does open up opportunities for Falcons AP Bren to actually go for the counter engage, right? But that's on the assumption that SRG makes the first move. Down the bottom lane, it's a shove again for Falcons AP Bren. This is what they can utilize. I think for the most part, this is why Lings have been so ferocious in MSC 2024. You're able to farm up so fast. You get places real fast as well. Obviously, you have that Finch poise. But it's all about just being a threat in the side lane. And technically, do SRG have someone that they can actually like send towards this link to match him at all times? Because even if you can't one him, you can't get to the rest of the team faster than the link. There's also the secondary problem, right? Because if Ling is able to split push very effectively, then it boils down to how much wave clear do you have? And wait a minute, if Falcons AP Bren get the Lord, do they have enough wave clear to protect from high ground? That's just not the case for SRG's side. So this very first Lord might just be a make it or break it for them. Definitely is going to be, especially considering, you know,
tag orangnya.
They need to find these big team fights. They need to be able to force these big team fights. They're committing on the Lord. Retribution on point for Skies. SRG take it away, and Falcons AP Bren,
AP Bren harus
I think they
bekerja
don't mind. They
keras
know that they have the high ground
untuk
defense. Worst comes to
mengimbangi
worst,
God lead
Tier 2
dari
start falling. As
SRG
long
yang
as they
sebenarnya belum jauh-jauh
maintain
banget.
at least all of their inhibitors, they can actually push back. They're not at like a wave disadvantage for the upcoming Lord push. Sorry, not Lord push, but the upcoming Lord spawn. At the same time, it begs the question, right? What's going on through Falcon's AP Bren's head? Did they not want a 50-50 it? Are they more worried about Yums' prime positioning?
10.000 damage guys.
Going on to Yums.
Gwen sana menghindari.
And on another lockup, Stormy deals some damage. Innocent in the back line, gonna be Kai able to flicker out from the Tempest of Flash Trap. Again finding view. They're going for another Stormy.
Stormy salah arah ya.
Gonna be
Stormy
taken
ya.
down. Super Marco.
Nice banget Innocent.
Not to the claws.
Oh my goodness, this is on the Lord push as well.
Lord
This
two,
was such a
Lord two,
risky
balik
maneuver.
LTZ.
Falcons AP Bren, they needed to trade up here. This could be an inhibitor pretty quickly.
Daerah bawah
see.
dengan Sword Mark
The Lord's
20
still
detik lagi
knocking
baru
on
muncul.
the
All
tier
game
2s.
12
They
detik
could
lagi
diverge.
baru
They could
muncul.
divert.
Defense berdua apakah bisa
Big
flop
Lord in the
dengan
bottom
Kaltizi.
lane. Holy defense used up, and the Lord is
Dia
still
sudah hadir
full
di
HP.
lane of down. Digas
my
langsung
God, no
oleh
way.
Sekais.
Now, I'm offended on
Hampir
the
saja
collapse, so
mati
going with
ya
a
guys
hammer,
ya.
stolen real world
Nah,
manipulation
Kaltizi
format.
yang mati di
Heavily
arah sana.
Kaltizi's damage, but
Kaltizi
Grab deals
dapatkah
with
dia
it. It's a killing space.
mempanis
Kaltizi
3
brings up
orang
the
dari
blades. Now in the midst of
arah
it all,
SRG.
not again, the going
Mati
once
Kaltizinya
and
oleh
takes
Stormy
him
guys ya.
down. Stormy finds the kill. It's another 2-for-1. This
Mr.
is not like
Innocent
this.
dengan
Not like
Kaltizi.
this.
Is it
It
worth
was supposed to be an epic battle. It was supposed to be legendary. But now Slangor Red Giants have an insane economic lead onto Falcons AP Bren. 6,000 gold
SRG
on
win,
match
amin.
point with an inhibitor missing on the bottom side for Falcons AP Bren. I believe that Falcons can do it. They can bounce back, but we need to see a good final slash from Ogwin. He really needs to make it happen.
We're gonna have to see a perfect final slash. We're gonna have to see a magical one. All the words in the dictionary that means miracle or something of the sorts. That's what Falcons AP Bren have to do. When did you last see Falcons AP Bren having to rely on something like that?
It's been
Udah
too
mulai
long.
meta
It's been too
solid di
long,
arah
but you can
tengah
definitely tell
sana.
that the
AP
pressure
Bren
is getting there.
dan Kaltizi
It's
sebagai
building up.
tembak
The
utamanya
momentum is here, and
mengurus
Slangor
di
Red
arah
Giants now hit their next
makro.
item power spike. 41. By the time this Lord spawns, it's going to be 42. Let's have a look at the items real quick. Oracle, on top of the fact that Yums is
Seolah-olah
about to
ngomong
purchase
guys
that
tadi
dominance
tuh,
ice, making sure that,
makro
hey,
itu bukan segalanya
Ogwin, you can't get away with anything anymore. Same goes for
Mekanik
Super
juga penting,
Marco.
team fight
Then
juga
again, he's
penting.
bulletproof. His positioning has been
Buat
honestly
PH yang sudah
pitch
bilang makro
perfect
is everything.
until his front line crumbles.
It's very tough if
Derby,
your front line
watch
crumbles
out.
for a Harith to really look for anything in these skirmishes.
Lihat
'Cause
kembangan SRG.
you're not really long range, you're in the fight. When you're in a fight, you are literally in it. You are in the midst of battle. And again, Ogwin gets caught in the final slash. But it's not his. It's Stormy's. He stole it away from him.
Stormy is doing everything he possibly can to make SRG cross the finish line to create history. I'm gonna hold my breath here. I don't want to jump too far ahead of myself, but that is going to be a luminous Lord for the side of SRG.
Emang Stormy-nya aja gameplaynya beyond our
13
expectations.
minutes in Game 7 of the Grand Finals of MSC 2024.
Upgrade guys. Memang mirip cuy. Stormy sama Sans mirip guys. Nanti kita lihat, nanti kita bandingin ya guys ya. Kaltizi hampir saja blunder di sana langsung di-call. Kejar oleh Sekais. Batal
He only used
mengejar.
the Finch poise. They
Nah, emang
tried to
nggak
bait out
ada
the Tempest of Blades, but they didn't get him.
That's fine. That's fine. Good patience coming in from Kaltizi. Slangor Red Giants, though,
Langsung
they're gonna have to crack
Ramit,
open. This might be
Sekais.
their one
Mendapatkan turret
opportunity
dari Ramit.
to actually
Langsung
set
dia
this up
menggas.
for a base crack. But we'll see. They can't overextend here.
Definitely not. I'm offended again.
Tarik sama Scrum didorong saat
Able to bring him back all
what?
the way. Yums in the midst of it all, finding the motivation roar to stay alive.
Symphony of Skill yang dilakukan oleh Trump dan juga Sekais. Kemudian ultinya mantap depan 3 orang, tapi setelah harus mati di arah sana. Dan Kaltizi, Trump berusaha mengakhiri pertandingan kali ini. Bisakah? Bisakah? Tidak bisa, terlalu memaksakan. Itu bantuin gua pecah katanya. Wih. Kok nuy?
Still looking for the play.
Oh, nyampe mati nih Marpon. Set. Untung gak nyampe cuy. Pram terlalu greedy sekali lagi. Stormy dan Pram ya guys ya. Stormy dan Pram membuat kebahagiaan 10 juta orang penonton Mobile Legends hari ini.
But if you look at his build tells you everything you need to know. He knows he doesn't have enough damage. He knows that the minion is a little too low to make it work. But on top of it all, he's just making sure he can live. Don't lose your resources just yet. He still has an active immortality. We'll wait. We're gonna re-engage later.
4,000 gold deficit.
Ini bahaya banget.
Two base turrets down. Falcons AP Bren, if there's a time for them to make the miracle play, it's now.
Brother, man, they nearly lost the game there. They nearly lost the game. It's 16-8 right now. And in terms of damage taken, both Yums and as well as Cram at the top of the charts. But finally, we are seeing that Falcons AP Bren are scaling. And if the fight drags out too far, especially with Paltizi, he can easily clean up that backline, even if you have iframes.
Again, it all comes down to one fight. Despite this massive advantage, you can take a look at the turrets, you can take a look at the stats all you want, but it really comes down to one fight. Falcons AP Bren, how were they even able to make that fight close?
I don't know. SRG, I mean, they missed their opportunity, unfortunately, to close out this game now. You got to give props where props is due. Falcons AP Bren, they may be the final boss, but they won't make it easy for SRG. They're going to have to fight for every inch of space.
That space is being utilized by Falcons AP Bren. Again, despite these base turrets, luckily for Falcons AP Bren, it sides with them. Despite that advantage for Selangor Red Giants, it's not in the far lane, that base turret.
Mengambil
So
boost
for
dari
Falcons AP
belakang
Bren, they can
kanan.
constantly send the link up top, but they have to try to make a decision as well, because now SRG are forcing them.
Dengan AP Bren sudah mulai keluar di sana semuanya. Innocent muncul di arah tengah. Berhadapan dengan langsung dengan Super Marco. Tidak ada waktu, Kalviji mengambil buff. Masih ada waktunya untuk bisa. Kalviji udah nggak tambah birunya. Maksudnya purple.
It's risky though for SRG if they continue to. They send the Hereth up top.
Podcast merasa sudah tidak perlu, guys. Sudah tidak perlu ada ini. Muncul di atas Super Marco-nya langsung digas aja oleh Yums, kena 3 orang. Kalviji dari belakang mengincar Innocent. Innocent mendapatkan siapa tuh, Chan? Wah, Super Marco-nya masih ada surprise, guys. Innocent kuncinya Innocent, guys.
Now he falls. It's just Master Ogwen, and he will lose his immortality. Another life, another chance. It's a Stormy.
Let's go.
They've done it for the first time ever. Malaysia is on top.
It's over.
SRG.
These individuals again and again, but together, mortals, giants are invincible.
Ada kesempatan untuk humanity, guys. Ternyata AP Bren bukan alien. Lagi-lagi kutukan bagi tim yang ingin menamatkan Mobile Legends, guys.
SRG.
What a play by SRG. Beautiful moment.
This is an unimaginable moment for the region of MY. What a beautiful game that we got to witness here today. The full 7 games and a new champion here for the Mid-Season Cup 2024.
Kalau kayak gini tim PH-nya gini gak? Mendingan TLPH aja yang lolos grand final gitu gak? Kan netizen PH kayak gitu gak, guys? Netizen Filipina kayak gitu gak? Mending TLPH aja yang lolos grand final. AP Bren mainnya gak benar. Kayak gitu gak, guys?
That you see Malaysia reach the horizons to see the world.
I'm at such a loss of words. I'm holding back tears at this point. This has been everything that we've been waiting for the longest time to show that we are competitive. But man, Mirko, this has been an absolute blast. Once again, to all of our viewers out there, enjoy this moment, savor it, live it alongside these professionals you see here on stage.
Phenomenal performance as well from Falcons AP Bren. Ladies and gentlemen, Give it up for SRG and Falcons AP Bren for a phenomenal grand finals.
They've achieved the final key that they were looking for. They thank the fans as the confetti falls. This is unthinkable, some may say. This was unbelievable. Even looking at all they have done, they've achieved, some might say, the impossible.
Dari dibuang RRQ menuju juara MSC.
They played like champions.
Keyword Coach Arcadia.
Well. Now the trophy. Last
amat
piece of the celebration.
Teams next keyboy, next
Red Giants are your new champions of the mid-season cup.
Let's go MSC 2024. This is it, guys. What? Dia nyangka nggak ya dia ke tim PH nih? Dia emang MSC dengan prize pool paling banyak yang sejarah gitu. Enteng sih guys.
Ladies and gentlemen,
أيها السيدات والسادة,
your champions for MSC 2024 at the Esports World Cup.
See you di stream hari esok ya guys ya. Congrats SRG.
Guys, congratulations. You have stood taller than the defending, than the reigning MSC champions and the world champions. You are the new MSC champions at the Esports World Cup. How do you feel right now?
Mau tidur dulu gak? Bangun begadang.
I'm still I'm not wake up yet. I feel like I'm dreaming right now because this is my first time to join international tournament and I champion. Wow!
Honestly, indescribable emotions and feelings, and Innocent, I have to ask you, you stood taller. You are now the MSC 2024 champion, and you've won $1 million. What's the first thing that you want to buy?
It feels like a dream because, you know, we didn't expect it that we will get the champion. We just want to play and we will show to the world that we can fight against strong teams.
You definitely proved that. Incredible performance from you, Innocent. Absolutely fantastic. And I have to say thank you to everyone that's been here. Guys, one more time, come on, give it up. Selangor Red Giants!
Selangor.
Now to further commemorate your victory, we will now proceed to the medal awarding ceremony.
Boys, join alongside me over here to get ourselves ready for the medal ceremony. And now, I would like to welcome on the stage Mr. Ray Ang of Monsoon Games, the head of the esports ecosystem, to present the champions of MSC 2024 with their golden medals.
Besok udah menangkapkan pihak internya, iya cuy. Untuk kesekian kalinya nggak sih? Jadi gue bener. Untuk kesekian kalinya guys, gagal lagi guys, apa yang guys? Buka intro terus semua tim ya, yang dari bumi ya. Biar nggak timnas dunia lagi coy. Sekarang bener-bener yang undefeated cuma satu guys. Tim MLBB yang undefeated cuma satu guys. BTR era. Yums bin Muhammad. Gojek.
Congratulations.
Gak tahu namanya cok, kasihan anjir. Tenang soalnya saya belum
and proving the world that they can be the best and they are the champions for MSC 2024. And now it's time to announce the finals MVP. Who do you think it is?
Sekai sih kalau kata gue sih, tapi kalau mau kans sih nggak apa-apa
Who
di
do you
atas
think it
Stormy.
is, boys? Please give it up
Yums.
for none other than Sekai!
Sekai. Gila sih yang Sekai nih ya, family man, Alpha.
Congratulations!
Sekai, you are the
Tapi nggak bisa
finals
dibilang
MVP.
Sekai sih
You
Gen
are
Harry
the
soalnya
MSC
menurut gue Sekai
2024 champion. Tell us, how does it feel to be crowned the best player in the tournament here on the Amazon Arena?
Alhamdulillah, first of all, Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah,
I don't have word to say, but I just really want to say thank you for all the Malaysians fans and who are support us, and until we champion, and I never expect to unbeatable until 100. I don't know.
Power of apa coba?
7, yeah. Yeah, it's unbeatable.
What's your message right now
turnamen.
to everybody watching here who stood by you, regardless what anyone else said, and to everybody back home that's cheering for your name, that's cheering for Selangor Red Giants?
To me, I just want to say I already proved to the netizen that say Malaysia gonna 4-0 against Bren, and we made it wrong. We are the champion, bro!
Anjay, kalau netizen bakal 4-0 sama AP Bren guys.
And now to immortalize this victory, it's now time for a photo op.
So boys, strike a pose worthy of the champions of MSC 2024. Show off your golden medals. And don't forget, show off your trophy for MSC 2024. For you have gone on a 107-day win streak, undefeated, unscathed on your journey to see the world.
Remarkable performance. Outstanding victory. You are now the best in the world here at MSC 2024 at the Esports World Cup.
One more time, ladies and gentlemen, in the Amazon Arena, give it up for your champions, Selangor Red Giants!
Selangor.
On behalf of the 23 participating teams, talents from across the globe, and everyone who has made this possible, thank you for joining us on this incredible journey.
Once again, my name is Mara Aquino.
And my name is Dawood Sandstorm.
Now we're gonna go back to our panel to discuss this
Bang, lu kan streamingnya ilegal bang. Lu kan streaming ilegal bang.
It's your time to shine.
Bang, lu kan streaming ilegal bang.